Yes, looking forward to this game, no doubt about it. It's the D's up against the Eagles. Plenty on the line. The Melbourne boys could get up to top spot if they have a win, and West Coast can go a game and a half clear of GWS in 8th spot. They'll sit in 7th. And might I just say, during the break there, Embers, old Tickets Lacroix just looking up at the big screen. Jay, on the big screen here, the celebration of the Premiership of 2018. And front and centre, Mark Lacroix just going nuts.
Well, mate, I waited long enough to get my hands on that cup. I didn't give it up. I took it home that night as well.
Did you sleep with it?
Oh, yeah, I rocked up on Mad Monday with it. It was, mate, didn't leave my sight the whole time.
So who makes those decisions, mate?
I do, mate. That was me. I just was refusing to give it up.
There's
I
also
don't think they knew where it actually went.
A bit of social media that came out. I think I saw.
Yeah, we can move on there, mate. We can move on.
Dropping a bit of a Luke Darcy F-bomb.
Oh, you was very happy, weren't you, Mark?
Oh, mate.
Good on you, mate.
There was no bloke happier than me, mate. Yes. Happy to walk away after that one.
Couple of not so happy blokes, Jay. The tribunal news, in particular for the Fremantle Dockers, not great news for Andy Brayshaw. 10 eye gouging.
Yeah, he's been offered a week for eye gouging. Jared Berry from the Brisbane Lions, and just saw the vision, and he was roughly dealt with all day, Andy Brayshaw. I think they just wanted to send a message with their pressure and tackling. They didn't do anything wrong, but obviously maybe Brayshaw snapped a little, and Berry got up and pointed to his face, told the umpires about it. So interesting to see what happens with that one.
So been charged with making unreasonable or unnecessary contact to the eye region of Jared Berry, and can get a week's suspension, Jay, with an early plea.
Yeah, the AFL takes a pretty dim view, it must be said, on any sort of eye gouging. I've watched the vision. I don't think it looks great, to be honest, for Andrew Brayshaw. Now, he is a beloved figure, isn't he? He's a midfield star and potentially a future captain for the Fremantle Football Club. So I think this is a clear mistake on his behalf. He's clearly frustrated, but I mean, the eye gouging, let's be honest, it's a complete no-go zone. So he'll copy his whack. And the other charge, 1 week for Essendon defender Mason Redmond, a dangerous tackle, a rough conduct on Marcus Bontempelli for the Bulldogs. That was on Sunday. He's played 18 games. He's an important player for the Bombers, it must be said, Redmond. The Bombers need to win their 2 last games against Gold Coast and Collingwood, and then rely on one of Fremantle, Richmond, all those other teams around that part of the 8, losing one of their last 2. So they'll be flat about that, the Bombers.
Really disappointed about Brayshaw because, yes, he was frustrated, and there's no doubt that he was targeted last night. He's going to have to get a lot better because he's a very good player. He's had a really good season, but he's just had a lapse in concentration which really affects and costs his team. We know Fife and Walters are out for the season. Fremantle playing for the finals chance. They've got the Western Derby. We know their record's not great against the Eagles in those games. So Brayshaw is their most important player right now, and more than likely he's going to miss. So that's really disappointing for him.
Yeah, it is a bit of an interesting one. I just saw the vision, and it happened quite quickly. So I don't think he would have been charged with it if it wasn't for Berry mentioning it to the umpire. So, I mean, there is a case that he went for the footy there, I suppose. It'd be interesting to see what Fremantle will actually do if they do fight it or not.
Give us the latest too on Toby Green as well, Clarkie.
Yeah, so he's up at the tribunal tomorrow night. Clearly, the match review officer handed down a 2-match penalty, high contact, because onto Patrick Dangerfield, who was out of the game for the rest of the night, went to hospital. He's fine now. GWS are very strong on this. They're going to defend it not only once, but they could even appeal if he doesn't get off the first time. They believe that Toby's unfairly treated by the match review officer. I don't necessarily agree with that view, but the forearm contact is hard. I'll get your boys' opinion on this, because are you almost trained to put your arm out to protect that personal space, or that ball handling space? I mean, it does seem to be an action, fellas, that you guys would do 30, 40 times a game, if you know what I mean. And did Dangerfield just slip up a little bit? What was your take?
Yeah, you are to an extent. At the moment, it's probably get your hand up. So coming up with the elbow is probably not what you're taught, but it depends on how fast the other player's coming at you. So Dangerfield is coming in quite quick there, and a last-minute reaction to get your arm up to try and create a bit of space, and the defender coming in, my view of it is he'd be very stiff to miss for that one.
Some interesting comments from Paddy Dangerfield today. He spoke to a couple of the cameras outside Geelong, and he said, look, I contributed to it. I slipped as I went for the footy, and it was just an accident, and accidents happen in football. So he's got an ally there, Toby Green, in the victim, hasn't he, with Paddy Dangerfield?
It helps Tan, certainly, when he gets up in the witness box and explains that. Look, you're just picking up on something you just said. Is the players' code dead? Now, back in your day, you'd all stand up for each other. No, he didn't hurt me. No, I just slipped over or whatever. Did Berry dob him in there? And what's the player fraternity's view on that sort of move?
You'd be filthy if you're Brayshaw. I suppose it happened in the heat of the battle, so it happened on field.
It's not like he came the next day and said, he poked me in the eye. It was actually just during the game.
If he stood up now and did a Dangerfield and said, no, I was only joking, I was trying to get a free kick, it would probably be what would have happened back in our day. But I don't think it is dead. I think, like we said, with Dangerfield, that was an accident. He probably felt like he got eye gouged on purpose, whether it was or it wasn't. I don't think Andy Brayshaw is that sort of player. But if he's in the gun for them, you're looking for every advantage on game day.
Plenty of talk about Joel Selwood as well. Clarkie, Ember's had his thoughts, but we'll get yours first.
Yeah, he's a fiery competitor, Sal, and he often finds himself under the attention of the match review officer. Look, it was, I thought he was a bit lucky, to be honest. He clearly knew what he was doing. He lined young Sam Taylor up, and I think the Geelong captain was lucky that no real damage was done. Sam Taylor was able to bounce back up and able to play out the game, and that's potentially the flaw in this system, isn't it? Because it's so heavily weighted on injury or outcome. We see Green potentially gets Dangerfield in the wrong spot, his larynx, and he goes to hospital, where Selwood lines up with a heavy bump on a young player who's protecting himself, and he jumps back up off the turf. So that's the constant criticism of the whole system.
Well, you look at Buddy Franklin last week, and then and Toby Green this week. There's a few inconsistencies there with elbows to above the shoulders there. So interesting. There's a few comments I think about the AFL's having their favourite.
He's a protected species, old Joel Selwood. Don't worry about that. No, he's done way too much for the competition. The Cats, they are searching for their first premiership since 2011, and they've got all their big guns there. There's no way in the world Joel Selwood's going to get suspended. But until the AFL start punishing the act and not the outcome, then we're just going to see it's going to be so grey.
He's up and about, to be honest. I didn't know this until this afternoon. I've known Embers for a long, long time. He goes for a run before every commentary.
No, he doesn't.
He goes for a run. That's what he says. That's
just
his
trying to run away from all my problems at the moment.
You've got a fair few, haven't you, mate?
There's a few around.
Do you want to, Tan's very, she's a good listener.
Can you help me, Tan?
What's the problem?
Oh, it's everything. No, life's great. Life is good.
Tell Auntie Tan.
Getting married later in the year.
Yeah, that's bloody exciting. Can't wait for that.
How's the wallet?
Hope you're saving.
How's the wallet? It's never been great, the wallet.
It's a suit fit. Yeah, that's the reason why you're running already.
That's why you're running, isn't it? Yeah. You're getting ready for the wedding.
Hey, smart by you.
Yeah,
getting a suit fitted tomorrow, actually.
So getting rid of those 4 chins and you'll be right.
Come on, mate. Hey? That's why I'm on radio, not TV.
What size? Size 42?
Shut up.
Looking forward to this game, no doubt about it. It is the D's up against the West Coast Eagles. Den has arrived.
The great man.
Does the nation get all excited when they hear Dennis's voice, Clarkie? Like Melbourne are just sort of all tune in now.
Oh, he's a legend. I mean, we've all enjoyed Bruce McAvaney's work over the Olympics, but let's be honest, he's number 2 to the great man Dennis Cometti, isn't he?
Well,
I think so.
That's what we thought. Anyway. Hey, Taylor Walker, serious news earlier or over the weekend and earlier last week. Give us an update because he's actually finally spoken.
Yeah, he has just put out a recorded apology, which has come out across all mainstream media channels. And importantly, Tex has apologised with Robbie Young sitting right next to him, which I think is a strong statement, really. So Robbie Young, who was the target of Taylor Walker's racial sledge, sitting next to him and has accepted the apology. So if you don't know this, Taylor Walker made the racist comment to teammate Matt Crouch about Robbie Young, who playing for North Adelaide, former St Kilda player. So it has taken Taylor about 72 hours to be able to gather himself. He's been absolutely shattered. He knows he's made a huge mistake here. And take a listen right now, because this is former Adelaide captain Taylor Walker apologising for his very serious mistake.
Rob expressed his feelings to me to sit next to me today. I'm so thankful that you're here, mate, sitting next to me. Thank you for accepting my apology. You've shown huge courage and support for me. I want to apologise to you and your family, to the Adelaide official and his family, to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders and their communities for the pain, hurt and disappointment I've caused. What I said was racism, and it's totally unacceptable. I've lost trust and respect from everyone, and I know that, and I've got work to do. I'm going to take some time away from the football club to let people heal. I'm now going to educate myself, which is going to take some time, because I want to be better for it, and I want to influence people around me, because there's no place for racism in society. I'm going to lean on you, Robbie. I'm going to lean on the AFL and others around me to support me. Thanks, mate.
He faces a huge battle inside the footy club and across the competition, I believe, to regain that respect, given the seriousness of the comment. Fellas, take us inside the footy clubs, inside the locker room. What would that be like for Taylor Walker trying to regain that respect after such a serious mistake?
It's difficult. I don't know how you would walk through the four walls or through the doors of the footy club and look your teammates and staff members and everyone in the eye. Such a huge error on his behalf, and there's enough education in sport and particularly AFL today to know that there's no place for it. I think it's a big step that he came out and apologised. I mean, that must have been very difficult to get on the, in front of the cameras and get out there today and get on the front foot and in public. So, but in terms of walking back inside a footy club, I'd imagine it would be one of the hardest things he'd be able to have to do.
It's clearly impacted the whole football club as well. We heard Matthew Nicks speak during the week and how emotional he was talking about it. So it's a really difficult situation now that Tex Walker faces, and for the football club as well. He's lost an enormous amount of trust, and as Lecter said before, there's so much education now around this particular area, and it's a thing that I'm not sure why he said it, and it's obviously really, really disappointing. We're working so hard as a community to earn that respect back, as a nation, and when it comes from people like Tex Walker or people that have professionals, then it makes it just really, really disappointing and sad.
So he cops his whack, Jay, the 6 week plus the fine as well.
Yep.
Does he play footy again?
I think that's unclear to me, Lockie. I don't think you could say with any certainty right now that he's certain to play again. And
what's his contract situation?
Yeah, no, he is contracted for next year. Yeah, but it's he's really got to be proactive in this space for a long and sustained period of time. So he's going to have to he will have to lead some of those programs at Adelaide. I expect him to front some of the things that are happening over there in these initiatives, and some other players have done it. Gary Lyon has spoken about this a few times, how he's made some comments that he's not proud of, he's ashamed of, but then now he considers himself, right up to the cutting edge of the education in this space, and is really disappointed that he made those comments in the past. Taylor Walker can be absolute similar. I think he's got a long way to go in this situation too, guys. My heart breaks as well for the people who weren't defended. For every time that a Adelaide official hears a comment about an Indigenous player and then good on him, stood up and then made that call. How many times does this happen around a football club where no one stood up for the person? He just felt humiliated. He felt belittled. So I think we have to keep that in our thoughts at the moment. And as for the penalty, Lockie, there has been some criticism. Tony Armstrong, former Collingwood and Sydney player, Lin Jong, former Western Bulldog player, just retired recently, all raised eyebrows, said they thought the 6 matches and $20,000 was pretty light.
Yeah, so, they're thinking maybe more. So there you go.
I think with what Tex Walker has to live with now for the rest of his life is so much more than the fine that he's been given.
Yeah, it shows how much work we've got to do as a community. For someone in Tex Walker's position who's been around the education and all that sort of stuff to still make a huge error like that, I think it's probably reflecting on where we're at.
Alrighty, got more to talk about, and we'll talk about this game because it's such a crucial one, not only for the Demons, but also the West Coast Eagles for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
The Triple M Footy Preview. Now you can stream the footy wherever you go. Download the Listener app and select Triple M.
For Ream Hot Water and Macca's 50th birthday,
Triple M rocks footy.
Triple M's your home of rock, sport and comedy. Now with Marty Sheargold for breakfast.
Is 46 too old to ride a skateboard? Because I am firmly in the yes at any time.
What about Tony Hawk?
Mate, even going down to the shops at 46, if you hop on a skateboard, you've lost your mind.
That's embarrassing.
When was the last time you were on a skateboard?
Tuesday?
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Get the podcast now from the Listener app. For the Royal Melbourne Hospital Home Lottery, visit rmhhomelottery.com.au to get your tickets.
Just when you thought you'd chosen your next car, the Kia online ordering system is here. Order your brand new Kia from the comfort of your own home, and one of our trusted dealers will deliver your new car right to your doorstep. It's never been easier. And with Australia's best 7-year warranty, it's easy to see why more people are choosing Kia than ever before. For more information on how you can order your new Kia online, visit kia.com/au.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Is it time to switch your home loan? Athena Home Loans now has one of the lowest fee-free variable home loan rates in Australia. And our customers are saving thousands. Low rates and no fees. Two of the ways Athena is helping Aussies pay down their home loans faster. Check out athena.com.au to see how much you can save. Standard credit criteria, terms, conditions and government charges apply.
Hi, I'm Sam Squires, sports journalist and host of On Her Game podcast, created in partnership with Puma. If you could be fearless about the future of women's sport, what would it look like? I've partnered with Puma to ask their top sporting icons from netball, track and field, AFL and rugby league what they want the future of women's sport to look like and how we can achieve it. Search On Her Game podcast, created in partnership with Puma. Download the new Listener app now and listen for free.
Listener. Whilst everything has come to a standstill, the need for blood hasn't. And that's because serious illnesses and big life events like giving birth don't stop just because everything else has. Blood only lasts 42 days, and Australia still needs 31,000 donations every week. That means the need for new donors is constant. If you're feeling well, Australian Red Cross Lifeblood needs to see you now. We're still open, and you're essential. Give life, give blood. Search Give Blood to book your donation today.
Sparkies, Beacon Trade is here to support you. Open from 7:30 weekdays with special trade prices, free delivery and a huge range of lights, fans and electrical accessories at over 100 Beacon stores.
An auto mechanic.
A Sparky.
A plumber.
A robotics expert.
A furniture maker.
An engineer.
A carpenter.
A CAD specialist.
A technician specialist.
If you know what you want to be, is your school helping you get there? Northern College of the Arts and Technology specialise in technology with a curriculum that'll help you get a start in your chosen career. Find out more at the Information Evening for Senior, Secondary and Tertiary courses tomorrow from 6 p.m. Register at ncat.vic.edu.au.
Australia's newest streaming service, Paramount Plus, arrives Wednesday. This is a mountain of movies, drama and family entertainment.
Incredible!
This is Paramount Plus. And this is our radio ad.
for Ream Hot Water and Macca's 50th birthday,
Triple M rocks footy.
20 minutes to go before the bounce of the footy here at Optus Stadium. It's the Demons up against the West Coast Eagles, and might I just say, I reckon 20,000 in the house. Very disappointing, Mark Lacroix. They knew you were coming.
Oh, those clouds are starting to look a little bit dark, aren't they? That weather is just about to roll in, I think, so look for it to be wet in that first quarter.
School night, Lockie.
Be a little bit tougher, the West Coast
School night,
Eagles
Monday
fans,
night,
they?
perfect.
They haven't dropped off, have they, Embers?
It's perfect to be able to sit at home around the country and watch Monday night football. Not
Listen
necessarily
to Monday night footy.
great to be here. year.
Welcome to you, Den. Obviously,
Like
maybe the other 20, 30,000 have been at a function you were at or something like that. They're coming later on.
No such deal now. I think we're stuck with what we've got here in all respects. Me too. You're stuck with me. Yes. No, it's going to be a good game tonight, I reckon. A win for Melbourne tonight. They go back on top, which would be good news for them. And they've got that handy half game, haven't they?
Yeah.
Which at the end of the season could see them right. The West Coast Eagles, of course, if they lose tonight, are in a battle to get into the finals, I reckon. It won't be easy for them from there.
And can you look after the Beast tonight? Those that were listening in yesterday, we had Tommy Atkinson commentating.
Yes.
And Beast was at his all-time best. He just looked comfortable. There was no dark cloud hovering over the top of him like the old man just standing there saying, come on, man, you've got to get this right. Can you just go easy on him?
No, I can't do anything about that. I've tried for over 40 years, I reckon. How old are you, Beast?
Over 40 years, you're
under 40 years. Whatever you like. Even insults roll off him, you know? I mean, he wants clarification on his insults.
Straight away.
How old are you, Beast?
38, Lock.
Oh, geez, if he'd said 32, I was really confused.
If only his mum was here, I would have got it right.
Exactly right. Hey, welcome, Dan. Great to have you on board, and we'll be calling the game very soon. Jay, a lot of interest about Carlton and Collingwood jobs at the moment. There was even a little bit of talk today about maybe Don Pike in a position at Collingwood. Have you got an update? We'll start with Collingwood. What are your thoughts at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So the COVID-19 border closures and travel restrictions have been a snag for Collingwood. So they were hopeful of making an announcement in the pre-finals bye in the first week of September. Now they concede that may not happen until mid to even late September, so deep into finals. So as we know, the leading contenders have been well documented. Don Pike, as you mentioned, given his experience, he took Adelaide to a grand final, and then the camp really had a disastrous effect on that squad. Brad Scott is the other one who hasn't been coaching at North Melbourne. You know, really overachieved, I think, with a so-so list. Alistair Clarkson's the curveball, the premiership mastermind. People around him are saying he wants to take next year off, but because things have been so changing so rapidly around him, I don't think you could rule a line in or out or underneath anything with him at the moment. Blake Caracella, the one at Essendon, also in the mix. Maybe even Adam Kingsley, Richmond assistant coach Justin Lepich has been talked about. But Brad Scott and Don Pike, seemingly the two front runners, but a bit to go in that process.
And what about the Blues, mates? Lots of reports that there was big meetings over the last 24 hours and that Teague was gone.
Yeah, nothing over the past 24 hours. They do have a board meeting, as we understand, later this week, where the findings from that review should be tabled. And it is from that that Carlton will make some huge decisions at the end of the season, so after the regular season. Now, I think it's going to take an absolute miracle to save David Teague's job at the Carlton Football Club. I don't think he'll be coaching there next year. We've been saying that for a couple of weeks now. It was a terrible performance against North Melbourne. They were 18th at the time. And then again against a Gold Coast, the side who was coming off 97 or 98 point hammering from Melbourne. So it's just a club that's not going forward. I don't think David Teague will be the only scalp either. I think there'll be some significant turnover throughout this football club. Eyebrows raised about some of the recruiting moves. Mitch McGovern hasn't worked. Zach Williams, they brought him in as a midfielder. He ends up on a half-back flank, which is where GWS thought was his best position. Adam Saad, he's been okay, hasn't set the world on fire. So I think there'll be significant change at Carlton.
Hey, Rush Hour WA, during the week we spoke to Ed Langdon from the Melbourne Footy Club, and he played a lot with Nat Fyfe and also Clayton Oliver. Here's what he said about those two players in comparison.
Clayton's having an incredible year. It's probably the best individual year I've ever seen. It's
so that's compared to, say, a Fyfe who won a Brownlow medal. You're saying Clayton's
probably the most dynamic player I've ever played with. What he does in and around stoppages is incredible. Yeah, what he's doing is incredible, and I mean Christian's obviously not far behind him.
So there you go. He's compared to Nat Fyfe, who he played with when Fyfe won 2 Brownlow medals, and he's saying Clayton Oliver is more dynamic than Nat Fyfe. Does that blow you away?
Yeah, when I obviously heard that with yourself, I wanted to listen more, so it just shows how big his season's been. He plays with Petrarchi, is obviously Ed Langdon was with Nat Fyfe when he won his 2 Brownlows. To actually say that just shows how well he's going right now.
Is he just trying to pump up his teammates' confidence there, or is
because the original question was about Christian Petrarca, because I thought, Christian Petrarca and that five similar type of dynamic players. He actually was the one that brought up Clayton Oliver, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, he's been an absolute superstar. Clayton Oliver, a serious chance to win the Brownlow medal. The thing for him, though, guys, he said at the start of the season in a conversation with Simon Goodman, he had to become a better teammate. So the selfishness had to go out the window. He had to block, he had to share, he had to make space. And I think that as part of his repertoire has made him a much better player and a more highly valued member of that team.
Jay, Lecker and I were very fortunate to play with Dean Cox, arguably one of the great ruckmen of all time. Now, when Dean first came into the competition, he served an apprenticeship under Michael Gardner. I want to ask you about Luke Jackson.
Yeah.
I am just absolutely admired about the way this guy's going about it. Again, he's serving an apprenticeship under Max Gawn, but I hate to compare, but when I had a look at his first 2 years compared to some of the numbers I ran with Coxie and even Nick Naitanui, he's going to be an absolute gem, this kid.
Spot on. The D's are absolutely wrapped with him. I think there was a homesickness factor potentially around him earlier. They were worried that he may want to head back to the West, but he's been brilliant. You're right. He's got the huge motor. He's got the basketball background. He's got the skills at ground level, like the way he moves with the footy. They're absolute wrapped with. And he's the rising star winner for mine, to your point, Embers. I just think what he's doing as a big man, often the big guys don't get the respect they deserve and the acknowledgement, the accolades. I think this is a perfect chance to reward Luke Jackson exactly for the reasons you mentioned.
Great to have you part of the team, Jay. Back to homeschooling. What will be tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to try and delay the trampoline. I think we've got a bit of science and religion tomorrow. So I look forward to that, Lockie.
All right, mate. Thank you very much for being part of the team. Sensational job. Always delivering the news first. Jay Clark, part of the Triple M team. Of course, this game not too far away. It is West Coast and Melbourne. The D's are out on the ground. We await the West Coast Eagles. It's going to be a ripping contest. Stay with us for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
The Triple M Footy Preview. Now you can stream the footy wherever you go. Download the Listener app and select Triple M.
For Ream Hot Water and Macca's 50th birthday,
Triple M rocks footy.
Malloy on Triple M.
Denise Scott joined us. You're doing this on Zoom from home today. I'm sorry, Denise, you had to hear that.
All right.
National radio. I've lost all standards.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Get more in the Malloy podcast by downloading the Listener app now. Mix back tomorrow Arvo from 4 on Triple M. For Choice Hotels, plan your next getaway at choicehotels.com for the lowest price guaranteed. Terms and conditions apply.
Greatness is inside us all. We just have to find it. Join me, Sarah Grimberg, on my podcast, A Life of Greatness, as I speak with entertainers, thought leaders and humanitarians, including Robin Sharma.
A bad day for the ego is a great day for the soul.
Search A Life of Greatness podcast. Download the new Listener app now and listen for free. Brought to you by Lego Duplo. Start off big.
Listener.
Hello. Frank Walker from National Tiles. Our family company has been selling the best quality wall and floor tiles from Italy, Spain and around the world for over 42 years to professional builders, tilers and do-it-yourselfers. The secret of National Tiles' success is the very best quality tiles at the guaranteed lowest prices every day of the year. So for immediate delivery of the best quality tiles at the lowest prices, rush into National Tiles or buy online now and save.
Great business starts when you're in control. With the Optus Business Connect plan, get up to 8 SIMs and up to 300 gig of data, all on one simple plan. Great business starts with yes. Explore the Optus Business Connect plan online today. T's and C's apply.
At Mercedes-Benz Berwick, if you can dream it, they can deliver it. Upgrade to the Mercedes-Benz you've always wanted. Add Mercedes-Benz Berwick and pay 0 GST on selected vehicles ordered by August 31. In less than an hour, Mercedes-Benz Berwick's product experts can help you create your dream vehicle. Get started now at mbberwick.com.au or phone 1300 MBB MBB. T's and C's apply. Licence 578.
Pepper Money Personal Loan Options. In real life, sometimes you just need to sort things out right now. Like consolidating those debts or getting that home office reno now you're spending more time there. At Pepper Money, we offer fast, easy to apply loan options. So, if you're looking for personal loan options, talk to your broker or talk to us. Pepper Money. Real life loan options. Australian credit licence 425142.
At Coles, we're helping lower the cost of your weekly shop with Coles Bomb Liquid Breakfast 3-pack and the Oral-B Pro 800 electric toothbrush, both half price. Coles, value the Australian way. Offer ends Tuesday.
Have you got a dated and daggy old property that you want to transform without breaking the bank? Hi, I'm renovation expert Cherie Barber, and in my new podcast series, Transform Your Home, I'll share with you my interior design tips and tricks to take your home from drab to fab in next to no time. Search Transform Your Home podcast. Download the new Listener app now and listen for free.
Listener. Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor. Proudly local, proudly independent.
We're out west for this big game. It's Monday night footy at Optus Stadium. The D's and the West Coast Eagles about to go at it, and you can stream every game of Triple M footy live on the Listener app. Download it now. LISTNR. That is the way to listen to the great Dennis Cometti, who'll be calling the action tonight. Are you ready to go, Den? This is a huge game. You mentioned it before. The D's can jump to the top of the table. They've got the advantage or maybe disadvantage of that 2 points because of the draw. And West Coast, they can go a game and a half clear in 7th position, which almost gives them a final spot.
It's a fair time since we've wondered which West Coast Eagles will turn up, though, isn't it?
Yep.
When you look back over the years, that's been a rare thing. But this side now you can't trust, and that's probably leading them into decline. That, I think, becomes the first thing you notice with teams. They become erratic, and then they fade away.
So they could come out Lecker tonight and absolutely turn it on, or it could be a bit of a disaster.
Yeah, I agree with Dennis. So you don't know what's going to happen tonight. I feel like the coaching staff are probably feeling the same way with just some of their selections. You know, they bring in guys like Vardy and Hutchings who have been on the outer, and they drop a couple of young guys that are in okay form. It's like they're desperate for something to happen tonight, hoping that a bit of energy from those older guys. I don't know. Hopefully they come out and give a good contest.
So you've been surprised by the Rotherham-Waterman omission?
Massively. Yeah. Particularly those two. I mean, you can say you're going to pick on form. Waterman is in good form. He had a good game last week. Not too many players were better than him against Collingwood. And Josh Rotham, I feel like, is just the future halfback.
Yeah, he's had a good season.
Yeah, and I feel like he could be a 200-game player. You know, he just looks settled. They've dropped him earlier in the year and got smashed. And I just felt it was a mistake. I feel like they might have felt that it was a mistake at the time as well. But it just seems like they don't really know where their team balance is at the moment, and they're getting desperate for answers.
So a couple of changes coming into the game. Tom MacDonald is out for the Demons. That's a huge blow for them, although maybe if the weather goes bad tonight and there's a fair bit of rain, maybe it's not a bad move. James Jordan comes into the team, and Liam Duggan, of course, has a knee injury. So McDonald out with a back, Duggan with a knee. Luke Edwards comes in for West Coast.
Well, McDonald is obviously important because he really straightens them up inside forward 50, especially with Barris not being in the side. So that would have been quite tough for the West Coast Eagles to be able to really match up on McDonald, also Ben Brown and Luke Jackson, who would be resting inside that forward 50. So again, the contest for mine, that's the most important and crucial area for tonight's game. And West Coast, when you look at some of the players running through there, you expect that Nick Nat's going to give them first use. But in saying that, obviously Gawn and Jackson are two very, very good ruckmen. But the Eagles through the midfield, it's almost flip a coin. Like what West Coast Eagles midfield group are going to rock up today? Redden back into the side, been in and out with injury. Elliot Yeo has missed so much football, but still doesn't look like he's covering the ground really well. Tim Kelly's probably their one that has to get going tonight. So it's such a crucial area up against Clayton Oliver and Christian Petrarca in that particular area off the ground.
If it does rain, though, Jack Viney's a big out.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's combative, isn't he? Tough man. Terrific player.
He is. I think that, like we're saying, the midfield battle is going to be the real exciting part of this game. Nick Naitanui versus Gawn is obviously a huge matchup. The Eagles, for mine, need to defend better. They need to defend that corridor. If Melbourne start moving the ball through the corridor like Collingwood did last week, it was just a free-for-all. And we heard Simon Goodwin say earlier on that they want a supply game. They want the ball inside 50, the likes of Ben Brown, giving a contest and getting scrappy goals. And that's also the way the Eagles like to play. Melbourne play a similar brand of footy for mine as when the Eagles are up and about. So it's going to come down to that midfield battle and who can get the game in their half.
And going back to Simo before, so he has been really reluctant to make big calls at the selection table. He stayed really loyal, and there's been some senior players that probably haven't been in great form, but you're right, it's Waterman, it's Hutchins, it's Langdon. So it's these kind of guys that often get dropped. Obviously, Hutchins has come back into the side. They're bringing Vardy back into the side, which is probably a little bit strange, but clearly impacted at the moment with the ruck combination of Max Gawn and Luke Jackson. I think that's the reason why Vardy's come back into the side. But it's, for mine, a little bit reactive. I like Rotham in the side. I think Rotham can play tall as well. Waterman had 22 touches last week. Surprising that these guys are the whipping boys.
Yep.
Let's go down to the boundary for Bob Jones T-Marts. Bob Jones T-Marts by 3. Get one free and instant cash back on Bridgestone, Continental, Pirelli and many more. bobjane.com.au. 10.
Yes, no tosses yet. Jeremy McGovern for West Coast filling in for Luke Shuey, of course, and Max Gawn. They're just making their way to the middle right now. Probably won't make a lot of difference. There is a bit of a wind blowing from wing to wing, but probably won't affect the game too much. They're just getting to the middle and doing the knuckles, not shaking hands. 80% chance of rain in about an hour's time, and I have no idea who won the toss because they just looked at each other and then ran back to their huddles.
They did too.
So we'll see which way they kick. West Coast have had a long time to think of that loss to the Pies, so interesting to see how they bounce out of the blocks tonight, and both winning 2 of their last 5 matches, so the D's also with a point to prove tonight. Starting on the bench for the Eagles, Cole, Redden, Petruccelli and Vardy. Zach Langdon's the medical sub for Melbourne. Harms, Jackson, Rivers and Jordan on the bench, and Aaron Vandenberg's the medical sub.
Good on you, Tam. The Mac family has arrived at Macca's. Get a free limited edition glass with every medium or large Mac family meal. And it's going to be a Mac-sized game tonight. It is the Eagles up against the Demons. So much on the line, and to start us off and get stuck into the action, here's Dennis Cometti.
Umpires tonight, Dalgleish, Nichols and Howarth. I mentioned Jack Viney before. If it's going to rain later, that would suit him down to the ground, but of course he's just watching on at the present time. Should be a really good clash between the ruckmen too. We've got Nat Nui up against Gawn. I suppose they would be 1-2 in the competition, although there's a few other good players around in that category, but let's see who wins tonight. It could have a vast impact on the outcome of this game. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy, and we're about to go. Wait for the opening bounce then. The West Coast Eagles are going to the eastern end of the ground. Hardly any breeze at the moment. Rain forecast. Umpire Dalgleish has got the ball, and away we go. It should be an enthralling journey. Rucks go at it. Nat Nui got highest, tapped it down. Oliver's got it. Incorrect disposal, surely. Comes back to Kelly. Kelly to Sheed. Over to Yo. Yo goes down towards Harford and West. That was a strong mark. Well done. Plays on wide of the mark, looking down towards full forward. Long kick. Darling will fly from behind. Oh, terrific judgment in there by Petty. Petty took the mark. Comes away now through Gawn. A high kick outside, defensive 50. Pitches on its end. Gets erratic. Hearn paddles it towards the boundary line, and it goes out of bounds.
Looks like Mark Hutchings and Connor West starting at half forward here. Hutchings looks to have come up to the stoppage. It looks like he might have gone to Oliver.
So straight the tag, straight away for Oliver. Kelly hovering as well. Hutchings goes to Oliver now. Ball thrown in. Both ruckmen really got hands to it. The truck is over the top of the footy. Tried to feed it out to Oliver. Sparrow working hard as well. Here's Edwards. Gets the hands to Kelly. Good play to Yo. The kick inside attacking 50. Bounces in front of Allen. He ran into a teammate in Kennedy. And the D's will come up with the footy. May kicks it along the line. And Brown takes the mark on the lead.
So that's interesting. Mark Hutchings hasn't really done a tagging role since the 2018 Grand Final where he went to Steel side bottom. Hasn't played many games, but Adam Simpson's gone to his loyal soldier.
He goes to the tall timber on that occasion of Gawn. Gathered by Pickett though. His kick inside 50 will be cut off. Gathering it and composed, and not composed in the end because the kick was a horrible one. It rolls over the line and out of bounds.
I reckon Pickett missed a real opportunity there. He just lacked a little bit of composure. Had Melsham going past him, just had to be a 2v1. Melksham would have been able to run inside forward 50 and have a shot on goal.
No score on the board. A kick came from Witherden out of bounds, so the fist forward is a good one from Gawn. It'll be hand passed in the direction of Sparrow. He'll kick to the top of the goal square. Out bustled though was Brown, and a terrific mark by the youngster for the West Coast Eagles in Edwards.
Do Edwards the world of good, that. Great for his confidence. Out muscling an opponent, taking a mark. He's had his problems in the last few weeks. McGovern's got it now. Comes down the boundary. Nelson still inside the defensive 50. Beautiful night at the moment. Nelson looking down the boundary and virtually runs to the middle and hooks his kick in that direction. Nat Nui behind the pack with a better judgment. Takes the mark, spread the fingers, and it's stuck. Plays on wide of the mark now, kicks it down towards the 50. Kennedy nudges his man under the footy. May led back, close to the boundary line. The hand pass came from Cripps, taken nicely in defence by Hunt. Hunt drives it back towards the wing. That's a telling kick. Turns the defence around. Melksham's got the football. Lays off a hand pass. Oliver snaps one down towards the half-forward line. McGovern, the only man there. Hand passes to Hutchings. Hutchings, left half back. Kicks it up towards the wing. Brilliant kick. Found Sheed. Sheed's in space. Needed a Shepherd from Shepherd. What was Shepherd thinking? Ball goes long inside the forward 50. Getting his hands to it. Darling couldn't take the mark. Lever gets a hand pass away. And Langdon breaks on a wing he knows so well.
The kick out wide. It's still no score to either team. 3 minutes gone. It's now on the far side of the ground. Fritz has it. He can chip it further afield. The run was good from Langdon. He'll gather and kick further afield as well. Good football on the far side for the Demons. The lead-up player was Brown, and Brown will now get 50. So one of the Eagles players, I think might be West, who ran past a little close to Brown. And Brown will be dragged pretty much to the goal square, Embers.
Yeah, we saw a few of these last night, didn't we? In the Fremantle-Brisbane games, as players coming in too close. Harvey Norman replay is going to pick it up right now. Looks like it's West just coming in. Doesn't really impact the game whatsoever. It's a massive penalty. First goal of the game going to the Dees.
Yep, and Brown too. A confidence booster for him. Eagles fans not happy. Probably reason to be not happy as well. 1 straight 6. That's the D score, and the Eagles yet to score. 4 minutes gone. That's on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, proudly local, proudly independence.
It's a good result for Melbourne there, because West Coast in the early stages of this game have been able to manufacture a loose. They actually had Brad Shepherd free in their defensive half, so if he had to kick it in there, they would have had the outnumber, but just a silly free kick there or a 50-metre penalty gives them an easy goal. But West Coast structure seems to be all right at the moment. Melbourne getting sucked up the ground a little bit there forward line. I saw Kristen Petraka throw his hands up when Dom Sheed marked that ball on the wing, not really knowing what was going on. They seem to have a few free men everywhere.
Melbourne lead by 6 points then. The only goal in the game. There's the bounce. Gawn hooks it down behind brilliantly. In trouble. Sparrow went to the ground. Ball spills outside the centre square. Sheed goes after it. Gets a hand pass away to Hearn. He was taken high. Advantage will be paid, although Gawn stopped. Well, the advantage is lost now. He hand passes, sacrifices some ground, then goes back to Hearn. Hearn kicks it down towards right half forward. Kennedy, quick hand pass out of the pack. Gawn clever. Got it across towards a teammate there. They bring it out of defence. Ball on the outer side. Petraka gets a touch. Gives it to Swallow. Looping hand pass. The back pocket player has came right up. He's on the wing as he tried to soccer at the little redhead. What's his name? Bowie.
Bowie, yep.
That's him, Bowie. Remember that name. Gaff's got the ball on the outer side. Hand passes back to halfback. Hearn's got it. Hesitates. Stops. Now drives the kick around the outer side. Charging up to meet it. Lethal won't get to the contest. May is there, though, and he helps the ball across the boundary line.
Ball to be thrown back in the play. Melbourne 1 straight 6. The Eagles yet to score. 6 gone for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. We'll throw it back in. Right half forwards for the West Coast Eagles. Gawn up against Nat Nui. Nat Nui got the touch, then laid the tackle. Redden over the top of Sparrow. The ball edging towards the boundary line. Well done by Hunt. Gave it off to Gawn. He just kicks it high up towards half forward. Brown couldn't take the mark. Pickett's hovering. He gives it off to the run of Langdon. Good footy. He kicks out to a lead. Shepherd did really well defensively on Fritz. Gave it off to Gaff. Now the ball still tight to the boundary. Kelly's kick forward was good. Here come West Coast. Yo with the footy in hand. Kicks it low inside 50. Poor kick though. Kennedy was running back. May was running forward. And the Demon took the mark. His kick, though, will be cut off. It's coming back through Redden. Redden inside 50. Well read by Lever. The hand pass inside 50 from Shee. Goes to Darling, caught in a good tackle. And Petty holds him up. 35 outs from the Eagles' goal. Will throw it up. One straight 6 plays, no score. It's the D's in front by 6.
That was a great tackle, wasn't it? Petty, no relation to Tom. There's the ball up. Taken by Nat Nui, one of our favourites, Tom. Didn't play AFL, but gee, it was good. Ball goes out of bounds on the full, in the left full forward pocket.
Bit old for me, Ben.
I think you need to focus on Bowie, no relation to David anyway.
That's where I made my mistake, learning it during the week.
This is what happens.
There goes the ball up towards the wing. Flying from behind, punched away by the West Coast, back towards the boundary. Brayshaw tracks it. High ball, Brown in best position. Over the top, getting a fist Cole, knocked it away. Neil Bullen came through, got it to Swallow, gets it across to a runner. He's taken off. This is Jordan. Jordan, he wasn't listed in the team. Long kick goes down towards full forward. It could bounce out in the pocket. Well, Gaff kept it in, and wisely so. Gave it to Hearn. He sends it with a bullet-like pass out to Allen. And Allen's got the football at right half-back.
Allen does have it. Still 6-point lead for Melbourne. The kick back inside 50 will frustrate the fans. Allen pretty much kicked it to Hearn, who kicked it back to Allen. A little bit strange, but anyway, another possession for each. Is always handy at the end of the game.
So Petrarca's pushed to full forward. Harry Edwards looks like he's got the match-up, or it might be McGovern going to him now.
The kick along the line, a terrific mark from Harms. He's had a good season, James Harms. His kick, though, into the middle will put pressure on Brayshaw. Brother had a big game yesterday, but now suspended. He's turned it over and they charge forward again. West Coast. Good gather from Coleshaw, pass to Kennedy, and then Kennedy inside 50 to Cripps. Cripps too far out, you'd have to think. Lecker will probably know better. What do you reckon, Leck? Do you have a crack?
I've seen him kick him from here. I think he will go back and have a crack. He's been in pretty good form, Cripper. I think he kicked one from about 55 out last week, so he'll probably back himself from here, I think.
All right, the fishing buddies. How's the fishing going? Are you still smashing him out there in the water?
Yeah, usual. Standard.
Usual, okay.
Yep.
So Cripper will be right on the 50. Sends it a long, long way. Mark McGrath. Spot on. Cripps gets the goal, 1 straight 6 apiece. And Mark LaCraft for Cbus Super. That was a special comment, delivering consistent long-term returns for members. Cbus for all of us.
He's up and about at the moment, Cripper. He kicked 5 a couple of weeks ago, and he's been taking his opportunities. He's that sort of player that works really hard to get into position, and is sometimes, if the ball movement is not quite right, he doesn't get on the end of them. He's got on the end of a couple and made the most of them of late. That's the first time we've seen a bit of composure going inside 50 for either side. They've had their opportunities. Petrarca probably had someone on the inside when he went inside 50 up the other end, but Josh Kennedy and Jamie Cripps have got a pretty good connection when it comes to those kicks in there, and he did a good job of finishing it.
So it's a goal apiece then. We're back in the centre. Great start to the game. End-to-end stuff. Umpire's bouncing it very well too. Gawn hooks it down to Oliver. In the twinkling of an eye, got it across to support Petrarca. Long kick inside forward 50. Brown almost. Brown does. Play on's the call. In fact, it was Jackson over the top of the pack, so Brown chasing. Ball goes towards the pocket, and now it's pushed across the boundary line by Brayshaw. And we'll get a boundary throw in. Hunt with the trainers, getting some work done off the field.
Just I'd like to have a look at the Harvey Norman replay there. I reckon Luke Jackson's real stiff. It looked like he certainly got a couple of good clunks to that. See that get paid all the time, those marks.
Thrown in, Gawn and Vardy. Gawn too strong. Vardy fought back though, slapped it away. Neil Bullen through the pack. Petrarca takes a shot at goal, straight through the middle. That was instinctive. That was a magnificent kick from Petrarca, and Melbourne take the lead. They lead by that goal.
Just off one step.
Is there a better player in the comp at kicking it for goal off one step?
Yeah, that was big, wasn't
got
it?
Such a penetrating kick. He had a shot about 2 or 3 minutes ago. He got the overlap and he went from 50. Just didn't connect it that well. But that particular time, I wouldn't mind having a look at the Harvey Norman replay again. But it was from a stoppage. West Coast got to find a way to be able to match Petrarca up around those stoppages inside forward 50, because you know that he's going to be able to find footy. It's Elliot Yeo, just gets caught ball watching here, gets sucked into the contest, Yeah, that's not good by Elliot Yote and Christian Petrarca. He makes West Coast pay.
Petrarca, 6 disposals already, 2 inside 50s to go with that goal. That's his 22nd goal of the year on the Triple M Red Z leading stats.
Just in 12 minutes of footy. As we bounce the footy in the middle, Jackson up against Vardy. Vardy gets 2 slaps at it, tries to do the roving as well. Jackson, no, beats him to it, then falls over at the crucial stage. Over the top of it, Neil Bullen, and he's not going anywhere, so a bounce to the throw up of the footy, just inside the centre square, edging its way towards the Demons' forward 50. Once again, the tap down was good from Jackson. The high kick from Oliver didn't go anywhere in particular. Quick kick forward from Sparrow, who's starting in the midfield, to Hearn. He gets clobbered as he got the hand pass away, and then it went to Hutchings, who's kicked it to Bowie, the youngster. And the little man gets a hand pass away. They can set something up through Langdon. The kick to the chest, the diving chest of Gawn. And he slid into it nicely and took the mark. Bit of a juggle, but he'll go back from 50, and this will certainly test him.
Rain starting to pick up now too, so here we go. Fans making their way for a bit of cover, but
a bit of cover. It's filled up nicely though, Lecker.
He's within range here, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's going to kick pretty much from 50. Maybe 52 metres. Probably prefers it this far out than in the goal square. Maxie Gawn. He'll give himself a little bit more room. He sends it very, very high, but across the face of goal. There's a man at the back in brown. That's poor checking from West Coast. He's taken the mark 3 or 4 deep on the boundary. This will be a tough kick, though.
So take his best effort. He's looking to pass the ball off now. He just needs to be a bit composed and setting up to maybe run around and snap this on his left.
On his left. Goes across the face again as well. So a couple of chances for the Demons inside attacking 50. Fisted away. Bowie up against West. Ball forcing its way towards the boundary line. Langdon gets there to help, but West did really well, although the kick not so great. Went straight into the hands of Lever, who bombs it inside 50 again. And terrific mark, Hearn. He was first in the pack. Front position, stretched his arms out against the taller timber of Gawn and even Brown. And the 300 gamer takes a really good mark. It's 2 straight 12 Melbourne, 1 straight 6 Eagles, 14 gone in the first.
Bowie has started well, hasn't he, the youngster we were talking about earlier. Close to the boundary line, Gav's got it, gives a hand pass off. Hurried kick by the man he gave it to. He was swamped, and he's put it out of bounds on the full. That was Hutchings.
Melbourne will be happy with this. They've been able to set up with the ball in their half, and they've got loose numbers all through the middle of the ground. So whenever West Coast trying to kick it out, they're just kicking straight to Melbourne.
And they're pushing hard, the D's. Langdon drives a long kick, a beauty, right up towards the goal square, dropping back. Brown almost held it, dropped it at the last moment, cleared out of defence, back towards half back by the West Coast Eagles. Swooping on a loose ball was Kelly. That was class, gave it to Gaff. Gaff gives off a hand pass, put a teammate under pressure. That was Redden. Ball on the wing. Back it comes to Gaff. He got it from Kelly again. High ball down towards the pocket. We're a bit beyond that. Now charging through his Cripps. Cripps a hand pass to Sheed. Sheed just outside the 50. Hand pass to no one in particular. Harms gets on the end of it. He takes his time and just pushes the ball across to Swallow, who takes a chest mark back end of the centre square. Looks down towards half forward. Low trajectory kick. In front and doing well. Shepherd knocked it to his own advantage. Slips a hand pass away. Now Nelson looks across the ground. Well done. Pinpoints it. Back to Redden. No leads long. Vardy's taken off on the outer side. Found some space. He's got the ball now. Vardy needs to go long. Sends it high up towards full forward. Petrocelli flies, if you don't mind. Darling didn't fly from the back. As a result, Melbourne control the situation and come away.
Salem, good kick to Gawn. Just hovers and waits, wants to lob a hand pass over the top, decided to kick it, and it wasn't a great option. Jordan was making the lead. Big bump from McGovern on the boundary line. And we'll throw it back into play, a bit of physical stuff. 10 on the boundary, Bob Jane T-Marts.
Yeah, Melbourne's Jaden Hunt. He's got a bit of a problem with his left ankle. He's been having a lot of work. He's had it strapped, but it looks like he's ready to go back on. And the rain, which was predicted for an hour, it's come early. Buy
3, get 1 free, and instant cash back on Bridgestone, Continental, Pirelli, and also lots more. bobjane.com.au. The ball's been thrown back into play. There'll be a free kick. It's going to go West Coast way. Dom Sheed will take it. It's the Demons by 6. Midway through this first quarter. Got ahead of themselves a touch. Petrocelli takes the mark on the lead now. Will play on from 50 out. He kicks it poorly. inside attacking 50. Salem will cut it off, receive the hand pass from Jordan, and then the hand pass was not so good from Rivers. Swallowed his body on the line and over the top, Harms. Surely that's a free kick. Going Kelly's way, not paid, said the umpire, and the D's will get out of trouble. Brown's up and about at the moment. He's taken a couple of marks, looking dangerous. This is the best he's looked in the Demons colours this year.
He's looking very dangerous. Probably.
He kicks up towards the top of the 50. Jackson, Ember's man, takes a really good mark right on the 50. Ember's getting a little excited with his boy.
I like Luke Jackson. I said at the start of the year that he was my tip for the Rising Star. He's had a good season. Probably should have had a mark inside forward 50 before, coming off the 4 goals last week. Kicking from outside 50 here will take his best effort. You think he's probably a little bit too far.
He's feeling pretty confident about things. 19 years of age from WA. Early pick for the D's. A couple of years back. Been really impressive, especially this year. He sends it a long, long way. And hovering, but smacking it over the line was McGovern. Brown again trying to make the contest. So 2-1-13 the D's. The Eagles won straight 6. 10-18 gone in this first quarter.
Melbourne looking the better side at the moment. Rivers takes the mark from the kick-off for Maurice Fremantle. They've got a few of them. Melbourne. He's at right half back, about 65 metres out, or rather right half forward now. He's a defender. A long way up the ground. They've pushed up. No one outside the centre square forward for the West Coast Eagles. At the back of the pack, Neil Bullen runs in an open goal with the outside of the boot and slots it. So Melbourne have got their third. They're off to a flyer. 3-1-19. The West Coast Eagles, a solitary goal.
It's good work from Melbourne there, going inside 50. West Coast had Jeremy McGovern, just the free man there, but the kick was just pulled enough inside the middle of the ground, Embers, that he couldn't quite impact. The ball hits the ground, and Crummers at the ground are just able to mop up and kick an easy goal.
Looking quite sharp at the moment, the D's. They've been really patient with their ball use. And at the moment, with the rain starting to come down as well, it's really important that you get up to a good start, and they've certainly done that to start this game.
Yeah, early inside 50s is +2 to Melbourne, but their time in forward half, 61% to the D's at the moment on the Triple M Red Z Lending stats.
Good on you, Beastie. Red Z Lending loans for the self-employed. That rain is coming down big time. 10 on the boundary. I'm feeling for you right now. Get under cover. Don't worry about the boundary riding at the moment. What? No, 10. Got to look after 10. The D's are out of the middle again. Petrarca to Oliver. Wobbler inside attacking 50. Brown again sliding in after it. McGovern, though, kept it to his own advantage. Caught in a tackle, will ball it up.
The good news is Tan's normal tormentor is out there as well, just stuck in it too.
I hope he gets wet.
So, yeah, we hope X gets drenched.
Good tap from Jackson down to a teammate who's been caught high by Redden. So a free kick, and it'll go to the youngster in Spargo, who's been pretty lively this season as well. Spargo.
Just trying to have a look at the Harvey Norman replay there at the moment. Yeah, Redden just going high. Spargo's position was really good. In these kind of conditions, you've got to keep it simple. You've got to be in front and you've got to be first. And if you do that, then you're going to get rewarded for free kicks like that.
You'll hardly be able to see the goals right now, Spargo. It is absolutely pouring down. He'll kick from 48. Might be a little short, though. Pack will form and fisted through for a minor score. Another one for the D's. They're 3-2-20. The Eagles won straight 6, 20 and a half now gone on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, proudly local, proudly independent.
And the Eagles with their backs to the wall at the moment. Wait for the kick in. Witherden goes short. Mark is taken by McGovern. Gives it back. Witherden drives it out wide towards the boundary. It's out of bounds on the full. So Melbourne get the football back. They've locked it in their forward half. Been in there for the last 3 or 4 minutes. Lever's got it now. Drives a long one. Inside forward 50. Big pack. Waiting at the back is Nelson. Tackled by Jackson, but gets a kick away up towards the wing. Lever comes at it. Tried to get it on the half volley. Didn't quite. Still he battles. Walking in there is Darling. Lever grabs him. And the ball goes out of bounds. Again, no forward line to speak of for the West Coast Eagles. They're all back in defence. A few ahead of the ball, but not by much. Only a kick, all of them. They'll have to fan out. Throw it in. Nat Nui wins the tap. Battle of strength. Nicely done. Sheed. Hand passes. Must have heard a voice. Hand passes towards the boundary, and Brayshaw quite content to let the ball go out of bounds. Brayshaw has become a wingman, but of course you remember back a couple of years, 3 years I think to be exact, he came third in the Brownlow. That's a nice thing to have.
Yep, he had a terrific season. Struggled ever since as the ball gets thrown back into play. We'll get an update from town on Shannon Hearn in a moment. He's getting a bit of work done to the buttocks. Nice little rub there.
Possibly hamstring.
Hamstring. Yeah. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Town will be all over it if she's still in the rain. Nat Nui taps it down. Yo, quick hands to Sheed. And then Sheed will kick it up towards half forward. Flying from behind May. And very good defender. Fisted it over the line and out of bounds. 10 for Bob Jones T-Marts.
Yeah, he is getting a bit of work done on the hamstring. The veteran Eagles defender, Shannon Hearn, he stayed down after Melbourne kicked that last goal. Might have just slipped a bit. It's very, very slippery out there. So he's on the bench in the dugout right now.
14 points, Melbourne's lead. 22 and a half gone in this first quarter. Nat Nui takes it out of the ruck contest. It kicked it straight to Bowie, who gives it off by hand to Harms. Harms tried to kick it down the line. Tricky. Came off the hands of Gaff to Jackson, back to Harms by hand. Kicks up towards the forward half of the ground. Melcham will rove this one. Then slipped over at the crucial stage. Over the top of him is Witherden, and the umpire not brave enough to pay a free there. He did slip, I suppose, to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he was caught by a couple of Eagles.
I reckon he was looking for a free kick in the first place.
Yeah, a big fist forward from Gawn through the hands of several players. Brown gathers 45 out, snaps around the corner. The big man has two. He's looking real good to start the game. Big off-season signing, and finally he's coming to the party. 4-2-26 plays one straight 6. That's on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboards.
Amazing how much giving a contest can play yourself into four members.
Yeah.
He's come back into the side recently, and I'm sure Simon Goodwood would have just said just win or halve every contest. Pretty much the focus of every key forward in the competition. And it's funny how things fall your way. He hasn't been beaten in a contest so far today, and that was just an absolutely fantastic finish. His confidence seems to have lifted, and he's in good form.
Warning signs already for the West Coast Eagles. You just feel at the moment Melbourne are harder around the contest. They're starting to win the clearances. They're getting the game played in their forward half, and they're competing in there. They are first, and they're making the most of these opportunities.
Melbourne lead by 20 points then. Tossed up now because of the rain. After it goes Harms. Paddles it down towards centre half forward for the West Coast Eagles. Eventually getting the football is Gaff, and he's slung hard to the ground. Too hard. Advantage is played. It was going to be a free kick. Yo finds himself in traffic. Bit lucky for him and the umpire. Got a hand pass away. Hutchings' kick has gone through for a behind, and it's a free kick though to Melbourne, so the behind won't count. Didn't agree with that play on call in the middle. Nasty tackle into the ground for Gaff though. He bounced when he hit the deck. Out of defence, driven towards the outer side. Long kick by Petty. Up in front. No mark taken by the big fella Gawn. Grabbing it in that pack. Cole comes off the side of the boot. You can hear the umpire. Ball goes to Nelson now, standing in front of the spoil. Came his way. Going back down there. Petty dropped the mark that time. Darling's got it. Deep in the pocket. Cripps, what will he do? He'll put it out of bounds on the full. Let down. Normally much better than that, but that ball suddenly has got slippery, and the players take a little while to go from dry conditions to wet conditions.
25 minutes gone in this first quarter. It's the D's by 20 points.
Just having a look downstairs as well. Tanya will be able to certainly give us an update on this, but just does look like that Zach Langdon is starting to warm up for the West Coast Eagles, so there may be some real issues here with Shannon Hearn.
So the ball on the far side of the ground, the D's want deliberate and won't come their way. Yes, you're right there, Embers. Hearn's still getting some work done, and Langdon is up and about, just walking along the boundary line, stretching himself and preparing himself maybe to come on the ground. 20 points still the Demons lead, approaching quarter time. Nat Nui just shoves Gawn out the way, and a high tackle going to go the Eagles' way. It'll go Nat Nui's way. We'll watch again on the Harvey Norman replay. Yep, Gawney got him around the neck, gave the free away, and Nick Nat will load it up inside attacking 50, needing a big fly. Gawn's back there to try and save the day. Kennedy got the hand pass away. Bowie there, quick possession, slaps it on the boot into the middle of the Optus Stadium with it, and runs back to gather it, and then just kicks it out towards his broadcast wing, and Shepherd has taken the mark. 4-2-26, plays one straight 6. The D's lead at the moment. They kicked in the direction of Darling, can't take the mark. Oliver's there to Spargo by hand, to Brayshaw, tight to the boundary. He's carried over the line Redden was there to heap the pressure on. Tan once again on the boundary.
Yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on trying to work out what's happening with Shannon Hearn. He's now doing a couple of run-throughs. So Zach Langdon, this medical sub, definitely did some warm-ups, but took the T-shirt off to fool me, and now he's put a tracksuit top on. So Shannon Hearn's doing some run-throughs with that hamstring.
Boundary throw in, knocked down decisively. Taken away there by the Melbourne side up towards the wing. Jackson had it momentarily in a pack, couldn't control it. Stealing the ball away, then's Kelly. Goes looking for Kennedy, and he spread the hands right around that football. Had determination all over his face. We had a lovely shot of him coming at the camera, and he spread those fingers, and that was going to be his ball come hell or high water, and he took the mark. Lovely kick from Kelly too. Took the pace off it. Made it easy to mark. 4-2-26. Plays one straight 6. So an important kick, this one. Kennedy will kick from about 40. Almost coming in over the numbers on the arc of the 50. Kick is on the way. Well, it's a flat, funny-looking one, but goes straight through the middle. Sometimes the fat, funny ones can be a lot of fun.
You talking about me?
No.
You give yourself a chance when you play in front, don't you? And Embers, you mentioned it before, in these conditions, the kick wasn't perfect, but that's been one of Kennedy's strong points his whole career, is being able to take the ball at its highest point, and that kick was just like the old Northampton Sea Breeze had come in. I think that's where he learnt to kick, and he's always had a bit of right to left on his kick.
So there's the replay, the Harvey Norman replay. Harvey Norman, your leaders in technology, with a huge range of laptops to suit any budget. Shop online with contactless click and collect available. It was a beauty of a mark, not so much of a kick, but it got the job done and got a goal and made it a 14-point lead for the Demons now. Still some concern for Shannon Hearn on the boundary as we're back in the middle, and the Eagles get it out again through Sheed. So they've turned things around a little bit at the moment, West Coast. They've got a bit of a spring in their step as Cripps forces it towards the boundary line. May have come off a leg there, and it might have come off an Eagles leg. Was it West, maybe?
Yep.
So West booted it over the line accidentally, and Salem will take the free kick. 4-2-26, plays 2 straight 12. How long do you give Shannon Hearn on that boundary line to get fit?
Well, he certainly won't be coming on before the end of the quarter, so they'll reassess and see how he's going at quarter time, but just getting a feel at the moment that he may not come back on the ground, Shannon Hearn.
So there's a free kick for a high one to Jackson, who was trying to take the mark. He's been lively, so too Brown. Some promising signs for the Bigs in wet conditions. He kicks in the direction of Gawn, and there's another free kick with it, and we'll take the free. Shoved out the way. So at left half back, the Eagles have it, and Melbourne lead it by 14 points.
Witherden, normally a good kick. Drives it up to the wing. Here's the target. Darling had it fisted away by Lever, and the ball ricochets off a Melbourne player and goes out of bounds. Harms didn't try and pick it up. He was just running in the vicinity. That was a hefty punch coming out of that pack. So boundary throw in right at the interchange gates. 2 straight the Eagles, chasing Melbourne 4-2-26. Melbourne certainly have taken the points in this first term. Hearn getting treatment on the boundary. Tossed in. Gawn's in front, reaching over the top. Vardy. Kelly goes in, wins the footy. Gets a hand pass away to Yeo. Clock is running. Will we get a late goal from the West Coast Eagles? Ball bounces virtually on the line of the 50. Kennedy comes up. He's tackled, and the ball spills out of bounds. So a boundary throw in. 29 seconds remaining. Can they get a late goal here? Plenty of time for that, provided they get the ball cleanly away from this stoppage. It's thrown in. Gawn and Vardy. Gawn this time, taps it down. Harms got a hand to it, couldn't control it. Oliver, brilliant. Petrarca, equally brilliant. Got it to Harms, and Brayshaw's away.
He kicks it along the line. McGovern's the man in the front. He slapped it to his team's advantage, but Pickett was there to try and pick it up. Now McGovern goes in again, and he's dragged to the turf, and we'll have a ball up. Only about 7 seconds remaining before quarter time. You wouldn't think maybe there'll be a score, although the D's are approaching their forward 50. It'd have to be something special here, and luckily enough for West Coast, Yeo will gather it, kick it out towards the boundary line. Darling will get a free kick, but it won't matter. He'll be 150 metres out from goal. A little bit of music. Will Jack take the kick? He's a long way out.
If he wants a stat,
he's having a chat to the umpire and says, "Nah, don't worry about it. It's a little far for me, 150 metres."
Don't
The
be
Demons, 4-2-26. The Eagles 2 straight 12 for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for IGA Liquor. Proudly local, proudly independent.
For Macca's 50th birthday,
Triple M rocks footy.
The Mac family has arrived at Macca's. Get a free limited edition glass with every medium or large Mac family meal.
Every Victorian AFL team has said no to sports gambling sponsorship. Together, we can make sure kids get to love the game, not the odds. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football, and I'm back Monday morning from 6. I think I saw some AFL footballers at the gym I was at.
You did?
Walking around in my Speedos, right, with those guys hovering around me. I thought, no way, guys.
Do you think they felt bad about themselves?
I think they looked at me and probably thought, wow, he's at the start of his journey.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6. Or hear it anytime on the new Listener app.
Hi, bank.
Yeah, hi. Why are you charging me fees when Athena Home Loans don't charge any fees at all?
No fees? That's ridiculous. Surely they charge application fees.
No.
Monthly or ongoing fees.
No.
Exit fees.
No.
Asking questions fees.
No.
Chocky-bicky fees.
No.
Indoor plant fees.
No.
Pens on strings fees.
No.
Long lunch fees.
No, no fees at all.
Just doesn't add up.
Actually, it really does.
Check out one of the lowest fee-free variable home loan rates in Australia at athena.com.au. Athena, love us and leave us. Standard credit criteria, terms, conditions and government charges apply.
G'day, Howie here. If you're a sports fanatic like me, then have a listen to my podcast, The Howie Games, where I sit down with the biggest names in sport, like Masters winner Adam Scott, NBA champion Luke Longley, and surfing gun Sally Fitzgibbons, to ask them how they started out and how they've picked themselves up after their biggest losses. Brought to you by Seek. The best job ads find the best people. Search the Howie Games podcast. Download the new Listener app now and listen for free.
Listener.
Sheen Panel Service.
If you've had a car accident, call Sheen first. We'll handle your repair process from start to finish and provide an accident replacement vehicle at no cost to you. Rest assured, we use genuine parts and provide you with a lifetime guarantee on all repairs. So remember, call Sheen first on 1300 Repair. We'll take care of the rest at one of our 26 locations across Victoria. T's and C's apply.
Sheen Panel Service.
Now with Vodafone's everyday low prices, you can get 40 gigabytes for just $40 a month. Or for just $5 more, you can get 80 gigabytes. That's double the data. So now you can stream more of what you love. Don't miss out. Go to Vodafone.com.au and order your new SIM card with express delivery for free. Rule with great value today and every day with Vodafone. For use in Oz, T&C apply.
Are you a qualified electrician or gas fitter looking for an opportunity to get your career cooking? Right now, the Oven Repairman is looking to add to its growing team of qualified technicians. Step out of the cold and work indoors. Enjoy work-life balance with no weekend work, your own vehicle, great pay, full training and a team to support you. Time to step into a new career and a new lifestyle. Google the Oven Repairman.
Who can get you cooking again? The Oven Repairman can.
Every Victorian AFL team has said no to sports gambling sponsorship. Together, we can make sure kids get to love the game, not the odds. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade. Supporting Sparkies with 7:30am opening hours, trade prices, click and collect and free delivery from over 100 Beacon lighting stores.
14 points is the margin at quarter time here at Optus Stadium. It's the Demons leading the way. They're 4-2-26. The Eagles 2 straight 12. It is quarter time and a little bit of concern on the boundary with Christian Petrarca. And we also know about Shannon Hearn. Might go to Tan just for Bob Jane teammates. Tan, have you got an update, one on Shannon Hearn, but also plenty of attention directed towards Petrarca as well?
Yeah, Shannon Hearn's an intriguing one. It looks like he doesn't want to give up his spot too easily, the veteran. I thought I saw some paperwork handed to the AFL official, which usually says a sub is being made, but Shannon Hearn is still out there, and Zach Langdon has been warming up. He's the medical sub. He's been warming up with his tracksuit top on. So I'm just keeping an eye on as they walk to the bench now, and I'll also get back to you on Petrarca.
I reckon he's gone, Hearn, because it looks like Langdon is starting on the ground for this second quarter, Tan. So I think you're right with the paper being handed over. Hearn is done for the day.
Yeah, so it looked like a high hamstring, so he's going to take his spot in the back of the dugout right now. So Zach Langdon into the match.
Good news for Melbourne, though. Christian Petrarca looking like he's walking straight into this centre bounce. So he'll be out there. He started really well, Petrarca, hasn't he? He's up to 9 touches. He's kicked a goal. They've been really strong around the contest. That's what's been very impressive for mine about the D's so far in this game. Early on, I felt like they probably adapted to the conditions a bit better. They got the game played in their forward half. Ben Brown certainly was able to present and get on the end with a couple of goals. But just late in that first quarter, I felt the Eagles were able to start to match it with Melbourne through the middle of the ground. They started to win some clearances, started to win some territory. We saw Josh Kennedy step up and kick that goal as well, Cripps too. So the Eagles certainly won't go away. And as we've just seen right now, Shannon Hearn officially out of the game.
Needs to get a bit of sun on that body too.
And
he's a very white man.
Start of the second term. Enough of that. Driven forward by Yo. Long, deep inside the forward 50. And there's going to be a free kick for the West Coast Eagles in that pack. Both the big fellas, Darling and Kennedy, are on the ground. Kennedy gets up first. Whose kick is it? They don't know.
Looks like Jack Darling might be taking, I think.
Jack's still doing up his boots.
Harvey Norman replay there.
Oh, yeah, big push in the back, wasn't it?
It just looks like it was pushed there.
Rivers.
By Rivers, Trent Rivers there. Good call, Den.
West Coast going to need to win that centre clearance battle and really try and get some territory if they're going to stay in this game. They love to play the game in their forward half, and pretty good when you can win a clearance like that and kick it to two tools like Darling and Kennedy, and the backmen are always under pressure.
Well, the Eagles got the first goal of the game. There's Jack Darling looking for the first goal of this quarter. And he runs, and this one is close to the right-hand goalpost, but good. So Darling gets the third for the West Coast Eagles. Melbourne are 4-2-26, and the Eagles 3 straight at the beginning of the second term.
And he's a player for the West Coast Eagles. If they are to play finals and if they are to win finals, Jack Darling's the one that really has to stand up. I thought his first half of the season, well, certainly his first 7 or 8 games, was very good.
Yep.
And then his last couple of months, he's really fallen away. Jake Lever's having a chat with him then, just telling him that he's fallen over a little bit too easy, but he's important for the West Coast Eagles. He needs to get up and going, and maybe that goal might just give him the confidence he needs.
You're right. He is rock solid in front of goals. He just needs to find a way to get more shots.
Yep.
He's been really quiet the past few weeks, so if he can get up and about, they're a chance.
8 points is the margin as Darling gets his first for the evening. So Cripps, JK and Darling all with goals to start the game. Promising signs for West Coast as we bounce the footy in the middle. Their midfield just getting on top at the moment, although as I say that, Petrarca takes one out of the middle, kicks in the direction of Neil Bullen, did really well to keep it to his own advantage, with it and all over him, and a push in the back. So Neil Bullen will take the free kick right on the 50. He'll send it long, you would think, to Max Gawn, getting his hand in. Nat Nui, the tap to Nelson, caught in a really good tackle, thrown to the turf. Fritz now picks up the football. He's going nowhere. He could be in trouble, Fritz, holding the ball. He grabbed hold of it, tried to push off the tackler, and then was caught by 2. And the Eagles will come away with it. It's Yo, who always does a lot of tackling, kicks in the direction of Darling. Bowie's there to get another possession. Got a little bit of speed, Bowie. Came back to Salem and now to Bowie. How many touches for him, the youngster? I think he made his debut last week.
Coming up to number 8 now, Lock.
Yeah, that's a good second game so far. Anyway, the kick inside attacking 50. Fritz taps it forward. Spargo in a little bit of trouble. His hand pass cut off by Gaff, and he'll kick it back to the middle of the ground, and Bowie again will take the mark. Short pass is good.
9 now, Lock.
9, thank you. This is Jordan who's got it. James Jordan. Told to play on. Gaff stands to mark. He kicks it inside attacking 50. Not a lot of system at the moment for the Melbourne Footy Club. Witherden will gather it and kick it high again. Little bit of body work from Petty was okay against Darling. He gave it back to Harms, kicks towards the boundary, and Brown is taking marks at will. It was well positioned. He's up against the youngster in Edwards, and he's enjoying his first half of footy here in the West.
Well, that's the reason why Ben Brown, Melbourne really wanted him inside that forward 50, because he can run and jump and take those grabs. And at the moment, he's looking really lively. He's the most dangerous forward on the ground. West Coast just haven't been able to clear the footy from their defensive 50, repeat inside 50 entries, and finally, Ben Brown could make the Eagles pay right now.
Tough kick this one, though, on the angle. He's tried to edge it through. In the end, it was a little short, only kicking for about 45 metres out. Tried to be maybe a little delicate, so a minor score for the D's there, 4-3-27. The Eagles 3 straight 18.
Margin 9 points then, early going in their second term. Rain has stopped. It stopped before quarter time. Came down heavily halfway through the opening quarter. Long kick comes to midfield. It's falling in short though. Nat Nui gets there, stifles the bounce, still goes after it. Scramble. Nat Nui on his feet trying to steal it away there, but nothing doing, and we'll get a ball up front end of the centre square towards the southern end, the end to which Melbourne are going now. They've been the better side so far. Tossed up. Gawn taps it down. Oliver had it. Slapped away. Socket off the ground by Kelly. Taken by Lever. Gives a hand pass to Salem. His hand pass very untidy. Out to the wing. Nobody there. Sockering off the ground. Hutchings kept it in play down towards half forward. Well played by Petty. Coming up and meeting the football. Now Petrarca slips. Still gets a hand pass away. Salem gives it back to Petrarca. Petrarca's kick comes up towards the wing. McGovern will get a free kick. Melksham grabbed him by the arm. Otherwise, he would have marked that one. He seems up tonight, McGovern. Lacklustre season, really, by his lofty standards. He's looking down towards half forward. Nice kick, too. Beauty. Oh, Darling was pushed in the back, luckily, because the ball bounced off his ample chest.
He didn't really need to do the pushing, Petty, in the end, because it was coming out of his hands anyway, Den.
Yes. So Darling's got it. He's about 85 metres from home. Sends this one close to the boundary, so at worst they can get a stoppage. Kennedy was the target, and it will be thrown in about 10 metres behind where they contested. The arc going around to the behind post. You can get it out of bounds most times there off hands.
Ball to be thrown back in the play. Jaden Hunt sitting out as well, looking a little dejected. So we'll get some news from Tan whether there's any concerns there. Gawn does really well in the ruck work and then kicks it high, like about 50 metres in the air. Straight up and down it goes. It's edged its way into the middle of the ground. In fact, I think Hunt might be out of the game because there's been a sub. So we'll go to Tan in just a moment as the Eagles continue to try and get it inside their attacking 50. Allen's kick was a pretty poor one, puts his teammate under all sorts of pressure, but they're up to the challenge. Redden, was he taken high? No, said the umpire. Spargo hovering 60 metres out from West Coast goal. Comes out the back. In fact, it was just kicked off the ground. Lever will get there first and boot it towards the boundary. Eagles fans will want deliberates, and you would think they'll get it. Yes. 10 on the boundary. Bob Jane T-Marts. It looks like there's been a sub as well for Melbourne.
It is all happening with the subs. Yes, Aaron Vandenberg is on the ground. Jaden Hunt, he had a lot of work done on his left ankle, so he's been subbed out with that.
Good on you, Tan. Kick inside, attacking 50. It's dangerous here for the Eagles. Petrocelli gathers it. 15 out, kicks towards goal and misses to the left-hand side. They're up and about, the Eagles. They're looking threatening. 3-1-19. Melbourne just holding on at the moment after a good start. 4-3-27, 7 gone, Den, on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Lever, short kick in, finds Salem, hugs the boundary line. McGovern again, works in front of Brown and takes the mark in his hands, reaching out for the footy. Got a bit of dash about him tonight. But overdue, 4-3-27, 3-1-19. Kicks back towards half forward. Darling comes through the pack. Not over it or under it, through the pack. Kicks the ball back towards the pocket. Breaking another pack is Kelly. Kelly did brilliant. Spins on a dime. Hooks it back towards goal. Misses to the left-hand side. He arrived quickly. Tim Kelly there. So the West Coast Eagles seem up for the challenge as Melbourne take it to the opposite pocket. Not 15. Little hand pass comes across and it's kicked towards the wing by May. And it's thumped out of bounds out there by Witherden.
West Coast having a good 5 minutes so far to start this second quarter. You can feel the crowd starting to get behind them. They're starting to win some footy around the contest and creating some opportunities inside that forward 50. Just got to find a way to convert now.
Andrew Embley for Seabus Super, delivering consistent long-term returns for members. Seabus for all of us, as the D's have it. Oliver been a little quiet to Petrarca. Now the run of Bowie. He's got some speed about him. The kick inside 50. Brown tried to do the muscling, couldn't take the mark. Edwards tackled high. Play on, said the umpire. 45 metres out from Melbourne's goal. Fritz Hazard. And a ball up.
Both sides are trying to play a similar brand of footy here by the looks of it, aren't they, Embers?
So ball's been thrown up, 45 out. Thanks, Embers, for your special comments. The kick forward, Fritz. Tied to the boundary, caught in a tackle. Shepherd all over him. Not much of a chance to get rid of that one, you wouldn't think. And about 10 metres away from Melbourne's goal line, we'll have another ball up.
Well, you've got to keep it simple at the moment and winning territory, and I reckon West Coast have had a couple of opportunities across half forward, just overused it a little bit, but this is where, under pressure, you just want to get the game played in your forward half, equalise the numbers, and then see if you can lock the ball inside there.
So it might be a bit of the blood rule for Brad Shepherd coming off the grounds.
His nose, I think, ran into Fritsch.
Yes, and Nelson will come back on the ground. So a chance here for the Demons. They've been a little quiet in terms of goals. The last goal was the 24-minute mark of the first quarter. We've gone 10 minutes now in this second quarter. Brown taps it down. Oliver tried to snap it around the corner. So too did Melcham. McGovern is having a good game, Dan, as he kicks it out of his defensive 50. There's a little bit of holding going on. And the Demons getting called for a few of those. Kennedy will take the free. Just inside his defensive 50. Had to work up the ground to try and get a touch. Already kicked the goal as well. As he goes short to Sheed, and Sheed just fires one up towards the wing to Kelly, who's having a good game. To Cripps, to Allen. Just got rid of it as he kicked it inside 50. But marking it terrifically well was Jordan. And James Jordan will take it 30 out from his defensive goal. It's Melbourne by 7. 10 minutes gone. For Ream Hot Water, ask your plumber to install the Ream Steady, hot and strong.
And the bloke that gives out the jumpers at Melbourne has a sense of humour, Jordan, wearing number 23.
Yes.
Ball is in the back pocket. Kick comes up towards the wing. Flying there, not able to take the mark. Jackson, ball comes to ground. In trouble at the base of that pack. I think it's Rivers, and we'll get a ball up. So West Coast have lifted in this second term. They're playing some really solid football at the moment. How many for Sheed, Beast?
He had a good first turn. He's on 11 now after 10 in that first term. Okay. Learning stats.
He's played 5 games against Melbourne, and he averages 25 possessions. They're his bunny. Everyone's got one. Who was yours, Lecker?
There's a few there.
That is the best answer.
That was coming.
Tossed in. So he put that one up. Knocked down in front by Jackson. It goes against Vardy. His other arm was being held, so he did well to get one hand to it. Had it to Harms. Harms gives it back now. And Jackson will take this kick. Another East Fremantle product. Looks down towards half forward. High ball. Brown's going to hit this pack hard. Well, it went through his hands in the end. Slapped away from behind by McGovern. Taken in front by Neil Bullen. Stood up in a tackle. Close to the boundary line. Goes out. Vandenberg battling there.
Out of bounds on the fall.
Okay, it's been called against Redden.
And Redden's trying to say to the umpire that was off the knee.
Okay, well, Harms has got it now from a short inboard pass. He lets fly with a very high kick. It doesn't go that far, but it does go inside 50. Langdon a little too slow with a hand pass. Over the football and doing well was Vandenberg. Got it out. Langdon got a hand pass off. A little kick with about 15 metres. Grabbed in that pack and hooked down towards full forward there by Sparrow. Taken by Fritsch. Hand passes it out now. A little bit of time for Vandenberg, the sub. And the mark has been taken on the behind line. I reckon it's close. Consultation between the goal umpire and umpire Dalgleish, one of the best.
We're going upstairs, Dan.
Yeah.
Check whether it was before the line or not.
Yeah, I reckon it is before the line, don't you?
Yeah, make a quick call here. It was a good mark there by Edwards.
Well, that's as quick as I could be.
It's very close. Just probably snuck in before.
Yeah.
4-3-27 is Melbourne's score. 3-2-20 for the West Coast Eagles. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Supporting Sparkies with 7:30am opening hours. Trade prices, click and collect, and free delivery from over 100 Beacon Lighting Stores.
This is taking a long time, isn't it?
Long time.
You've got two umpires looking down the line, one from either side.
Just make a quick call. It looked like a mark from here, and the umpires finally got there.
Embers, you called it right off the bat. So Edwards will bring it out. He was the man who marked it. No score. Drives it outside the defensive 50. May comes hard, gets a big fist on this one, knocks it down back inside the forward 50 for his side. Langdon's got it now. Got it from McGovern, gives a hand pass across. Kick forward by Edwards, down towards half forward. Pickle bounce, taken by Rivers. He drives towards the outer side and Spargo. Now Brown is in space. He wants the ball. He's running. He's leading towards the boundary line down there. Confused Spargo, I think. Spargo goes for him anyway. He's settled back in the pack. Coming over the top. McGovern again. That was a defiant fist. He made his point. It goes out of bounds.
His timing's good tonight, McGovern, isn't he? He just looks like he's reading the play a lot better than he has in recent weeks.
Yeah, definitely. You can see what the confidence takes a little bit of a hit when Ben Brown, though, gives such a good contest, because he's gone for the spoil there. You would go for a mark usually.
Nat Nui tried to kick it away as he took it out of the ruck contest. Ball thrown back into play, going nowhere. So it's Melbourne by 7 points. Mark Lacroix here for Seabus Super. The tap down was a good one, but the kick smothered off Redden. Gawn put his head down and tried to charge his way through. His hand pass stolen by Nat Nui. Gave it off to Darling, who finds Gaff in the middle. West Coast full of run right now, trying to set something up. He decides to kick it to the top of the 50. Lever will charge at it, and then he was taken high. Played for it nicely. Advantage rule. Bowie will take another free kick and spread it out wide. It's 2 against 1, and it'll bounce in front of Brown. He'll want the boundary for sure, and the big fella slipped over and did it nicely. Just got it over the boundary line, said, bugger that, I'm not taking on 2. I'll just find the boundary the best I can.
West Coast forwards have to be a little bit frustrated there. They're up to help the contest, Embers, and they work 50, 80 metres back inside 50, and then they just bomb away.
Andrew Gaff just blazed away, you're right. He just need to be more composed.
Melbourne by 7 points then. Redden drives West Coast inside their forward 50. Rivers goes after the footy. Gets a hand pass around the boundary line. They'll clear the zone. Kick from Petty, though, is coming back, I reckon, over Petty's head. Well, no, not quite. He's taken the mark there in the pocket. He kicked it around the corner. Pressure was put then on the ball carrier for West Coast, and Petty finishes up with it. He's in the right back pocket. He's played okay. They're looking for that tall defender. He might be the one. Looks around the outer side. Long kick up towards the wing. Nat Nui's there. Oh, terrific mark from Jackson. That's got class written all over it. Lays it off. Bowie sends it up towards the wing. Just beyond the wing now, actually. Langdon got a hand to it, couldn't control it. Harms goes into the pack, did well. The kick, a little reckless, though. It goes a long way up, and Fritz takes a good mark. Thought he was away, thought he was on his own. He wasn't. Redden came up behind him wearing slippers and took him down.
Good call, Dan. 4-3-27, the Demons. West Coast 3-2-20. Score hasn't changed much. It's a real arm wrestle right now, as West Coast have it at left half back. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. The kick will have to go along the line again. Plenty of tools down there. The fist came from Petty. Hovering was Kelly. He can pick it up. Charging at it, Langdon for West Coast. Gave it off to West. Quick kick forward, and Kennedy on the lead. Just got a bit of space. Took the mark and goes short. The Cripps he does. And Cripps takes the mark, but he'll kick from right on 50 straight in front.
And distance shouldn't be a worry here. We saw him flush one earlier in the first quarter and made the distance quite well. You just start to feel the West Coast Eagles are starting to get on top of this game. They're starting to be a lot more predictable around the contest. They're finding some footy, and if they can go back and kick this, well, there's going to be a point in it.
Listen to the roar if he kicks this one. Cripper from right in front. Bang, she goes. Couple for him. And the margin is just 1 point right here at Optus Stadium. 4-3 plays 4-2. It's the Demons just in front on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting Sparkies with 7:30am opening hours, trade prices, click and collect, and free delivery from over 100 Beacon lighting stores.
It was good work by Josh Kennedy there. He played in front, quick kick out of the stoppage, and he managed to take that mark. But he had Dom Sheed running back inside 50 as well. But you can tell the connection between the two forwards that do a lot of training together. Him and Jamie Cripps do a ton of work together at training. Just waited for Cripper to run back into that space and then come back up at him, and a bit of patience going inside 50 there and understanding of what his teammate was going to do. And he went back and slotted it.
Good game of footy this one. 1 point the difference. And Cripps knew he could get the trip right from the time he took the mark and did so. Back in the centre, Nat Nui won the tap down, follows it up, gets a hand pass wide. Redden slides in like a base runner going to second. Comes across towards a teammate in Cole. Yeo tries to emerge from the pack. Pickett has been quiet. Battles with Nat Nui. Nat Nui threw him down like a rag doll. Now Edwards is tackled. Gee, that was tough stuff. We were looking at it front on. They were coming towards us. The beast jumped out of the way.
Ball thrown up. Tap down from Nat Nui to Yeo. Bounces through a couple of players. May's back. Reading the play well. He decides just to bomb it again. Jackson, not a bad target, but he's got two to beat. Darling's there. Jackson tried to do the roving as well. Hand pass a little loose towards Cole. Caught in a tackle by Oliver. Good hand pass, though. Edwards there to receive. His kick smothered. West onto it, charging after it. West goes playing some good footy. Finds Darling. He kicks up towards the top of the 50. Packle form. And a mark taken by Langdon. West Coast all over the Demons right now.
Good fly there.
Hand passes it off to Cripps from 50. Cripper says, kick of points. He missed to the right-hand side.
Zach Langdon never had the distance there, so he knew exactly what he was going to do. It was a great run and jump, but he knew that he had to have someone going by, and it was Cripps. Cripps in good form at the moment would have had his third.
All West Coast at the moment. We're all tied up, 27 apiece.
Rivers kicks it up towards the wing, then off hands taken by Edwards. In goes Oliver, got it to Jackson. Hand passes across to Brayshaw. But the roar of the crowd wants deliberate. I don't think, he's going to get it. Gee, I'm not sure about that.
I think that was just a bad kick.
Yeah, it was.
I think so. But West Coast heat at the moment's really stepped up as well. And that was perceived pressure, but have certainly started to tackle and chase a lot better in this second quarter, the Eagles.
Oliver at the interchange gates then. Or rather, Allen kicks it down towards the pocket. Langdon at the back of the pack gets a nice bounce, runs in, hit the post. They kicked it with the outside of the boot to get it going left to right, and it was too soon that it did that and hit the post. The fat bit, it was about 5 metres out.
West Coast up by 1 now. It's a beauty of a contest as May kicks long. The punch into the middle of the ground. Nelson there first. Tapped it though straight to Melcham. Melcham gives it off to Neil Bullen. No one inside 50. He's just got a skid one towards the goal. He goes towards the boundary line. Is that going to be deliberate? No, throw it in, said the umpire.
It's not deliberate when you're kicking the ball inside your forward 50. I reckon it was a wrong kick there by Neil Bullen because he had Pickett going to the goal square.
Yeah.
No one would have been able to catch Pickett. He just had to get it out in front and allow Pickett to be able to run onto it.
Have a shot.
We're up and about at the moment. This game's a beauty. Jackson in front. Gets the tap down. Jordan there trying to get boot to ball, but he kicked it straight to Edwards. His hand pass dangerous to Sheed, who was also dangerous. Fritz lays a good tackle. And we'll have a bounce. Edwards was the man who received it. That is the big man, Harry. He was caught in a tackle, thrown to the turf, and will ball it up 25 out. Jackson goes for the tap up against Allen. Came down towards Gaff. Clearing kick out towards the boundary line. It'll bounce and bounce. Lever will get there first. Goes back by hand to May. To Brayshaw. Looks to the middle of the ground. Good option in the end. And Jordan's there to take the mark. Got Harms. Decides not to go to him at the top of the 50. And waits for a few leads coming. Brown is the man on the lead. It's a good lead too. It was just to his feet though. The big man couldn't get it. Harry Edwards there to pick it up. The clearing kick to the wings, a good one. Darling's taken the mark. Vardy's there if he wants him. Decides to come out to this broadcast wing. Petrocelli's on the speed as well. His kick is good to Petrocelli. 70 out from goal. Kennedy loose. Kennedy marks. Defenders asleep from Melbourne, and Kennedy will take it and kick from outside 50. We're right behind it.
Well, West Coast this year have been ranked in the competition 18th for moving the ball from their defensive half into their forward 50 because their ball movement's been slow. Well, that's what you want to see the West Coast Eagles do. When they win it, they go and they go quickly because their forwards are high, and you know that the Eagles forwards will be working really hard back into space, and they rewarded Kennedy then.
So JK kicked one in the first. He's looking for his seconds. It'll take a good kick. But he's a great player. And it's another wobbler. This time it won't make the distance. If he'd kicked 2 wobblers, that'd be it.
Put the shoes on the wrong feet, I think, today.
It was rushed through for a minor score. 4-5-29. Plays 4-3-27. Den for Seabus Super, Mark Lecras and Andrew Embley, delivering consistent long-term returns for members. Seabus for all of us.
Terrific game of footy, this one. May comes in, drives it long towards our broadcast wing, the northern side of the ground. Well, Jackson slipped, but it found a safe chest. Standing behind him was Gawn. So he's got the ball at left half back. Wants a hand pass, goes to Salem, favoured by his left foot. Kicks it just beyond the wing. Pack of 3 go up. Jackson claims the mark. I'm not sure he got all of that. Still, it's only right down in front of us, so we had a good view of it, but still hard to pick. Anyway, the umpire was closer than we were, and no angle involved. Now the ball from Jordan, who took a short pass, goes back inside the centre square. Salem kicks it towards the outer side wing. Opportunity for Rivers now. Rivers, that's a cute kick, pulls it back, only about 20 metres. Brayshaw took it on his chest. Now Brayshaw looking for something. Inside forward 50, setting it up for Brown. Brown was behind his man, and Brown applauds the kick. He knew what Brayshaw was trying to do, put it on the head of the bloke in front. Unfortunately, a bit too flat for Brown, and the ball was punched away and out of bounds.
Second turn inside 50s, a 14-11 there in favour of West Coast. They're finally getting some entries now, Melbourne, on the Triple M Reds Athletic Stats.
We'll come to you in a moment, Beast. One Oliver's numbers in a sec. He gets a possession here, but he seems to be a little quiet as Brayshaw kicks inside attacking 50. And Nelson takes the mark.
He has seemed quiet, but he's the high man for Melbourne now, 15. So he's stuck up this corner.
In fact, he's had more touches than any other player on the ground.
Seven this term.
But he needs to step it up, Beast.
Well, it's true, though. You haven't noticed him much.
No, that's right.
Well, that's his operation, isn't it? He doesn't get noticed much.
A deliberate out of bounds for Gaff as... we have a free kick for Salem on the wing, far side of the ground. 2 points, West Coast lead now. It's been a terrific fight back. He's being challenged at the moment, and Rivers decides to run across the face of goal. Oh, dear me, that had to be spot on, and it was. Talented youngster.
It was a good kick.
And across the face of his defensive goal to May, and it just landed perfectly before Kennedy could get there, and he's run on another 100 metres. That's really good footy from Rivers. And he receives the short pass. So he was on the other side of the ground, Lecker, and took it on this broadcast side. Now he kicks along the line. Jackson is their target at the moment, the only man really taking a mark. And the ball's fisted away from him. We'll throw it back into play.
He did well to recover there. They're a scary one when you play on and commit to a switch, and then the player's a little bit further away than what you initially think. So it was a perfect kick, and like you said, great work rate to get the second one.
2 points, West Coast lead. We've gone 26, nearly 27 minutes. Nat Nui too strong, gives it to Yo to Kelly. They've been up and about in this game. The kick in the direction of Kennedy, caught in a tackle. No free kick. West gathers, and West kicked it out of bounds on the full. Tried to screw it round inside attacking 50. Came off the side of the boot. And the D's will take the free kick. 4-5-29 West Coast. Melbourne 4-3-27.
Rivers stayed on the side. He's got the football in the back pocket then. Petruccelli stands the mark. Action-packed first half. One of the best first halves we've seen this season, I reckon. Kick comes up towards the wing from Rivers. Jackson launches himself. He's got a leap, got both hands to it, clearly above the pack, but didn't hang on. Now it's taken forward. Melksham down towards half forward. Brown on the lead, came off his hands. McGovern, dangerous hand pass back inboard. He could have easily taken it out. Now Fritz gives a hand pass across towards Melksham. He tries to fend off. In comes Pickett.
Dear.
And Pickett took the hard one. And I don't think he ducked. I think he slipped.
Yes, Harvey Norman replay, just swinging arm there. I reckon Elliot Yo, that's a little bit undisciplined, silly there by Yo. Might even get looked at. Just look at that last marking contest. Luke Jackson has absolutely crunched Max Gawn. unfortunately, he was the one that copped the knee off Luke Jackson. Really slow to get up, Max Gawn, but Pickett now. This is big because so far in this game, Jackson Nelson certainly had his measure.
And really, this is Pickett's role. He doesn't have to do much, but these are the sort of moments that he needs to do something. And they're expecting a goal. He'll kick from about 40. He's running over the numbers on the arc of the 50. Trots in. Pickett gives this one a ride. The siren blows. A sense of occasion. He's put it right through the middle. And Melbourne regain the lead. Melbourne 5-3. Oh, they're not in front. Sorry. Apologies, everybody. Sit down.
They've given it to the wrong team on the big scoreboard, Ben.
The Beast is pointing out. I've got it.
They are here.
Thank you, Beast. 5-3, 4-5. Everybody in Melbourne, just calm down.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, the D's are leading, but only just. Triple M Rocks Footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade. Supporting Sparkies with 7:30am opening hours, trade prices, click and collect and free delivery from over 100 Beacon lighting stores.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M Rocks Footy.
Built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Robot Building Supplies, now delivering contact-free. Visit robotbuildingsupplies.com.au.
It's better than good.
Triple M Rocks Footy
On Melbourne's 105.1.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football, and I'm back Monday morning from 6. Daisy Thomas. Hey, you know that bloke who holds the target up behind the goals when Melbourne play?
Yeah.
What were you looking at when you were kicking a goal?
Most of my goals were on the runs.
Would the bullseye help?
Probably not, but he thinks he's doing a great job.
Really?
It's going so well, no other team does it. So.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6. Or hear it anytime on the new Listener app.
A notorious family business. The evil network behind our most famous unsolved murder. And the sting that unravelled it all. Don't miss the new 8-part series, Mafia's Web. Out now at mafiasweb.com.au.
What's for dinner? Try Cole's Speedy Pork and Noodle Stir-Fry recipe. Made with 5 ingredients in 25 minutes for just $5 per serve. Discover all the new delicious What's for Dinner recipes online at Coles & Co.
Haven't caught the Hamish and Andy podcast lately? Here's just some of what you've been missing.
Ahoy with a rumbling of excitement to you, Hamish.
And ahoy to you, Andy. Everything's good over here?
Yeah, I was just trying to give you an extra little moment to...
I was eating a brownie. I started it foolishly as the music came on.
Yes.
But that bit where he goes, still buffering, thought to myself, thank God for that.
The Hamish and Andy podcast, brought to you by Before Pay. It's your pay at your command. Download the new Listener app and listen for free.
Listener.
G'day, Wayne Carey here with my good mate Johnny Rombottis, senior auctioneer at Buxton Real Estate. Rombo, what makes you different to the rest?
Well, Duck, I built a network of clients over the years of involvement in the football and entertainment industries. This means I have an outstanding calibre of buyer to introduce the properties.
I've known Rombo since our playing days and recommended him to plenty of mates. That's Johnny Rombottis, senior auctioneer at Buxton Real Estate, a champion performer on and off the field. Give him a call on 0404 073 365.
Family birthday? FaceTiming with friends? That stroll at sunrise? Capture all of life's moments through the lens of iPhone 12. With night mode for stunning low-light photos and video. Take your best shot, day or night. And right now at Vodafone, you don't want to miss a huge saving of $350 of RRP when you stay connected to a selected plan for 24 months. Plus, get free express delivery. Visit vodafone.com.au or call to find out more. TNC apply.
Hello, bank.
Hey, I've had enough of being treated like I don't matter. I'm leaving.
Ha! And where would you go?
Athena. They actually help customers pay off their home loan faster.
Oh, not Athena again. Okay, look, don't go. We'll drop your rate.
Too late.
We'll give you a mouse pad.
No thanks.
And a pen that clicks in 4 colours.
I've got that.
It's got one in green.
See how Athena actively helps you pay down your home loan faster at athena.com.au. Athena, love us and leave us. Standard credit criteria, terms, conditions and government charges apply.
Robot Building Supplies, now delivering contact-free. Visit robotbuildingsupplies.com.au.
It's better than good.
Triple M rocks footy
On Melbourne's 105.1.
Triple M Rocks Footy.
this halftime break for X-Lock Tools and Accessories by Bosch. Extra fast, extra safe and extra easy.
The goal on the siren to Melbourne makes it a 4-point ball game. The Demons 5-3-33. The Eagles 4-5-29. The D's just leading it. But it was all West Coast, pretty much, Andrew Embley, in that second term. Melbourne started the first brilliantly, ran away. I think it was a 20-point lead at one stage, and then it got trimmed back pretty quickly in that second term. West Coast playing the best footy they've played for quite some time.
Well, the positives for West Coast was that they were able to start to match it with Melbourne on ball and start to win some territory, but unfortunately for the Eagles, they just really wasted opportunities. So 2 goals, 5 in that second quarter. You've got to make the most of those inside 50 entries because we know how good Melbourne are, and then that goal to Pickett right on the end really just gives Melbourne that lead at half-time. So the Eagles, I thought their pressure really did step up. I thought Elliot Yeo around the contest was good, his first hands, and just to be able to get the game going their way. But again, they just got to be composed inside forward 50, the West Coast Eagles. We saw a couple of times that that Kennedy was composed. Other times, Andrew Gaff blazed away. So when you're in these kind of conditions, it's we have had some rain. You're not going to get many opportunities. So when you do get those opportunities, you really got to make the most of it. And Melbourne, we know how good they are. Salem's starting to rack some footy up across half-back. We've spoken about Oliver in this game. So Hutchins is going really tight with him, but he's certainly still finding some football. Petrarca has started pretty well as well. So massive second half coming up, and you just felt in that second quarter the Eagles were starting to get the game played on their terms.
Absolutely. The forwards for West Coast were getting their opportunities, weren't they? I mean, Cripps has a couple, Kennedy's going okay, and Darling also got himself a goal.
One of the big things was Kennedy and Darling started to play in front and actually get a run and jump at the footy rather than waiting for the ball to come their way and trying to get out the back. So they're given a contest, bringing the ball to ground in front of them if they're not marking it. And then West Coast are getting numbers to the contest and they're starting to get a little bit of overlap. So they got a bit of a look there. Like you said, they're given a contest. I mentioned before when you're on your phone, Embers, that they play on a similar brand of footy and you gave me nothing.
You're going to throw me under the bus.
Yeah, well, I think
you're rocked up.
Yeah, you gave me nothing. You gave me nothing. I said they're playing a similar brand of footy, which they are. So it comes down to the contest. And, they've got the likes of Lever and May down back, and then at the other end it's McGovern.
He was just transferring funds, mate, don't worry.
I think he was organising his wedding. I think.
Radio craft is we actually look after each other here on Triple M Football.
We had radio silence for a bit there.
That's because it was ball-to-ball call. You've got to allow the commentators to be able to call the football. I'm not going to jump on top of Dennis Committee, the greatest of all time, and Lockie Greed, the second greatest of all time.
Now you're being an idiot.
Now you say, now he's been an idiot. That's his default.
Probably one of the best players on the ground is Jeremy McGovern. He's controlling that half-back line, especially from probably midway through that first term.
Yeah, his confidence is lifted by the way they're playing, I think. He's able to play a little bit more proactive. Like I was saying, with Melbourne are doing it up their end, and they're trying to get some interceptions. He's been good. He's been able to just come across, and he's brought it back to basics. He started to spoil the ball. He's not going for every mark.
Yeah.
Whether it's conditions or the fact that Ben Brown's given such a good contest up there, he's just trying to halve the footy, which is good.
And it's helped too because West Coast Eagles mids have put some good pressure on. So when Melbourne have won the clearances, they haven't come through the front door. They've had to go back. They put pressure on ball carriers. So to at least nullify the quality of clearances that Melbourne are getting, which allows the Eagles defenders, in particular McGovern, to be able to read it, come off his man. And yes, he's got the balance tonight between when to go and spoil and when to take that intercept mark.
This is the halftime break for Bosch Power Tools, X-Lock Tools and Accessories by Bosch. Extra fast, extra safe and extra easy. How do you see the second half panning out? Do you see that one team's dropping away? Like, has Melbourne dropped away, or was it just the intensity from West Coast that was impressive?
I think it's going to come down to who takes their opportunities at this rate. It's been pretty even. I think West Coast might have kicked 2 goals 5 that quarter to Melbourne 1 goal 1. That goal on the siren really was a big goal for them.
Yeah.
I think you saw them all come in and get around each other and go in with a little bit of confidence. West Coast need to reset. They haven't been consistent this year, so if they can string together a couple of good quarters this second half, you would think the crowd may give him a little bit of momentum.
Be interesting to see what West Coast do with Hutchins on Oliver. So we spoke about Oliver before. You didn't think, he was having a big impact on the game. He's up to 15 touches now. Okay, Hutchins has had 6. So at the moment, doesn't look like that matchup is certainly working for the West Coast Eagles. But what it's doing is that it means that Dom Sheed's at half forward, or it means that Redden's at half forward because Hutchins is on ball. So do you actually just say, no, Hutchins, you go to half forward, maybe go to a Salem who's starting to find some football, plays as defensive forward, and allow one of those other mids to be able to start to win some footy through there?
I think Oliver's playing a little like he has until the start of this year. Now, the best footy that Oliver plays is a bit of run and carry and kicking the ball. A lot of today's, how many handballs has he had compared to kicks?
Well, that's the thing. Do you keep it? Because, like you said, Lockie,
I don't think
haven't
he's
really
been that
noticed.
Yeah, so he's
really
7 and 8. So yeah, he's had more handballs than kicks, but purely because of the fact that he is getting that reasonably tight tag. Lots of numbers around that contest. So every time he does get the football, Hutchins is on him really quickly.
The last thing you want to do is take Hutchins off him and for him to get that run and carry and break the lines.
Start kicking inside 50 and be damaging.
You'd take 30, 35 dirty possessions over starting to break the lines, I reckon.
All right, well, we've been perfect, so this will be, we're safe here, I think, I hope. Amy, who covers Clangers, Amy does. Lucky you with Amy. Beast was at his all-time best. He just looked comfortable.
Well,
there was no dark cloud hovering over the top of him like the old man just standing there saying, come on, man, you've got to get this right. Can you just go easy on him?
No, I can't do anything about that. I've tried for over 40 years, I reckon. How old are you, Beast? Over 40 years, you reckon? Oh, under 40 years. Whatever you like. Yeah.
Luckily, Den didn't have his cans on and hear that. You were part of the Clangers, Den. Sorry. It wasn't me who chose it, though. You were you got
to put your microphone on Den to talk.
We got another one here.
You were part of the Clangers then, when you were talking about Beast and trying to predict his age.
Yeah. Start of the game, you remember that? See? He's forgotten the insult already. He's forgotten the insult already.
His phones are off.
They come so thick and fast.
I don't choose the Clangers, Den. It's Tommy behind you. Have a crack at him. It's 5-3-33. That's the score of the Demons. And the Eagles are 4-5-29. The second half not too far away. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That halftime break for X-Lock Tools and Accessories by Bosch. Extra fast, extra safe and extra easy.
For Ream Hot Water and Macca's 50th birthday,
Triple M rocks footy.
this summer,
Here we go.
Triple M Cricket is here. Every boundary,
Monstrous strike.
every wicket,
Hold him! Inside edge, onto the pads, and then onto the middle stump.
and every laugh.
You know what really becomes tiresome? What does? Standing ovations.
It's not just cricket.
Game on, moles.
This summer,
Have some of that.
Triple M rocks cricket.
Did you know that you can use your body to map your emotions? Hi, I'm Jo Stanley, and I've teamed up with Dr. Jamie Lee for our podcast, Best of You. We talk to real people who are facing life's hurdles, whether it's the loss of a loved one or the stresses of work, and from them, learn how physical cues in our body can help us understand our emotions and reframe our thoughts. Search Best of You podcast, download the new Listener app now, and listen for free.
Listener. Samsung makes some super smart smartphones. And right now at Vodafone, you can get your hands on 2 of their best and save a huge $500. That's right, save $500 on the brilliant Samsung Galaxy S21 or the amazing Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra just by staying connected to an eligible Vodafone plan for 24 months. But this flash sale is going to go in a flash. So visit vodafone.com.au or call us today. Hurry, offer ends on the 11th of August. TNC apply.
There are a lot of industries out there, but no matter which one you're in, there's one thing you all have in common. Working in safety, comfort and style starts at 4 Workers. The new evolution in workwear, 4 Workers is your destination for the biggest brands in construction, healthcare, hospitality and corporate. Cat, Blundstone and Mongrel, Hard Yakka, Volcom and more. 4 Workers. Eastland Shopping Centre, Frankston Shopping Centre, Fountain Gate Shopping Centre and 4workers.com.au. That's the number 4, workers.com.au.
Right now, Fairhaven Homes' entire range, including the exquisite Lonsdale 409 home with 4 bedrooms, a study and multiple living spaces, is offered with a Colorbond steel roof as a standard inclusion. Plus, Colorbond Steel is offering the chance to win $10,000 cash. Enter now at colorbond.com/winbig. Colorbond Steel. Made for Australia, loved in Victoria, trusted by Fairhaven Homes. Conditions apply. See website for details.
You know what I don't like about the tile importer, Chops?
Ruff, ruff?
It's the name. It makes you think they only import tiles, which is rubbish, because they sell all building supplies.
Ruff!
They have everything. Treated pine, decking, flooring, cement sheets, lining boards, and so much more.
Ruff!
I can't believe how cheap the tile importer is, Chops.
Ruff, ruff!
Hey, Chops, should we take Mrs. Woody to check out the new display centre?
Ruff, ruff!
17 Natalia Avenue, Oakley South. Tileimporter.com.au.
G'day, Howie here. If you're a sports fanatic like me, then have a listen to my podcast, The Howie Games, where I sit down with the biggest names in sport, like Masters winner Adam Scott, NBA champion Luke Longley, and surfing gun Sally Fitzgibbons, to ask them how they started out and how they've picked themselves up after their biggest losses. Brought to you by Seek. The best job ads find the best people. Search the Howie Games podcast. Download the new Listener app now and listen for free.
Listener.
Shut up! The footy's on
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor. Proudly local, proudly independent.
And we have a game on our hands here at Optus Stadium, 5-3-33, the Demons. They're out on the ground. We're waiting for West Coast to run out, 4-5-29. 4 points is the margin out in the West. And we've got a second half coming our way. Choice Hotels around the grounds need a break. Book, direct and save with Choice Hotels, choicehotels.com. This is the last game of round 21. And, of course, if the D's win, they jump to the top of the table. If West Coast win, they'll jump a game and a half clear in 7th position. Gives them a real good chance of cementing themselves in September. Action, Beastie, take it away with the Red Z Lending stats.
Thanks, Locke. Yeah, leading the way for West Coast was Elliot Yeo with 16 disposals, 5 clearances, 5 tackles, 4 inside 50s, 417 metres gained in that first half. So some good news if you're an Eagles fan, watching him get back to some good form. Now averaging 20 on this season as well, coming off 20 last week. Gaff had the 13. Kelly 13 as well with 4 clearances. Sheed also 13 disposals for him in that first half. Cripps had 9 disposals with 2 goals. Nick Nat 7 disposals, 9 hit-outs, 4 clearances for him. And for Melbourne, Oliver, the man we spoke about, quietly sneaking up to 15 disposals, 4 clearances, 10 of them contested possessions. Petrarca 13, 2 clearances, 267 metres gained to go with 1 goal. Salem had the 13 as well. Bowie 12 disposals for him. Brown had the 2 goals, playing with a lot of confidence obviously, and that's 6 goals for him in his last 6 quarters. Gawn 8 disposals, 14 hit-outs and 2 clearances as well. So the ruck battle is living up to the hype at the moment. So far you'd probably give the edge to Gawn a little bit. West Coast were a plus 14 in clearances. Contested possession, plus 4 in clearances, plus 2 in inside 50s. Melbourne, plus 7 in disposal, plus 14 in uncontested possession, and plus 13 in forward 50 disposal. And that's the Triple M Red Z Lending stats for the first half, Lock.
Good on you, Beastie. Great job for Bob Jane T-Marts. Buy 3, get 1 free and instant cash back on Bridgestone, Continental, Pirelli and many more. bobjane.com.au. 10 on the boundary. You've got some injury news and also news from around the AFL.
Yeah, it's a big night in the AFL in the world of news, of course. Shannon Hearn subbed out of this game with a hamstring injury, so Zach Langdon in, and Jaden Hunt out of this game with a left ankle, Aaron Vandenberg. So both subs are activated early in this game. It looks like the Dockers will challenge Andy Brayshaw's unnecessary contact to the eye region of Jared Berry. He was charged with intentional, low impact, high contact. They'll probably try and argue it was careless and try and get that one down to a fine. So he was offered a 1-match ban for that one. And some devastating news out of Carlton. Co-captain Sam Doherty has revealed his testicular cancer has returned. He was diagnosed last November, of course, and at the end of last year had a malignant tumour removed. It was discovered again just with a routine medical checkup. So he's going to undergo some more chemotherapy. A pretty amazing story that he got back and played 14 games this season. So all our thoughts are with Carlton co-captain Sam Doherty.
Yeah, well said, Tam. IGA Liquor have you covered this footy season. Get your favourite spirits, beer and wine. Head to igaliquor.com.au to Find your nearest store. IGA Liquor, proudly local, proudly independent. As I said, 4 points is Melbourne's lead. They're leading at the moment 5-3-33 to 4-5-29. The second half about to get underway here at Optus Stadium, and to call it, Dennis Cometti.
So the Demons led by 14 at quarter time, and as you heard from Lockie, it's back to 4 points now. Real good second quarter from the West Coast Eagles. They were working hard. Young Edwards is bumping and trying to unsettle Brown, but Brown has been the thorn in the side of the West Coast Eagles. He's looked dangerous since the first bounce. And Oliver, well, he just goes on keeping on. Just talking about him before, he reminds me of Jack McRae from the Western Bulldogs, just an acquirer. You don't notice, but he's getting a mountain of stats. So the second half, 4-5 plays 5-3. Melbourne in front. 4 points the margin. Rucks go at it. Natanui hooks it down. Oliver intercepted. Now it's taken by Kelly. He goes a full revolution. Could have been holding the ball. Petrarca whips a hand pass out the back. Harms goes long down towards full forward. Big leap down there from Melcham. The ball hasn't been touched. And it goes less than a metre to the left-hand side of the goalpost. Could have gone through untouched and been a great start for Melbourne. As it is, Witherden will kick it in. The margin now is 5 points. And a good mark is taken by Yeo at half-back. Hand passes to the runner, Redden. Feeds it forward to Sheed. Sheed looks down the line. Nicely done. Hits Petricelli. Petricelli didn't know what to do for a moment. He stuttered, then he set it down, rather like myself. Off hands, opportunity for Harms. Gets a hand pass to Brayshaw. Sheed came strongly, got him down. Now an opportunity as the hand pass comes over the top from Petty. It's taken across the boundary line by Vandenberg, and we'll get a boundary throw in.
Did well there, Jackson Nelson. He was the one that came off Pickett, and he's done a good job on Pickett so far. Just got to make sure you impact. That's exactly what he did on Vandenberg.
More rain now here in WA. 5 points, Melbourne's lead. A minute gone in this third quarter. The tap out the back towards Petrarca. Gave it off to his mate and Brayshaw. The chip pass a little high for Neil Bullen, but he held on to it. And now he can roost it inside, attacking 50. Brown coming from 2 or 3 back. Comes out the back towards Gawn. Not necessarily the Rovey that you want running after the footy. And Yeo got there. Forced it over the line, 45 around from Melbourne's goal.
Josh Kennedy just coming off the ground, limping at the moment, so we might go down to Tanya shortly.
Yeah, he is limping there, Embers. Good pick up there as Pickett gets pushed over by Nelson. Nelson stands over the top and says, toughen up. The tap down from Brown. Picked up by Harms. He attacks it and then gets tripped. Yeo tackling away. He's the one that gave away the free for the high one on Pickett to kick the goal. It's half-time. Little disappointed with that one. The kick inside 50. Too high for Melcham. It's tied to the boundary. Good tackle being laid. Trying to kick it off the ground was Pickett. Then Fritz ran in, grabbed hold of it, caught in a tackle. Under pressure, West Coast. They'll try and force it through for a minor score. No. It's gone to the right-hand side of the goalpost as the rain is teeming down here. 5-4-34 Melbourne. West Coast 4-5-29, 2.5 gone in the third term.
Great pressure from Melbourne, close to their goal. Boundary throw in. It's going to be tough slogging now, football. Ball comes in front, taken by Neil Bullen. Snaps with his left foot. He's put it through for a goal. Well played by Neil Bullen. Ball slipped off the hands. It wasn't really directed to him, but he found his way through a lot of people and snapped a goal. So that's important for Melbourne. 6-4-40 now. The lead over a goal, 11 points. The West Coast Eagles are 4-5-29.
He's got a couple now, Neil Bullen, and in these kind of conditions, we saw Pickett kick one on the halftime siren. Now they get one early in the third quarter after West Coast really dominated that second quarter. 11-point lead. You hate giving away stoppage goals inside your forward 50. And unfortunately there for the West Coast Eagles, it was Pickett that was the one to move, but just Neil Bullen, he was on Redden and he just wanted the footy first. He was clean and he finished off well.
The Mac family has arrived at Macca's. Get a free limited edition glass with every medium or large Mac family meal for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy back in the middle again. Natanui gets the hands to it, but it goes Melbourne's way. Cut off by Sheed. He's caught in a tackle, needed to be stronger there. Well done, Oliver. Hand pass to Vandenberg, who kicked it off the ground, running back with the fight of the footy with it and takes a gutsy mark and then charges away. kicks to the middle of the ground. Good aggressive stuff. Now to Kelly. Receives the hand pass. His kick to the top of the 50. Off the mark. Darling there. Petty decided to pick it up. He could be in a little bit of trouble by doing that. He's going to be caught holding the ball. No, he isn't. Would have thought maybe the little paddle out in front might have been a better option from Petty.
I've liked Jack Darling's intent. He's having a crack tonight.
No doubt about it. Been under pressure. Here's Vandenberg. Caught in a big tackle. Yo just threw him to the turf aggressively. And it's gone another 10 metres towards West Coast's goal. Yo is a great tackler. He's so ferocious at the footy. Has gone, taps it, a little bit of holding on as Harms, I think it is, charges at the footy, or maybe Vandenberg. And Sheed's over the top of him.
Any update on what's happened with Kennedy?
Yeah, just have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Came up before. It was in that marking contest with that last inside forward 50 kick. And
Vandenberg a little silly on that occasion. Didn't need to do it. There was no way Redden was going to pick up the footy and a push in the back. So Redden will go back from about 35 out. 10 on the boundary. Might be hard for you to see because it's pouring with rain, but any update there on Josh Kennedy?
Just a sun shower, Lock. It's not raining at all. Yes, it looks like there's concern over Josh Kennedy's right knee. They've been doing a lot of stability tests, checking those ligaments. They did a one lot, got him to stand up, and now they're doing some more.
Redden from 45. Beautiful kick, Jack. He's nailed it and trimmed the margin back nicely for West Coast, just to 5 points. It's the Demons 6-4-40. Lead the Eagles 5-5-35. That's on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, proudly local, proudly independent.
It's a big goal, that one, keeping West Coast in it. Just smart play. He just knew that the bloke on the mark couldn't move. He ran around, opened up the angle a little bit and struck it well. But Josh Kennedy, that was a big contest inside 50. I think Jack Darling went back with the flight and JK might have stuck the knee out just to protect himself. So
yeah, I saw it. So he's come down in that marking contest, and it looks like when he came down, landed on that right knee, which is never a great sign. So didn't look like there was much in it, but certainly the impact has caused something in that right knee.
Vardy gone forward now.
Back in the centre, it's got the feeling of a final. One wide by Gawn. Petrarca tracks it out towards the wing, then he overran it. Natanui throws his body into the pack. She did well, got it out, stolen away by Oliver. Neil Bullen tackled and ragdolled by Nick Natanui. And I think Natanui will get the free kick. It's going the other way. Too much bigger.
Non-controlling umpires called that for a slinging tackle.
Well, the kick goes inside forward 50, low trajectory, and Gawn's taken the mark, so that's a big call. Gawn is about 35 metres out, if that. A little bit closer, I'd suggest. Well, that's a strong man on a lesser...
He's been penalised for being too strong.
Being too strong, that's right. But he didn't seem vicious with it at all. It was just part of the deal, wasn't it? And I think his opponent took it that way too. He didn't seem incensed by it. Anyway, Gawn's got the football, and Melbourne with a chance to make a statement right here. Well, he's missed. The crowd instead have their say as the ball goes left of centre. And Melbourne looking better in this term. They've started it well. Not so good in the second term. 6-5 plays 5-5. Kelly drives to the outer side. Witherden should take the mark out there. Is it Hutchings? Hutchings marks just inside the boundary. And the crowd have got a sense of humour.
They do. Knocked over by Oliver. He goes short. So they'll continue to keep possession. It's 6 points Melbourne's lead. Ball at right half back. This is Edwards with the footy for West Coast. Will kick it back inside his defensive 50 to Harry Edwards. And he'll kick it pretty much to the same direction to right half back to Nelson because the other Edwards ran out the way. Ball hasn't really travelled very far. Now they decide to load it up on the wing, charging at it. He's gone. He couldn't take it. Vardy there, caught in a really strong tackle by Petrarca. Ball not going anywhere. And 10 on the boundary for Bob Jones T-Marts.
Yeah, Josh Kennedy, the Eagles spearhead, he's jogged to the room. Some good signs was he's doing some run-throughs before that, and he was trying to change direction with that right knee concern, but he's now down in the change rooms with the physio.
Good on you, Tam. The Eagles continue to push it forward, although it'll be turned over. The hand pass went straight to Bowie. Then the kick along the line, charging at it is Brown, and it got fisted away from him. Good defence from Harry Edwards. Of course, Tan looked after by Bob Jane T-Marts. Buy 3, get 1 free, and instant cashback on Bridgestone, Continental, Pirelli and many more. bobjane.com.au.
Margin 6 points then. Boundary throw in on the outer side. Vardy battles with Gawn. Gawn throws him aside, knocks it down. Petrarca couldn't control it. Comes to Edwards. He's tackled and taken to the ground. Didn't have the football, I don't think. And he's getting a free. Wasn't for lack of trying. He fumbled the footy. It got away from him. And so he'll take this kick on the outer side. Just goes short, Luke Edwards, and finds a teammate. That's Petruccelli, I think. Hasn't seen much of the football. In fact, it's Cole who's got it. So Cole takes off wide of Petrarca on the mark and drives it beyond the wing, down towards half forward. Brayshaw in that pack, off hands, falls in front. Hutchings, a quick kick inside the forward 50. Lever takes the mark, and they're looking for a quick out. Jordan's got it now, just behind centre half back, but there's nothing much on up the field. He goes wide of the man on the mark and kicks it long. Fritsch has got to go here. He's outnumbered, but the ball goes over his head and bounces out of bounds. And in its way, that's a good result for Melbourne.
Might get Bailey Fritz's numbers soon off the beast. It really does look like that Brad Shepherd's had the better of him so far.
Boundary throw in right in front of our commentary position. Melbourne lead it by 6 points. Gawn backhands it down. Yeo takes it. Gives a hand pass off to Gaff. Hooks it down towards half forward. Darling came in a lead, had it thumped away. Sheed camped in front of the pack. Puts it in space. Cripps is going one way. Coming up from fullback, May the other. Hand pass comes out wide. May knocked it on. Now Harms's kick is smothered. And the ball goes up towards the interchange gates. Picked up by Redden. Hand passes across to Sheed. Sheed goes down the line. Brilliant stuff there. Diving across in front, Christian Salem to knock the ball across the boundary line.
Just those numbers on Bailey Fritz. Embers, 3 disposals for him and just 16 metres gained. But the good news is he's at 100% disposal efficiency.
That's a good sign for him.
Yeah, nearly as good as Daniel Rich yesterday, Beastie. Red Z Loans.
Same.
Red Z Lending Loans for the self-employed. The Eagles get it out through Gaff. Has a bit of a fumble though. He's under pressure and paddled it towards Redden, who was hugged by Oliver. A little tap on the back from both of them. A bit of love there. And we'll go back into battle in just a few moments as the ball gets thrown back into play. 6-5-41 the D's. The Eagles 5-5-35, 11 and a half gone in the third quarter. Ball thrown in, but it was a little short for Vardy. Quick kick forward by Oliver. Didn't really travel too far. Here's Kelly. Goes back by hand to Nelson, who just kicks it high up towards half forward. The lever just shoved his opponent out the way. The Eagles fans wanted the free kick. It comes out to Jackson, who hand passed it straight to Langdon. He missed his target. Goes back and gets it though, Zach Langdon. His kick smothered. Vandenberg, a little sloppy. That's another one against him. It was very sloppy. Ed Langdon, the other one that haven't seen a lot of. As we give it to Witherden. Witherden will kick inside, attacking 50. Darling with some strength. Ball comes to ground. Brayshaw to Petty to May, and the ball's over the line. We'll throw it back into play.
Yeah, Ed Langdon started strong. Like he had 7 in the first term, but only 2 since then. So 9 now total for the game on the Red Z Lending stats.
Melbourne lead it by 6 points then. Third term at Optus Stadium. Boundary throw in. Brown and Vardy, some hanging on, and it's going to be a free kick, not between the ruckman. It's a free kick going, I think, to Cripps for being held on as he was roving the pack. So he's got the football. Man on the mark is about 48 metres out. Every metre important. Swallow just stepping up one. Umpire said that was okay. Asking about his rights, whether he can jump. Of course he can't. Then comes Cripps. Kicks from the numbers, and immediately he hooked it off his boot, and it's gone through for a minor score. Wide left. Still, they're within a goal now. 5-6, the West Coast Eagles 36. Melbourne are 6-5, 41. And May to bring it in. Looking towards the outer wing. Spargo is offering a lead. I wouldn't go there. Shortest man on the ground, Spargo. So May goes for distance, and that's a telling kick. It goes beyond the centre circles. Now, he did run about 25 metres, but gee, what a kick. Scramble develops. The attacking side of centre now for Melbourne, and it will be a ball up.
Not sure I've seen a bigger kick out from fullback. I know he had a bit of a run and go at it, but that was massive. Went over the centre circle by a good 10 metres as it remains there with a couple of tackles after that ball up. As Den said, 5 points the margin, 14 gone. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. There is Langdon. Gets a hand pass away out in the direction of Vandenberg. Has to get rid of it. He does quickly to Petrarca. He goes further afield. The D's can go inside 50. Smart kick as Jordan was hovering loose and he's taken the mark. He'll be on a slight angle but only kicking from 40 metres out.
Smart there, Jordan. It came from that stoppage and he just drifted forward. West Coast just got caught ball watching a little bit and he was able to get inside forward 50 just on Jack Redden then. And this is big. He'll be kicking from just inside 50. It's been good today, Jordan. Up to disposal number 13 coming up.
It's a good player. Had some struggles over the year or so. But he's had a good season so far, and that kick not so good though. He'll miss to the right-hand side. So there's 6-6-42 the Demons, and the Eagles 5-6-36, 15 gone in the third.
Witherden to kick it in then. Drives it outside the defensive 50. Darling in from the side. Takes the mark. Good work by Nick Naitanui too. Sort of feigning to go for the football but didn't. Darling goes down towards half forward. Kelly in this quarter creeping into the game. He's right at the interchange gates. Northern side of Optus Oval. Drives it down towards half forward. Close to the boundary again. They're doing it by kick by kick by kick. Every brick just getting it a little closer to their goal, West Coast. They'll get another boundary throw in. Obviously, they like what they're doing around these clearances. Naitanui will do the rucking this time. Jackson is deep, although Naitanui backs alongside him now. Throw it in. Foot race to the front. Jackson decisively got it down in front. Harms got a hand pass away. Petrarca gave it across to support Swallow. He gave it across to Jackson. Jackson kicked it down towards half forward. Harms is through, gets a hand pass from Melcham, has a shot at goal, and it bounces right between the middle of the big post. That bounced on the line. The goal umpire had to back off. So North Melbourne get their seventh, 7-6-48 to 5-6-36.
Oh, Luke Jackson take a bow. That boundary throw in, just his ability, not just to win the tap, but just his follow-up. Ruckman don't follow up like that. And he just gets himself involved. He wins a clearance and then just wins territory. It's a chaos football, creates opportunities. And what a wonderful running goal there by Harms to finish off Luke Jackson's fine work. Here it is, Harvey Norman replay in front of Nick Naitanui, but just follow-up. So it was Harms and it was actually Jackson combined. Down to Harms.
Are you sure you're not marrying Jackson?
Oh, listen, you've got to, when there's good play like that, there's you've got to pump it up. That was fantastic.
It was good hands. It was good hands by Melbourne in that contest to get out and great run and follow-up by Harms.
I'm concerned for Cody. Anyway, bounce to the footy. Oh, Naitanui tried to do it all himself. Petrarca now lays the tackle. Ball not going anywhere, metres away from the centre circle.
Harm's been busy too this quarter. He's up to 7 disposals for the quarter now, 18 for the game for him.
Jackson gets the tap, but straight down to Redden. The kick in the direction of Cripps, but gathered by Rivers. Has had a good game as well. Hand pass out wide towards Langdon. Needs to get a little bit of run from him, and on that occasion he was very good. Kicked it in the direction of Melcham, who couldn't take the mark. He was under all sorts of pressure from Allen. Ball goes over the line and out of bounds. We'll throw it in left half forward for the D's.
Melbourne just seem to be covering the ground a little bit better at the moment.
Yeah.
So we'll throw it back into play. It's the D's leading the way by 12 points at the moment. It's been a ripping contest. The big boys going at it again. Here's Gawn, paddles it to his own advantage, gets through the traffic with ease, kicks it inside, attacking 50. A little bit of holding on, or maybe a bit of good acting. The hand pass is loose, running onto it. Pickett got some speed, goes one way, now the other, gives it the hand by Jackson. Had to go back to Bowie, and then Bowie kicks it towards the boundary line. There he is again. Ty Embers down. Ty is down. He's getting it inside, and Jackson's taken the mark.
Just great follow-up. Great pressure there.
That's all you've got after the last contest. That was 10 times better than what we saw a minute ago.
The big fella's getting involved. Pickett was really important too. Just was alive, just kept the ball alive. And Jackson, follow-up handball. Jackson's follow-ups tonight have been outstanding. In fact, all year. But that's what he does really well. He stays involved.
It's been clean.
And he's been really clean.
Call it yourself, Embers. Call it. Have
well, Luke Jackson from inside the 50. If he can go back and kick this, it'll stun the crowd. Misses.
The mark on the boundary line by McGovern. He takes it deep in his defensive half.
Embers, I think you've got the growl wrong as well. Short pass. Redden gets it, kicks it out towards left half back. Sheed's got it. Pickett almost got him. Terrific chase. Wonderful balance though by Sheed. Kicks it up towards the wing. It's gone out of bounds on the fall. Mark has been taken and kicked across the ground by Melbourne. Petty has been solid. Now Bowie's got it. Just goes back inside the defensive 50. That's why Bowie's in the team. He's not big. He is quick, but he's a beautiful kick. Now the ball goes upfield and the mark has been taken by Melbourne.
So this is really bad. Cripps has actually given a one down the ground and then sprayed the umpire and now cost his side 50 as well. So it's a double whammy. And
Rivers will...
Yeah, could go to 50 here, Den.
Yep. I reckon.
So you reckon it was for the spray? Because it would have been just
definitely
down the ground.
No, it was both. So he paid down the ground, then he paid 50 from where he marked the footy.
Well, I think umpire Dalglish is about 10 short. He's on the 50. I thought he passed the wing on the outer side, that kick. But anyway, away we go. Rivers, as we said, from East Fremantle. He's played okay today too. He's a powerful customer. Kick is on the way, and that kick is a powerful kick. Well, that's gone 10 rows back, but missed by just a smidgen.
How easy did he kick it, though?
That was a 70-metre drop punt.
He's got to be the designated kicker now.
7-7-49, 5-6-36. People in the box just measuring their own inadequacies. as the ball comes up towards the wing. Mark is taken, though. They can't get it out of the 50 Fremantle. Petrarca has marked an errant kick from Witherden.
Another bad one from Witherden, too.
Yeah. So he's looking back inside the 50. Petrarca sets it up for the big fellas. Fly from behind. Almost taken by Jackson. Runs on. What an athlete he is. Gives it across towards Rivers. Rivers fires but didn't get the middle of the football, or perhaps he did. It floats down towards the pocket. Melcham slides in like a base runner going to third and takes the mark on his chest. There's a lot of want-to about this Melbourne team at the moment. They're playing high-octane football.
So you go a left foot snap here?
I reckon he's shaping for one, isn't he?
Yep.
You're the expert. Come on.
Yeah, you got to go.
Nicely cool.
Oh.
That's what you would have done. Oh, straight through the middle. Melbourne are making their move. 6:24 remaining in the third term. And they skip away now to lead by, 19 points. 36-55. 8-7. Plays 5-6. Counting down to three-quarter time.
Well and truly on top in this quarter, the D's, aren't they? So starting to find some footy and getting the game played in their forward half like they did in that first quarter. And they're making the most of their opportunities. 3 goals in this quarter. We saw West Coast in the second when they had their opportunities. 2-goal 5. That might have come back to haunt them right at the end of the game.
West Coast are having real troubles going forward to centre with Kennedy off the ground. They've got Petruccelli deep on May, and I think Levo is manning up west as well. So you're going to have to get creative going forward, but I'm pretty impressive by that finish.
Bob Jones, T-Mart's 10 on the boundary. An update?
Well, Josh Kennedy has been in the rooms about 10 minutes and there's been a few medicos coming and going and a lot of hand signals that are saying, I don't know. They're putting their palms out, saying, I don't know to each other, and he's still in the room, so I'm keeping a close eye on the race.
All right, already without Shannon Hearn. The Eagles under the pump at half-back. Allen has it, kicks it out towards the wing. It's tight to the boundary. Is it over the line or has West taken the mark? West has taken the mark.
Might be a chance to push Oscar Allen forward now, I reckon, for the West Coast Eagles. He's been on Melksham, not really had an impact at half-back. And as Lecker mentioned, with Kennedy off, it just may be a chance to be able to straighten them up.
So short pass was a good one from to Shepherd. It's on the edge of the centre square. He kicks it up towards half forward. Jackson got there first in front of that Nui. Hand pass comes out towards Salem. Has to get rid of it quickly. It'll be turned over. No. Oliver working really hard up against Kelly. Then he had to kick it off the ground. It went straight to an Eagle, though. And Redden, who switches through the middle of the ground. Nelson's taken the mark. The groans from West Coast fans wanted to go forward, but West Coast players know what they're doing. Comes out wide to the broadcast side to Gaff, and now to Darling on the wing. Melbourne with plenty of numbers back, clogging things up. Didn't clog up this, though, as Vandenberg comes in really physical on Gaff. But Gaffey takes the mark. It's Melbourne 8, 7:55. They lead the Eagles 5-6-36, 24 gone in the third quarter. Not far away from three-quarter time. The kick's a wobbler inside attacking 50. Punch down to Rivers, to Harms, in trouble. Just got the kick away. It'll be a push in the back, maybe advantage. Yes, it will. To be taken by Salem. Vandenberg to Neil Bullen, puts Fritz under pressure. Another free kick against Darling. Now Vandenberg. No, he's been told to stop, hasn't he? Or
how can
that
you
was
pay
confusing.
How can you pay 50 metres when the ball's in move? Like, you can't pay 50.
In motion.
In motion.
Yeah. So very strange decision. Melbourne were taking the advantage after a push in the back. Then a 50-metre
so
penalty
you can pay
was called.
advantage when you're running and linking up with a football in a handball chain, but you can't pay 50, can you?
Wouldn't have thought so. We'd have to look up the record books or the what are they called?
Rule books.
Rule books, thank you very much.
We don't deal with them, do we?
No.
Nah, that's ridiculous.
I've never seen it before.
So Fritz will take the free kick anyway. He's a long way out. But he's feeling good about himself. Maybe a bit of a breeze down there that might just take this ball a long way. Rivers, similar position on the other side, so maybe the Demons have super legs. The kick, though, is a long one. It has reached the goal line, but it's through for a minor score. Another one, 8-8-56. 20 points exactly now. The Demons lead 5-6-36. The West Coast Eagles, 25 gone. Den?
Stellar third quarter by Melbourne. Too strong, too quick, too tough for the West Coast Eagles at the moment. Kennedy is back, though, sitting on the bench. Wheeldon comes in, drives it outside 50. Punched away there by Lever. Gains about 15 metres and the ball goes out of bounds. So a throw in.
You mentioned before, Embers, about maybe throwing Allen forward. Is this where the selection sort of comes into question with no Rotham? They've had to throw Vardy forward. Are they unable to put Allen forward now?
Well, Kennedy's on the ground. That's why the roar at the moment is for Josh Kennedy. He's got that right knee strapped up, but he is out there.
Boundary throw in, going to be a free kick, and it's going to Gawn against Nat Nui. Further makes the crowd unhappy. In he comes. Long kick from Gawn. Trying for the top of the goal square. Brown could have almost been interfered with behind the pack. Here's a chance for Melksham. Hooks it across his body and puts it through for a goal. Too easy. He was 10 metres clear by the time he took that football. No one went with him. It's easy to say, but you've just got to have bodies on people down there. 9-8-62. And now the West Coast Eagles have got the staggers. 5-6-36. It's a long way back from here. Second goal for Melksham.
He's looking dangerous, Melksham, isn't he? He crumbed that really well. Just got to the front of the contest, read it well off hands, and really ran in for an easy goal.
Simo on the hard goal.
Not at all. But again,
there's smoke coming out of his ears.
Yeah, it's
maybe scrap that last statement I made about selection, because as soon as I did, Josh Kennedy came back on the ground, so it doesn't matter, does it?
McGovern was on him then, just got caught ball watching. Melksham's a really smart player, just turned his opponent inside out, and ball got goal side. Hard to defend that.
Seabus Super looking after Embers and Lecker, delivering consistent long-term returns for members. Seabus for all of us, and out of the middle again, the Demons. This has been a dominant third quarter. Petrarca to Gawn to Brown. That is perfect footy. And Brown will go back from 15 metres out, pretty much straight in front.
Yeah, big centre bounce clearance. Well done there, Max Gawn. Just stayed involved, and he was able to, as soon as it looked like the Melbourne were going to win it, he just pushed forward. Nick Nat just got caught ball watching. And through the front door, and there's targets inside forward 50. Brown and Jackson looking dangerous. Melksham's had a big quarter. And Ben Brown now, he'll go back, and the Dennis Lilly run up and should go back and almost seal this game.
He'll kick the ball from 15 out, and he's starting his run out at 50. Here he goes. We could clap him in right in front and kicks it through. Another goal for big Ben Brown. He's had a big game, no doubt about that. And the Demons' margin is getting bigger and bigger. They're 10-8-68. They lead the Eagles 5-6-36. The Eagles have stopped 3 goals to Ben Brown.
Well, that's what happens when you come out the front of the stoppage, isn't it? Petrarca's hands in close are just exceptional. Max Gawn was able to read that really early, come out the front, and Ben Brown's looked just a step ahead of Edwards tonight and was able to work him under the contest and take an easy mark in the end.
There was a definite shift in this term. It was 5 inside 50s all at one point, and then The Melbourne Demons have gone on to do 7 out of the last 8 and 5 centre bounce clearances to zip on the Triple M Reds Head Learning Stats.
So the margin was 4 points at halftime. It's blown out to 32. This has been outstanding football from Melbourne. Brown, a valuable cog in this machine now. Strong tackle in the centre by Oliver. It's going to be a free kick to the West Coast Eagles. It was going to Yeo, but Kelly scampers off with it. Kicks it down towards half forward. Ball wanders towards the boundary line. Picked up close there. Hand pass comes back to Brayshaw. Brayshaw tries to give it across to Petrarca. Slapped away. Well played by West. Coming back into the pack was Kelly. Gets it from Sheed. Hooks it across his body. And a teammate, well, he dropped it, West. He was going to mark it for all intents and purposes. Bounced off his chest. May came through. And now Melbourne are clear around the outer side. Oliver hand passes across towards Neil Bullen. Took it on the half volley. Drives it down towards half forward. Edwards comes up. Well stifled, young man. Stopped the bouncing ball. Backed himself there. Sheed was taken high. And the umpire says, play on. The duck. Now, I'm not sure if he did duck. That was just Dom Sheed turning a corner. Maybe he ducks a little all the time.
A little bit of a slip, wasn't it?
Oh, he could have got a little trip there too.
Could have got a trip, but that was the one before.
Yeah,
that's high, that is.
Yeah. It's either holding the ball or too high.
Meanwhile, back at the game, the ball is close to the boundary line, and going out of bounds there is Bowie. Still in slow motion. The players now getting a little angry. And I think it's because of the frustration of the West Coast Eagles.
5-1 in this third quarter. It's been dominated by the D's. Ball thrown back into play. Gawn taps it. It sort of bounces around like a pinball. Petrarca, though, just pounces on it, gathers it in the wet conditions, gets through 2 Eagles, kicks it inside attacking 50. Packle form, terrific mark. McGovern got in front, took it well over Melcham. Eagles fans wanting a 50. Now he fires one out. It's a dangerous one because it'll be cut off. This man's had a really good game as well. Neil Bullen kicked a couple of goals. He's been everywhere. Not 15, the short pass to Jordan, who now kicks it inside attacking 50. Again, Brown climbing high. Just was a little bit off target. Gathered by Sparrow. He hands it over to Melcham. The kick was smothered. Gathered now by Vandenberg. Vandenberg kicks to the goal line. And it was a little short, man. Deep in defence, takes a good mark. It was Witherden. Went short again to Redden. Wants someone to lead for him. Kicks it up to Sheed. And Sheed was really strong. Took a very good mark. Spargo was a little rough in the marking contest. 10-8-68 the D's. The Eagles 5-6-36.
What a quarter it's been by Melbourne. Taken complete control. Sheed out of defence, drives it up towards the wing. Gawn was standing behind the pack, hitting in the face and ricocheted out of bounds. And we'll get a throw in at the interchange gates. Intermittent rain tonight. It stopped for the moment. Simon Goodwin is down on the boundary. He'd be well pleased with this team. They've suddenly turned the corner this season. Struggled, but now they're seeing a real glimmer of hope. They could be premiers. They'll be on top if they win this game. There's Kelly. Slips a hand pass away. Short pass comes into Hutchings. Came across from Redden. There's something going on behind the play. Yeo's got a man on the ground. Meantime, the boundary umpire interceded. But now back at the game. The ball is driven across towards centre and Jackson. Jackson lays off a hand pass. Great quarter by the Demons. That was outstanding stuff. At three-quarter time, they're in front, 10-8-68. The West Coast Eagles kicked 1 goal in that quarter. In fact, they were goalless, I think. 5-6-36.
That quarter for IGA Liquor. Proudly local, proudly independent.
For Macca's 50th birthday,
Triple M rocks footy.
the Mac family has arrived at Macca's. Get a free limited edition glass with every medium or large Mac family meal.
Every Victorian AFL team has said no to sports gambling sponsorship. Together, we can make sure kids get to love the game, not the odds. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football, and I'm back Monday morning from 6.
Nick Revo with us. It's going to be a fascinating run home, which I think is great for all of us that love footy and love,
our teams being relevant as long as possible. So that 7th and 8th spot is right up for grabs.
I wouldn't write North off just yet, but we'll come back.
Coming hard with a rush.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Back Monday from 6. Or hear it anytime on the new Listener app.
Hello. Frank Walker from National Tiles. Our family company has been selling the best quality wall and floor tiles from Italy, Spain and around the world for over 42 years to professional builders, tilers and do-it-yourselfers. The secret of National Tiles' success is the very best quality tiles at the guaranteed lowest prices every day of the year. So for immediate delivery of the best quality tiles at the lowest prices, rush into National Tiles or buy online now and save.
The all-new Isuzu MU-X. Exquisite styling, exceptional tech and safety. And when it's time to get off the beaten track, it's exhilarating. You can go your own way. With extensive restyling, expanded off-road capability, plus 3.5-ton towing, the all-new 7-seat Isuzu MU-X is extraordinary. Search all-new MU-X.
A notorious family business, the evil network behind our most famous unsolved murder, and the sting that unravelled it all. Don't miss the new 8-part series, Mafia's Web, out now at mafiasweb.com.au.
G'day, Howie here. In the latest episode of the Howie Games podcast, I sit down one-on-one with Mad Jack Dorr, a man with a truly incredible story to tell. We all know Mad Jack from his high-flying heroics on the footy field. In this conversation, we explore a life that extends far beyond the game of AFL. From being forced to flee his homeland of Sudan to Madge's mental health battles, this is a story equal parts heartbreaking and uplifting. Mad Jack Dorr on the Howie Games. Download the Listener app now and listen for free.
Listener.
Termite protection from the best. Pick up the phone, call Exopest. Renovating, extending or starting from scratch, termites are gone on the Exopest pack. Those nasty critters with pointed teeth, they'll destroy your home from underneath. Exopest will do it right. No worries, mate. You've won the fight. Get protection from the best. Put those nasties down to rest. Safe, affordable, reliable. Call Exopest 8696 9000. 50-year termite protection, new homes and extensions.
When you're building a roof, you're best to go with Stramit. But a roof is only as good as its that keep everything together, and only Buildex screws will do. So enter the Fasten Up competition from Stramit and Buildex. You and your mates could win a charter fishing trip. Enter now on the Triple M win page.
Every Victorian AFL team has said no to sports gambling sponsorship. Together, we can make sure kids get to love the game, not the odds. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade. Supporting Sparkies with 7:30am opening hours, trade prices, click and collect and free delivery from over 100 Beacon lighting stores.
Impressive third quarter from the Melbourne Footy Club. They stretched out the margin. It was just 4 points at half time. It's now 32 at three-quarter time. 10-8, 68, the D's. The Eagles, 5-6, 36. You'd be happy if you're a Melbourne fan.
Oh, how good were Melbourne. They just showed why they are one of the best teams in the competition and certainly one of the favourites to win this year's grand final. They just look so even across the ground. May and Lever across that half-back line. Their midfield, Max Gawn gets them going. They dominated the centre bounce clearances, an area where West Coast have been really good this year, but they took that away from the West Coast Eagles. Petrarca starts to get his hands on the football and they just start to get the game played in their forward half. They've got options in there. Their smalls are looking really dangerous. Neil Bullen's been really good. We saw Melksham come into the side tonight, stand up and kick a couple of goals. Ben Brown has presented. He's got 3 goals. So they're just a really good team live to watch at the moment, the Melbourne Football Club. And it's the premiership quarter, they call it, and they certainly came to play and they put West Coast under an enormous amount of pressure right now.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there, I reckon, Embers. They're not really being talked about as probably one of the 2 flag fancies, but the way they're playing, the depth that they've got, like you said, over the whole ground, the young guys like Luke Jackson's look amazing. His ability to pick the ball up below his knees and feed off a handball and also to give a contest in the air has been first class. And on the other hand, you look at what West Coast are doing in their forward line and, Petruccelli basically sat in the goal square for most of that quarter. He's only had the 6 touches. I'd like to see him get up the ground and try and get a bit of speed into their game.
So the margin is 32 points. The West Coast Eagles in arrears. They need to do something. Melbourne a great third term. Whistle goes, and it's going to be a free kick. It's going West Coast way. Elliot Yeo will take it. So he's back in the centre circle as he takes this kick, drives it long. Gee, he's gone for the torp. They'll compete about 15 metres out. May makes it look easy. Just comes up, eyes only for the football and takes a safe chest mark. Goes across the front of goal. Finds a teammate, Salem, who sends it short of the wing. And Harms, who's been very businesslike today. Real battler, hard man. No question about him. He sends it up towards the wing then. 5 players in the pack initially. Shepherd, the only one who got hands to it, but spilt it. Ball rolls towards Hutchings. Hand passes to Sheed at close quarters. Back to Hutchings. He's taken down by a great tackle. And it's Jackson, I reckon, who got him. So he's doing the lot. He is really athletic. Number 6 for Melbourne. Just write that down if you go and watch Melbourne. He's the one to watch, or one of the ones to watch. Now Sheed, wide of the pack. Hit down his throat by Natanui. He tried to escape and was tackled. Left the ball behind, and another ball up in the opening minute of this last quarter. And the West Coast Eagles with their backs to the wall. So much in front of them if they're going to pull this out of the fire. Petrarca, that was a careless hand pass back into the pack. Oliver makes it look okay though. Won a hard ball, handed it back to Petrarca. He gave it to Harms, and Harms with a beautiful kick hits Fritsch on the lead. Nothing Shepherd could do about it. Shepherd was there in his hip pocket when the ball arrived and still couldn't get a fist in. Wonderful stuff again by Melbourne coming away from the clearance. That is copybook.
Yeah, well said there, Dan. It was Christian Petrarca. He was the one. He just exploded away from that contest. West Coast flat-footed, and he just makes something happen. You love players that take the game on. Christian Petrarca is a star. Fritz hasn't had many opportunities. Could go back and kick this right now, though.
Yeah, he's missed it, unfortunately. Out of bounds on the full. He's usually a pretty good kick, Embers. So
beautiful kick.
That'll be disappointing for him. He hasn't had many touches. Shepherd has done a really good job on him. 10-8-68 plays 5-6-36. The D's in front as McGovern sends it a long way and straight into the hands or fist of Lever. And it's 6 or 7 high fives from Jakey Lever as he runs away. Very happy with his work on that occasion. We'll throw it back into play, left half forward for Melbourne. The Ream Hot Water ask a plumber to install the Ream steady, hot and strong. The tap down to Oliver from Gawn. He's caught in a good tackle by Hutchings. How have you seen Hutchings' game on Oliver? It's hard to judge. I know we've spoken a fair bit about it, but Oliver in the 20s now, I would have thought.
24 touches to Oliver. Hutchings has gone to him. It hasn't worked for the West Coast Eagles.
So Salem goes back with the footy, gets the hand pass away to Lever, to Jordan, to Harms. Harms further afield to Oliver. He just slaps it on the left. It comes off okay. Neil Bullen had to wait for it to bounce, and then a little bit of holding on too long. So Neil Bullen, I think that was a little unlucky for Witherden. Neil Bullen will take the free kick. Free kicks, Beastie, for Red Z. I'll get him off you in just a moment as Neil Bullen kicks inside attacking 50. No one can take the mark. Putting his head over footy was Spargo. Gathered by Jordan. Kicks towards the goal line. It'll bounce and bounce towards the boundary line. Well done by Langdon. Got the hand pass over his head to Fritz. And Fritz will kick to the goal square. The Eagles confused. They left it themselves. Went to Petrarca though, who turned it over. Smothered kick from Shepherd. This is ugly stuff for West Coast at the moment. That was almost comical. They stood, waited for it, and then it bounced in the hands of Petrarca, who nearly turned it over himself.
You're a hard marker. That was nobody's fault. But the ball is doing that sort of thing to West Coast tonight, isn't it? Just didn't go their way. Found the middle of 3. Tossed in. Now someone's gone down off the ball, and there's going to be a free kick. I think it's going to the West Coast Eagles. It is. And will be taken by Jack Redden. So Redden with rain teeming down now. It's been on and off all night. Redden goes close to the man on the mark. In fact, it was touched, so it won't be out on the full. We'll get a boundary throw in. You can hear the umpire from here. Just for the curious, the umpires tonight are Dalgleish, Nichols and Howarth.
And just for the curious, the free kick's 21-15 in favour of the West Coast Eagles lot to get back to that stat.
Well, that might mean the curious go to bed early tonight. They were all revved up, but that doesn't help them. Wide of the pack is a chance for Brayshaw. Kicks inside the forward 50. Off hands, falls in front. Pickett hooks it with his left boot to the top of the goal square. And McGovern, who's played pretty well tonight back there, and what's been a beleaguered defence under a lot of pressure, takes a chest mark.
He does. He has it in the left back pocket to McDonald's and Reem Hotwater. Triple M rocks footy. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full. He's trying to be
done.
cute. And Adam Simpson standing up in the box just shakes his head.
Simo and you had the same reaction.
So Neil Bullen will take it. He's on the tightest of tight angles. Will he go with the left lecker?
He's set up for the left here, I think.
So here he goes. No other options but to try and snap it round the corner. Plays on quickly and kicks it to the near side. So it was going to be a tough kick all the way along, especially on the wrong boot. We have a look on the Harvey Norman replay, and literally McGovern kicked it 10 metres and straight out of bounds on the full. Harvey Norman, your leaders in technology with a huge range of laptops to suit any budget. Shop online with contactless click and collect available.
Makes amends now with a long kick up towards the wing, but the mark has been taken. It's Petty, right at the interchange gates. He's been handy in defence and he's worked hard on Darling. Really closed him down. He kicks down towards half forward. Looking for the big fella. On the lead was gone. Crashed into a West Coast Eagle who was camped in front of him, trying to fill the hole.
Oh, there's a bit of drama down here.
What's going on? Lightning.
Lightning. That'll save the West Coast Eagles.
We have to stop for the Lightning.
Well, who's captain these days? Shannon Hearn. Well, he's not out there. I was going to say, just go up and offer a draw.
Yeah. Call the game off, you reckon, Dad?
Thought they might have called a head count or something here.
There's lightning in the area, so can you gather both your feet? Put the ball down and get off the ground.
And they're going off the ground now for the Lightning.
We've got a bit of electrical equipment with us, boys.
West Coast Eagles supporters are very happy. They get to go home now. A bit early. Oh, yep, Adam Simpson, he looks like he's packed up. He's heading downstairs.
So this is amazing. The players are being forced off the ground, approaching weather with lightning. Eagles really not sure what's going on. The umpires are still explaining. The D's are clapping themselves off the ground. 10-9-69 plays 5-6-36. We might have to go to the rule book on this occasion.
Well, I thought I heard him say that he awarded the game to Melbourne.
Really?
That's what I thought I heard, but I'm not at the age when I can be trusted.
The way they're clapping and
Gordon was celebrating, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because he was coming off the ground.
They are. They're sort of half celebrating now as they're going down the race.
Yeah.
We definitely heard him say we have to stop, but beyond that.
So we're just, Tommy, our producer, said that he might have heard over the loudspeaker fans go home.
So Channel 7 reporting match has been suspended due to lightning.
Fans are going home, aren't they?
So I wonder if they intend playing the last.
Delay the match.
Oh, there we go.
Please follow the directions from stadium staff and seek shelter. We apologise for the inconvenience. We'll keep you updated regarding the commencement of the match shortly.
Okay, so it's not over yet.
Not over yet.
Okay.
So they'll just wait and see how the weather goes.
It's over, it's over, but it's not over.
The score-wise, it's probably over. So the score at the moment, 10-9-69. That's Melbourne's score. The Eagles 5-6-36. We went 8 minutes into the fourth quarter. The Demons, we can see on the Harvey Norman replay, are in the rooms now. So I suppose for them it's just like a half-time break. They go and have a bit of a chat about what's going on, and West Coast will be doing exactly the same thing.
I've never seen it.
No.
Did this happening at Sydney one year? I think a match was suspended.
I don't recall it ever.
I played in the final one year at Sydney. I reckon it would have been 2004, and it was. They should have called it off for lightning because Sydney were all over us. And we had to play the game out, and they ended up beating us. But
that's not an answer.
So Optus Stadium have just tweeted, due to lightning strikes close to Optus Stadium, the AFL severe weather policy has been enacted. The game has been paused and will resume when safe. Fans are advised to remain in the stadium but seek cover.
Just wondering if that's what Jeremy McGovern saw when he was trying to kick it out of the back pocket there and it went out of bounds on the full.
Maybe that's what alerted the umpires, you reckon, Lecker?
Blame it on the lightning, you thought. I reckon.
Let's go down to Tan. Tan, whereabouts are you, and what's happening with the fans as we look down into the stands?
Well, a lot of fans have decided to go home, I think. A lot of the West Coast Eagles fans, but the play has been suspended due to lightning. You're correct. I've seen this happen at the Wacker before. The Wacker actually turned the lights off because they do attract lightning. So I'm a little bit worried because I'm out in the stand and the lights are still on. But I definitely saw some flashes of lightning over Lathlane. So just to the eastern end of the ground, to the hills side, the left-hand side of the dial, if you know that one. There was a few bolts of lightning over that way when they called it off.
A couple of cheeky tweets already starting.
Yes,
West Coast fans finally have an honourable reason to leave at three-quarter time.
It doesn't take people too long. Probably a good chance to probably leave now. The rain is starting to come down a little bit and West Coast can't win this game. So looks like their season could almost be done, Locke.
So West Coast say via Twitter again, players pause for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, the conditions will be reassessed to determine whether they can play on in the game.
There we go. We've got to fill 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Well, you got any jokes?
Hang on. No,
It feels like an ice hockey game then with all these 20-minute breaks.
Well, we're sitting in here with 10 computers, about 6 large videos. Surely they've got some Jimmy Barnes in the studio and come back to us if we get unlucky.
We can go to music.
Oh, well, yeah.
How do they say? We'll be back right after this.
Well, if not, Embers can sing, can't you? Embers.
I'm only half joking.
Yeah. Well, I know I've got kids in the stands at the moment. My daughter just texted me saying what's happening, so she's still a little confused.
Are still not quite sure.
You need to say it a few times over the stage. She's probably hasn't been. She's been talking all the way through the game or something and missed it. But so we're going to fill 20 minutes. Lecker, we could just go through that game where you kick the bag and you could just take us through each individual goal.
Well, we'll probably need an hour for that, I think.
Is that the shortened version then?
Give us an assessment right now. You've mentioned it a couple of times, the Demons' performance in that third quarter. You were saying during the break that's some of the best footy you've seen for quite some time, and they have to be, well, premiership favourites were your words.
Yeah, so probably from the sides that I've seen come over here this year, Melbourne tonight have been the most impressive. I think they really do structure up all across the grounds. Their spine's really good, and teams that win premierships, you've always got a couple of real quality good defenders and some good key forwards, and that's what Melbourne have got. And then they've got probably the best ruck combination in the competition right now, without a doubt. Max Gawn will more than likely be the All-Australian ruckman at the end of the year, and you've got Luke Jackson that more than likely will be the rising star at the end of the year, and you've got Petrarca's had a fantastic season. Oliver could be a Brownlow medalist at the end of the season as well. They've got options inside their forward 50, and they put pressure on, they hunt, so they're not just downhill skiers or anything like that. So from the teams that I've seen, I feel that Melbourne right now are probably the team to beat.
Yeah, I think they're definitely in that top 2 or 3. The Bulldogs, well, they've taken a little bit of a hit with Bruce going down over the weekend with the ACL, but and Geelong I think are up there as well. But if you were asked to describe how Melbourne play, it's almost a little bit difficult because they can play anyway. They seem to go really well at the contest, the likes of Petrarca and those guys. His handballs in centre clearances and also around boundary throw-ins to be able to get the likes of Gawn and that out forward of the stoppages to get the ball inside 50 is fantastic. His vision and first 5 steps with his pace is something almost Dustin Martin-like. But they play a total football brand. They can go long down the line, slow, and then they can also go really fast and be quite damaging. So you're right. I think their brand of footy is going to hold up come finals, and they've got the cattle as well.
So just updating you, there's a pause in play with lightning threatening. Just by the rules, I've just checked in. If lightning is predicted within no less than 10 kilometres of the match venue at the scheduled starting time, the game can commence time maybe up to an hour. So that's before the game, but we can also maybe wait here for an hour for the game to recommence.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's a long time.
You've got dinner planned at no. I don't. You got to feel it for Shannon Hearn a little bit. His last couple of weeks with his 300th in front of no crowd, getting a hiding against Collingwood, and then coming here doing his hammy and and the side going down with a little bit of celebration they were going to have for him tonight.
And this would be the strangest feeling for Melbourne in there because they're back on top of the charts at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right.
And the game's not over, though.
Well, I think the score, if it's called off now, it's gone so deep into the game that the score will remain.
Oh, yeah, but if they were to go back, I mean, so they're sitting there wondering what the heck, we're on top, but we haven't won the game.
I actually can't believe this. Something's just happened. Mark Lacroix has just leant over and given me a sheet of paper, and it says, "Hey, Locke, I remember when I first started with you guys in the commentary box, you ran a montage of my 12 goals against the Bombers. Can we please
do that again?
Replay
That does not surprise me whatsoever.
We're going to replay it right now. Mark Lacroix in action, ladies and gentlemen.
Are we serious?
Yeah.
45 minutes.
Out of full forward, Lacroix leads, and he marks in front of Hocking. You spoke about his accuracy before the game, Brownie. He has not let you down.
He fires from 35 for his second, and he's popped it through.
The accurate one threads the needle again.
Mark Lacroix kicked his fourth. He certainly has. The French know how to do it, and the Frenchman, Mark Lacroix, is doing it beautifully at the moment.
He steps up to the plate, goes for the banana kick and puts it through. He can do no wrong.
He now has the Lacroix world record of 7.
Goal number 8. He fires and puts it through.
6 metres in from the boundary. Right pocket, unloads. It is a beautiful looking kick. Lacroix has 9. So Reebok kicked 10 against the Eagles. Lacroix has now kicked 10 for the Eagles.
Back to Lacroix from the pocket. Fires for 11. He's got it. Lacroix's got 11.
He unloads. He has kicked 12.
There you go, Lecco. We looked after you there.
I can't believe they're not back out on the oval after
You looked after him.
Yeah, no.
I'll tell you what, I looked after him that day. I gave him about 7 or 8, I reckon, from memory.
Surprising you ask.
Yes.
Okay, because I just heard you a little bit disappointed that Lecco got the highlights and you didn't get any highlights. We've dug deep into the archives. We've gone back to your prime, members. Here's some highlights of you, mate.
I'll tell you what, our producer Tom Atkinson, all right, he's up and about after his call yesterday. Did a very fine job, by the way. And now he's back. Now, back in your box, Tom.
And unfortunately, Dan, we don't have 2 hours to get through your career highlights. So
2 hours? You need more than 2 hours.
Well, that's the short version.
Well, I reckon Lecco should have kicked 36 to help us.
We'll tell you about that bit of the story about that particular game. So
good on you.
He's kicked 12, right?
We'll just
he's kicked 12, and then he's had 4 blokes hanging off him, right? A minute and a half to go, and he's led, right? And I've decided to go, nah, bugger him. I'm going to have a shot. Of course, I nail it, right? And he's turned to me and go, mate, any danger? He wanted 13.
Well, I had 5 hanging off me for most of the day, and I still kicked 12. So I only had 4 on me in the last.
So we've got about 10 minutes before we may have to, cancel the game or resume the game. So the fans are still here. The players are down in the rooms, and we're upstairs, still in the commentary box. There's a lot of happy Demons fans, Demons players at the moment. They're jumping around.
I was watching them on the screen. They're a bit too happy, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's as though they've won the game. It's a very strange place to be in because I would think this would help the losing team. Now, I don't see the Eagles getting back into this, but by the same token, percentage even, although they've got the extra 2 points, so that's perhaps what they're grinning about. But they're quite bewildered in there. Some of the young fellas are just walking around, not doing any talking. Some of the vets are sort of whooping it up a bit.
Yeah, be a strange feeling.
Yeah, really
we might
weird.
head back down to Tan just to get more of a feel. Tan, down on the boundary, Bob Jones Team Arts. The fans, do they know what's going on?
No, I don't think so. But a lot of them, to their credit, they are sticking around. So they've done what they were told and taken cover, and it is starting to rain again as well. So plenty of fans still here. I think I have a crowd figure. I'm trying to find it. Someone texted it to me. 31,500. So it's not bad for a Monday night, a school night. But, yeah, a lot of fans waiting around. Hopefully we get underway again.
Yeah. Well, time is running out, though, to get it underway, which is a little disappointing because you want to see the match finished, don't you? And as you say, percentage, not so much for the Demons because they got the 2 points extra.
Right.
We might listen in now just to hear what's happening outside with our...
We once again apologise for any inconvenience.
It's just short and brief.
I think that was a 10-minute update.
Was it 10 minutes? All right, so 10 minutes to go, Beast.
We missed the start,
Melbourne's starting to warm up down in the change room.
Yes, they are.
And you would think the most dangerous spot to be in is the bridge, walking back if you left early with lightning's about to strike.
Yep, true.
Bridge is not good.
So just to pad out just a little bit more, Beast, how's the movie looking? When are we, because obviously the fans in the East will be updated.
Should be coming out in October, so I'll know more when they get it all finalised. I guess it wrapped about a week ago, so it was all good.
And so you're starring in a movie. What's the name of the movie?
Sweet As is the name of the movie. It's directed by Jub Clerk, a Indigenous director. It's basically a sort of biography of her growing up to a degree in the Pilbara as a young Indigenous girl, and sort of a coming of age story. So it's obviously a story that needs to be told, and a good one at that. So there's some valuable stuff in there that I think we all need to see, and it'd be good to be part of.
My understanding is starring's a bit much.
Right.
See, all the time. How many movies you been in, old man? Right. Just because we're in your media centre,
That's great viewing.
I missed it all the time, all the time.
To be honest, there might be a movie about him later on.
Well, there could be, but he won't be in it.
Who would play you, Den? Who would play you in a
Beast?
All right, let's go around the room. Who would play Den in the movie, the Hollywood movie that'll come out?
You've got to consider the nose, all right?
Harrison Ford for me.
Harrison
Ford.
Ford.
That's a good one. I like that.
Ford, yes.
Yeah.
I'd go with George Clooney for you.
George Clooney.
Even better. Even better. He's younger.
What about you, Beast?
Oh, no. The Beast doesn't want to enter into this.
It's a tough one, actually.
What about a wrestler? Could I be a wrestler?
What was that? Tommy Atkinson's got one.
Yeah. Talking about Tommy Atkinson, I thought Rowan Atkinson would be a bad one.
That's not a bad one.
With a wig. That'd be all right,
He
wouldn't
doesn't
it?
say anything, Rowan Atkinson, does he?
And then, the movie would go and come into the commentary box here at Triple M, and then who would be you? This is really good.
Really good-looking actor.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Don't know.
Ricky Gervais.
Kelly, isn't it pretty great?
Exactly right. Can we get these players out on the ground? Anyway, there was...
is this a slight overreaction here, do you think? Or is it...
I haven't seen
any terrible weather since, have we? It's barely rained since then. And by the looks of the Melbourne team warming up, maybe there's a bit of a chance. We've only got probably 5 or 6 minutes again. Let's go to Tan once again on the boundary. Bob Jane T-Marts.
I'm thinking Sam Neill, only because Sam Neill's in every Australian movie pretty much ever made.
Not a bad call, Tan. Not a bad tool. But actually...
He's a New Zealander, isn't he?
He is a New Zealander, but he could definitely do...
He's good. I like that.
Who would play you, Tan? Who would you like to... Angeline Jolie or something?
I'll go Charlize Theron or someone like that.
All right, tickets.
I like that.
A girl can dream, can't she? Hey, I got a question for you guys. We've seen Shannon Hearn, 301st game. He's 33 years of age. He's done his hamstring. What does it mean for his future?
Yeah, good.
Mark McCrath, probably a good person to ask. He's a good mate. Have you spoken to him about potentially what he might be thinking about doing next year?
Yeah, I have. He wants to play footy as long as he can, and as long as he's performing. I think he is. By the looks of it, it doesn't look like a bad hamstring. And I think he's playing his role pretty well this year. So he's one of the blokes that can hold his head high. I see him going on next year. As after that, who knows? But I think he's a pretty important part of their back line still.
Josh Kennedy. Thoughts on Josh Kennedy as well? Does he go around next year, or does he hang him up at the end of the season?
Well, it's a bit like Shannon Hearn. I feel it's going to be his decision either way. I think he's in good enough form to make that call. As to what he wants to do, I suppose the reason you play footy is because you love it and because you want to win. And if they are not a chance of winning going forward, if they're going to go through slight phase where they're going to bring in some young guys, then he'd be the first person to put his hand up and step aside. But at the moment, I think he's still taking a bit of pressure off some of the younger guys in that forward line.
So hypothetically, let's say West Coast obviously won't win tonight, don't play finals. Doesn't look like, from an outside looking in, that the Eagles will be a better side next year. If both those players, both Hearn and Kennedy, go to the club and say, we want to play, do you think they play, or do you think the decision gets taken away from them?
I think they play because of what they've been able to do this year, and purely on that. They've got obviously been great players for the club for a long period of time. I think Josh Kennedy is one that they may look to manage through next year, which you can... I know some people might not like that, but if he can come out and play 15 games, majority home games, and take a bit of the pressure off Oscar Allen and take a better defender off him, and they can somehow structure the team where he gets a full year playing inside 50 and can get a good run at it, I feel like that is going to be better for his development next year as well. Both are good enough to continue to play, but I suppose if you're no chance of winning next year, then is the hunger still going to be there for those guys? I think Shannon Hearn wants to play regardless. Josh Kennedy will be the one where he'll sit down, talk to his family and see where he wants to go from there.
They've dropped away this year, haven't they, the West Coast Eagles? Did you see this coming? Like, we obviously talk about it a lot, but where have the Eagles gone so wrong?
Who knows at the moment? There is not a big margin between the best sides in the comp and the sides that are in the bottom half of the 8. So realistically, we are saying they're dropping away, but there is no reason that they won't come back and have another run at it next year. I think premiership window, and that may be a stretch to start saying that with the way they've gone. They may be a top 8 side next year with the way that they're looking, but the tier below the 30-year-old sort of players need to really step up. It's becoming their team. They need to hand that team over to those guys. They have got a lot of guys that are 30 and above that are still really in charge of the side. The Shueys, like we say, the Kennedys, the Hearns, they're still integral parts of the side. That next layer of players really need to come up and own the side, and then those other guys are there just for the cream.
Well, I think the problem is the Tim Kelly deal. I mean, they gave away 2 first-round draft picks for that. Now, probably when you look back, they could have had him 4 or 5 times for nothing in the draft.
Yep.
They don't believe enough, I don't think, in some good players locally in the Waffle. And he was a good player, and everyone was saying he was a good player. And they could have drafted him, and they didn't. They waited for somebody else to do it, and then you really had to back off. You couldn't go and pay that price, surely.
Then you've gone and paid an enormous amount of money. Now West Coast, that window is closed.
Yes.
And suddenly you've got a couple of players like McGovern signed a massive contract at $1.2 million. You've got Kelly on $800 now. So that puts a lot of pressure on the salary cap. And
but how cautious were they? Because Kelly in his first 2 seasons polled 37 Brownlow votes. They didn't think he was ready for football here, league football a year before that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think sometimes, and one of the issues can be when you're seeing so much of players, recruiters start to find out what's wrong with these players rather than what's right.
Yes.
And so when you speak to a couple of recruiters over in Melbourne in the East, they're going, geez, how have West Coast missed out on a Tim Kelly? Like, we see him, we go, this guy's been dominating, for South Fremantle for a couple of years now. We want to go and get him, but for whatever reason, both West Coast and Fremantle for that matter, they look potentially at, he's a bit slow, doesn't use the footy that well. But obviously they were wrong there, and now they've had to pay full price.
Hold your thought, Lecker. So play was paused for 20 minutes. Now that was at the time of local time of 8:23. So the earliest possible start was 8:43, and that's 8:43 now. So we've had the 20-minute delay, still no sign of the players coming back out onto the ground, but the fans haven't been told to leave the stadium, so still a little bit of hope.
Yeah, fair to say most of the fans, I reckon, have left, though. But
so they're going to break a rule.
Empty.
Back on that.
They're going to break a rule, are they?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think it's up to 30 minutes, maybe even an hour. That's we're just wondering whether it's an hour or just 30 minutes. So if it's 30 minutes, we've got about 10 minutes. Obviously, bad weather, severe weather warning, lightning. Within 10 kilometres, and we await to see whether the game resumes. And the score was West Coast Eagles were leading the way, and the Demons were leading the way, 10-9-69 over the Eagles, 5-6-36.
So is there anything to say that, like when the game's obviously done and dusted, can the two clubs come together and say, okay, we've been off for half an hour, 40 minutes, can be quite dangerous to actually get the players back onto the ground for soft tissue injuries like that. You just shake the hand and say, okay, well, award the game to Melbourne and that's it. I mean, West Coast can't win from here.
No, well, they can't. They were 8 minutes into that fourth quarter, wasn't it?
Anyway, it's at the moment, there's nothing that can be gained, in my opinion, from two sides coming back out on the ground after having a half an hour break in the game, and that could be even longer by the time the games get started again.
You mentioned it. We always want to be the safety of the players, but maybe it has been an overreaction. I mean,
what are the chances of getting hit by lightning, really?
Well, yeah, but we haven't seen anything drastic. There's been nothing that's
in the sky.
Sky. So, but you go on the experts' advice, I'm sure.
Of course.
Back on that Tim Kelly deal, it was uncharacteristic of
it was
West
a stinker,
Coast.
wasn't it?
It was almost like they promised him the year before that they were going to get him back. Particularly, I know he has been a good player, but midfielders, like you said, Dennis, you probably could have gone to the waffle and drafted the next best player out of the waffle and hope that he would turn into something similar. I could understand them giving up a bit for a key position player who doesn't come along as often. But, yeah, they did give up a fair bit of their future for a midfielder when really they had Yo, Shuey, and other guys running through there who are just as good.
Jai Bolton's maybe a guy that I've seen play a lot of football who's dominated in the waffle competition. He's won a couple of Sandovers.
Not too far away.
More than likely may win another Sandover this year. He's had such a big season.
We're just waiting to see whether we get a ground announcement of some sort.
Just have a look in the Melbourne rooms at the moment.
Yeah, there's an uptake of activity in the Melbourne rooms.
They're up and about. They want to get out there.
Yeah.
So do Melbourne want to finish this game?
I think Melbourne just would love to know that they've won the game and they don't have to go back out there. There's nothing to gain for them.
Is percentage a factor?
Just imagine if you go out and Petrarca gets hurt or something.
Well, it's probably not a factor unless other teams draw over the next couple of weeks, because they're either going to make the top two by being 2 points ahead, or they're going to miss out on the top two by lacking that win to get them over the line.
Well, that Melbourne warm-up's going a lot harder than the West Coast warm-up at the moment. They're just standing around in the room.
So word is it'll restart in 8 minutes now.
Okay.
8 minutes, 8 to 9 minutes. So, Dan, get yourself back up. Do you need to
Psyched
go?
up? No, I'm fine.
Coffee
I'm
or
fine.
anything like that? So.
No, I'm right. West Coast might come out carrying a white flag.
Yeah.
we'll be off the hook.
Yeah.
Judging by the warm-up, do you think?
Look at that. It's like slow motion, isn't it? No one's warming up in the warm-up.
Do they want to finish the game, boys?
Well, yeah, the warm-up in the West Coast rooms, there's been a lot of talking and not a lot of running or
no warming up.
And
the warm-up.
Melbourne have been.
Are they ready to go home too? Though.
Hang on. Why don't we describe this actually?
Yeah, you take us through, Dan.
Well, I just saw Langdon do a sort of back stretch with the leg, sort of taking it up to his buttock. Quad stretch, thank you, Beast. And that was the most activity I saw there for about 4 minutes. I was watching the screen. So he should be up. He's ready to go.
Seabus Super Special comments from Dennis, delivering consistent long-term returns for members. Seabus for all of us. Looks like the players are making their way out onto the ground. You would think, though, that they'll have to go through another warm-up, and then we'll get the game underway. So we're probably 5 minutes away, are we, Embers, from restarting this game? We're just looking down at the races now. You could see on the big screen that the Melbourne players were starting to make their way up onto the ground, and they've made their way back onto the ground. So we'll have a game. We'll finish the game.
Watching this warm-up of the West Coast Eagles, it says percentage booster all over it, doesn't it?
They're doing a worse job of filling in the time than we are.
All they haven't done is play cards.
Maybe they were listening to us. Let's put them completely to sleep.
Where were we with this commentary?
We were talking about Will Ferrell playing you in the movie. That
was after the commentary.
That's where we're at.
So we've got to put ourselves back into character, don't we? Boys, follow me.
No, we're with you.
Okay.
10-9-69 Melbourne, 5-6-36 West Coast Eagles. And as Tommy has just said, our producer, percentage not so important probably for Melbourne, but it is for the West Coast Eagles if it comes down to trying to stay in the top eights at the end of the season with a Derby and Brisbane to come.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect them to beat the Brisbane Lions after we saw the Brisbane Lions
probably
play
win the
so
Derby,
well.
though, don't they? So they're there.
They've got a good record against the Fremantle Dockers, and now if Brayshaw doesn't play next week, so he's been cited and been offered a 1 week suspension for that gouge last night. No Fife, no Walters, so you expect that probably West Coast will go in as favourites in that Derby, but so many teams at the moment are hovering, the Giants and Essendon in particular, two teams that look quite dangerous right now, and you feel like they'd probably do more damage than the West Coast Eagles and Fremantle if they were to play finals.
So the Eagles have made their way out onto the grounds.
Good on the crowd for sticking around.
Yeah. There's still some fans in the house, which is pretty good. And I'm not really going to get too much of a warm-up because pretty much the players, the Demons in particular, are going straight to their positions. The benches heading to the dugouts. 10 on the boundary. We're going to get a game here, and the fans, some fans have stuck around. What do you reckon? Half have left, maybe?
Yeah, I would say probably half, definitely, from the 31,000 that were here. How much more bizarre can this season get? I think we've seen everything. The bad news for Melbourne coming out of tonight, besides this game stopping and then starting again, is Jaden Hunt is on crutches. He told the medicos that he twisted his left ankle quite badly. He did it in the opening couple of minutes of the match. So he's leaving Perth tonight. Hopefully they can get their flight out still. And so he is on crutches.
We presume they're going to start in the centre, all right, with the bounce.
No,
they're back at the boundary, throw it.
They press the pause button.
You start calling, Dan.
Okay, it's running now, tossed in. Gawn's in front. Can't remember half of them. Gawn gets a hand pass across towards a teammate who kicks it up towards full forward. Some courage shown by Gaff. Threw himself into the pack. Sheed's got it. Melbourne players around him. He's going nowhere. And there's going to be a ball up about 25 metres out from Melbourne's attacking goal. And they really have been strong in this final term so far, including the break. They were certainly doing the better work in the rooms. Knocked down there by Vardy, but straight to a Melbourne player who was tackled by about 3 West Coast Eagles. Knocked down, taken by Oliver, gets a hand pass to Petrarca, and Petrarca just misses wide right. So behind, first score since we came back to the footy. And Melbourne go to 10-10-70, West Coast 5-6-36.
And this quarter's gone, Dan, 36 minutes. Still got 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, it feels longer.
Kick out's a good one to Nelson. He'll go short again. So we'll see just how the two teams respond to a 20 to 30-minute break. Nat Nui had charged in and knocked over Lever in the marking contest. Gawn couldn't pick it up. Ball comes out the back towards Petrocelli. Lever still can't get up off the ground. Nat Nui hand passes towards Yo. Further afield to Allen. He was copped high as he was trying to get rid of the footy. Here's Cripps, goes back to Allen, tight to the boundary, just keeps it in. The kick in the direction of Kennedy. Running back for the fly of the footy. He'll get a free kick. Kennedy from the boundary, maybe a chance to kick a goal.
Stephen May doesn't like it. One-on-one contest, coming back with a fly to the footy. Harvey Norman replay. Yeah, I reckon he's giving it a push there.
Yep.
I think that's fair enough by the umpire.
He wasn't trying to mark it, was he?
So Kennedy from 45 will snap it on the left. Will it reach it? It does. Straight through for a goal for JK. A little bit of excitement to get us underway. They got a long road back, but that's not a bad start though. 10-10-70 plays 6-6-42. The Eagles with the first goal since the restart.
Tell you what, that passage of play up the wing will wake them up if they've been asleep for that last 20 minutes. There was probably 3 guys that flew back with the flight of the footy there. Lever started it, then Oscar Allen, then Josh Kennedy who got the free kick and lined up with a left foot, snapped 45 metres out. I thought he might have been on his distance, but it was a good work for the player on the goal line. I don't know who it was to get a little block there because it just snuck in. Great kick.
Just think of all the cars on the freeway trying to find an off-ramp. It's 10-10-70 to 6-6-42. That was a free kick too. He didn't go at the foot. He didn't look back. So that was a wonderful kick out of the centre. Nat Nui, here come the Eagles again. Lunging mark is taken by Brayshaw. Just as well, only centimetres above the turf. He plays on, kicks it out towards the wing. That's a beautifully judged kick too, and he finds Fritsch. Fritsch at the interchange gates. Another good kick. A man in space behind some Eagles. The mark has been taken by Neil Bullen. Their on-ballers have been terrific, and he's been one of them. Kicks it up forward, working his way in front, Melksham. Didn't get hands to the ball, though. Petrarca tried to get the crumb, missed it. Oliver, look away, hand pass, beautifully done. Petrarca centres the ball. That's a push in the back. And the kick will go to Jackson. No question about that. Yo came up, shaking his head, Yo. Can't believe it, but I reckon it was there. Sort of turned a little side on as he got there, and, well, Not as convinced as I once was, but at the same time, I think it was a free.
It was using his body, whether it was too much force or not.
Yeah.
He's had a big night, hasn't he? Luke Jackson coming up for disposal number 17.
Elliott probably needed to take a crack at spoiling, didn't he, really? Yeah.
Yep.
So here comes the kick, and this will be the sealer. Well, he's missed it. Out to the left. Goal to Jackson, elusive. And that's a behind. Stretches the lead, though. 10-10-71 now to 6-6-42. Melbourne, you would expect to win in a canter, but there's still just under 13 minutes to go.
Yeah, 13 minutes, so a chance for West Coast, but they need to play perfect footy. McGovern kicks it long. The fist will come from Lever, but a good mark from Allen. So maybe they didn't need to warm up West Coast, although that kick, he's turned it over, tried to find Petruccelli. Vandenberg stand in the way and takes it. Told to play on. We'll kick it inside 50 again. Brown is there. Nearly took the mark. Ball fisted down, hovering Sparrow. Can't pick it up. She does really well. Hands and knees, gets it out towards Gaff. Gaff's kick out towards the wing. Falling over though, Petty. Darling gets away the hand pass. Gaff's followed up really nicely. There's a bit of holding on going. It'll go against Langdon. It's been a good contest, far wing. And Gaff will take the free kick. Chips it over the top. West Coast responding well to the break in play for Lightning. Langdon's kick along the line. Allen charging and taking a great mark.
So he's pushed forward now, Oscar Allen. So he spent time at centre half back, now going inside forward. A couple of good marks already.
This is massive at the moment as West Coast have found some new life. The break has done them good. Kennedy nearly takes the mark. Fisted away from him, over the line and out of bounds. 40 around. It's Melbourne 10-11-71. The Eagles 6-6-42. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
And those West Coast Eagles are looking good at the moment. Boundary throw in their left full forward pocket. Can they get another goal? Can they make Melbourne anxious? Knocked down by Gawn to the back of the pack. Taken nicely by Yeo. Got a hand pass to Sheed. His hand pass went straight up in the air. A couple of Melbourne players muffed it between themselves. And eventually coming away was Bowie. Kicks it towards the outer side. Jackson again, what a good game he's had. In a tackle, hand passes the ball about 20 metres. Nelson, though, the first to get to it, hooks it back across his body. Rising high above the pack was Oliver. Couldn't take the mark. Bowie got a hand pass away. Driven around the outer side. Langdon kicked it. Now a juggled attempt at the mark. Spargo. Well, he took the mark and was paid the free kick. On the logo on the outer side, Spargo stabs it down towards half forward. And the mark is taken by Fritsch. And just for the moment at least, Melbourne restore a little of what we saw before. He hand passes to Langdon again. They were in complete control when they came off the ground, and suddenly out they come again, and the Eagles are looking far better. They started with a real way about them. Ball up about 20 metres out from the Eagles' defensive goal there. Neil Bullen and his opponent had the ball wedged between them, and it will be thrown up.
Thrown up, as Dan said, 20 metres out. Brown will do the ruck work against Harry Edwards. Brown, the taller, kicked off out of midair by Yeo. A little push from Spargo. Spargo told to play on, thought he took the mark, gave it to Sparrow. Sparrow from 45 lines up, misses to the right-hand side. So another behind, makes it 30 points exactly. 10-12-72, plays 6-6-42.
McGovern kicks it up towards the wing then, peeling off and doing well. The mark has been taken on the wing or just forward of it by Petty. Left centre wing, close to our commentary position. He's been a stalwart down there in defence. Sends it close to the boundary line. Brown edged under it, should get a free kick. Oh, gee. Look that way, although we're front on. So Brown just dutifully goes across, doesn't argue with the umpire, stands on the mark. Edwards, who took the mark, drives it back to the wing for West Coast. Clears the pack. Ball runs free at the back. Rivers has got it. Turned blind, taken down. Incorrect disposal. Petruccelli did well. He's quick. And certainly Rivers didn't expect that. Petruccelli then drives it inside forward 50. Lever in best position. Going back, Oscar Allen. Lever gets a fist on it. Thumps it to the boundary. And Melbourne under a degree of pressure. They still lead by 30 points, but all the energy is coming from the West Coast Eagles. Just over 9.5 minutes remaining.
Fourth term inside 50s, 4-8 in favour of the D's on the Triple M Red Z lending stats.
Red Z lending loans for the self-employed. Ball gets thrown back into play. The D's by 30. Tapped out to Bowie. He gets a little 1-2 action. Now to Salem. Quick kick away. Will land in the hands of Shepherd. He can fire it inside 50. Petruccelli on his own. Needs to just go long. Natanui's hovering. That's the direction it goes. And Nick Nat takes a great mark right in front.
Well, you just never know. You just never know. All those Eagle supporters that went home, maybe just thinking to themselves, might be trying to get back in the car and get back here because we may just have a good finish here. Nick Natanui, 30 out, directly in front.
Right in front to trim the margin. Nick Nat does the job. 7-6-48, the West Coast Eagles. They trail at the moment, but they're coming big time. The Demons 10-12-72. And as I look up on the scoreboard, 45 minutes gone in the final turn.
And we've still got about 10 to go, Locke.
It'll be an hour long this quarter.
It was a good kick by Brad Shepherd, wasn't it? It's a dangerous spot, especially when Nick Natanui's able to push forward and get a run and jump at the ball. And I like Petruccelli getting up the ground a little bit and putting a bit of pressure on the wing. He's got that speed. That's something he needs to get into his game if he's going to have more impact on games going forward.
So the margin is doable. It's 24 points now.
I'm back on him.
Remarkable stuff. Never seen one like this before. 10-12 play 7-6. Melbourne rattled. Nataui goes up, wins the tap. After it goes Gawn. He couldn't control it. Ball squirts wide. Taken by Hutchings. Gives it to Yo. Yo kicks inside the forward 50. Thumped away down there by Petty. He battles on again, Petty. Well done in there by Bauman. Or Bow-E, rather. Gives it back towards the top of the goal square, and the ball is kicked wide towards the boundary. Jordan goes back. Tried to take a one-hander. Didn't succeed. Great pressure from Gaff. Affected the kick. It bounces close to the boundary. And Brown quite happy to see it go out of bounds, so we'll have a throw at it.
Well, West Coast didn't look like they did much of a warm-up to come out, but they're certainly the side at the moment that look like they're running and covering the ground a bit better.
Certainly are. They enjoyed the break. Don't you worry about that. Ball thrown back into play. 24 points the margin. Big fist forward. There's a little bit of holding, though, going on. And it'll go Gaff's way. So once more, they can go inside 50. Gaff plays on. Kicks deep. Allen's hovering. He stands underneath it. The pack comes. Mays in amongst it as well. Lever laying a tackle. Ball 25 to 30 metres out. Another ball up. So it could be within 3 goals with a quick one here with 8 minutes remaining. Quite remarkable. Lightning delaying play. It's been resumed. Gaff can't pick up the footy. Shoved out the way. Neil Bullen gathers his kick towards the boundary line. It'll bounce and bounce. Will it stay in? Yes, it will. Harry Edwards sees it over the line. Will reset again. Right half forwards for the West Coast Eagles, who trail at the moment by 24 points. 31,584 in attendance here this evening.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? When you think you've seen everything in any sport, in this case footy, you haven't. Ball comes down behind, driven forward by Melbourne, up towards their half-forward line. Edwards took it off the hands of the pack, slipped over. Now an opportunity for Redden, who hand passes back inside the defensive 50, but the whistle has gone a long time ago, and it's going to be a free kick. About 2 plays back, it's going to Hutchings. Hutchings, a little short pass across half-back then. Finds a teammate there in Redden. Redden's away. They're playing with confidence now, the West Coast Eagles. He gets it to West on the overlap. Cole sends it down towards half-forward. Beautiful kick onto the chest of Oscar Allen. Hasn't been sighted all night. He puts it long down towards full forward. Has it got the carry? Touched right on the line. Coming back was May. Got fingertips to it. From 49 plays, 72 now. 10-12 to 7-7. Still over 7 minutes to play.
Well, one thing's for sure, Oscar Allen should never play back ever again. He's certainly given something to the West Coast Eagles, and just strange. If he was going to play back tonight, why wouldn't they play Rotham?
So he comes to this broadcast side. Maxi's the man they want to get it in the hands to. Jackson takes it. He hands it to his teammate in Jordan. He has a bit of a fumble. Ball over the line. It's a 23-point margin on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting Sparkies with 7:30am opening hours, tray prices, click and collect, and free delivery from over 100 Beacon Lighting stores. And we'll throw it back into the play. Demons at the moment, top of the ladder. but that might not be for long after what we've seen. The Eagles up and about. Redden gathers, goes back by hand to Edwards, kicks it to the top of the 50. Packle form, storming out his lever, but he didn't need to. That is a great mark by Rivers. Stood underneath the footy, courageous stuff, and he takes it at left half back. The D's 10-12-72. The Eagles 7-7-49.
Margin 23 points, so under 4 goals now. Kick up towards the wing. There's some holding in there. And West Coast get another free kick. They've had about every one, I think, since they came back on. McGovern's got it. Defensive side of right centre wing goes short to Gaff. He can run if he wants to, and he wants to. He's away. Cuts inside the centre square. Long kick. A dangerous one inside forward 50 again to the back of the pack. A chance now for Bowie. He's run down from behind. It's going to be against him. It's going to be a free kick. And they've kicked the goal. Well done by West. Advantage paid. And the youngster in his third game has kicked the goal. And there was a look on our screen there from the coach of Melbourne. He's anything but impressed. Not just about the game itself, I would imagine, but the whole night now, or certainly the last hour. What a remarkable turnaround. 10-12-72, 8-7-55. The West Coast Eagles are on fire.
How about that? They are just starting to take the game on. They're playing with a little bit more urgency now, West Coast, at the moment. And Oscar Allen, you're right, Embers, he's giving a contest up forward. He's either leading up at the footy or he's able to bring the ball to ground. And well done by Tim Kelly there. He's got front and centre. The ball went out the back, ran on and put some great pressure on, a great tackle holding the ball, and advantage to Connor West and an easy finish at the top of the goal square. But I agree. Keep Oscar forward.
17 points is the margin. A delay in play, and here go the Eagles again. Kick inside 50. Darling has the footy. Lever chasing after him. JD grabs it, turns round, kicks towards goal. He's missed to the left-hand side. 16 points now, the margin. They are all over Melbourne. The D's have stopped. West Coast firing on all cylinders. 51 minutes gone in the term. The short pass to Salem. Melbourne desperately in need of a goal. A goal will save the day for them, but they can't even get it in their forward 50. Salem down the line. Maxi needs to take a mark, but McGovern does. Ball tapped out of his hands. Eagles fans want 50. Listen to the noise. What an incredible night of footy. McGovern now can go inside 50 again. The lead comes from Darling. The fist from Lever towards the boundary line. Maxi grabs it, carries it over 30 around, and will throw it back into play.
Melbourne have just stopped, and suddenly they've got a lot of numbers behind the footy now, and just starting to look a little bit nervous. This last quarter has gone for 52 minutes, Lockie.
Just over 5 minutes to go. Boundary throw in. Nat Nui hooks it down behind. Neil Bullen goes charging into the pack. Salem fell over. Squirts out. Taken by a mate there in Bowie. Bowie kicks it towards the middle of the ground. It's come unglued again, though, for West Coast. Or rather for Melbourne. The mark has been taken in the centre by Cole. Short pass goes across the ground. Driven into attack then by Shepherd. Big pack at the drop. Off hands. Yo's got it. Hooks it across his body. Loose about 20 metres out from Melbourne's defensive goal. Harms went down. Cleared. Up towards the wing. Pickett. He's tackled. Crowwood holding the ball. Jackson. Gee, this is hot now. Neil Bullen goes wide. 2 Melbourne players on the outer side wing. And it's got to be all about clock now, I would think. Still 4 minutes to go. And the margin is, 16 points. What a comeback by the West Coast Eagles, driven beyond the wing.
Up it goes. Packle form. Brown takes a really good mark. He's had a great game. Eagles fans have quietened just a touch. Pressure's on. Under 4 minutes remaining. Still 16 points the margin. Brown slows things down. Kicks to the top of the 50. Jackson has to come from behind. Oh, great mark. Cole plays on quickly. Here they come again, West Coast. Redden kicks to the middle of the ground. Had to be spot on. Skids through. Petty's there to try and save the day. Well gathered. Gave it out to Brayshaw. Good composed footy from Melbourne. He finds Salem. Right half back. He slows things down. Time ticking away. 3.5 now left. Melbourne by 16. We've had a pause in play for Lightning. And this has been an intriguing night of footy. His kick along the line's marked by Jackson. Almost one of the youngest on the ground and almost the best on the ground this evening. He's on the wing. Luke Jackson, the West Aussie, kicks up towards the top of the 50. McGovern has a couple of goes at it. Redden gathers it, gives it to Yo. He decides to run and carry, has a bounce, kicks up towards the top of the 50. Salem running back to try and save it against Cripps. Cripps keeps it in play, or can he? He does. Paddles it to his own advantage. Gathers, chips over the top. Brilliant football. Allen's taken the mark.
Well, he's going to have to go back really, really quickly here now, Alan. Just over 2 minutes to go. The Eagles are certainly coming. He's just looked so dangerous inside forward 50 in this last 10 minutes, Lecker.
He structures them. Yeah, I'm baffled he spent the first 3 quarters down back after seeing this.
So he's taken a long time to kick it. I know he has to kick it, but he's taken a long time. He kicks and misses to the right-hand side. So it's now a 10, 15-point margin.
Yep. Oscar Allen certainly made a statement.
Yes.
May's got the football.
6 disposals in this 4th term for Allen, 7 in the previous 3 terms on the Triple M Reds Atlantic stats.
Looks a different man, so athletic. May runs out of the goal square, drives it well outside the 50. In front, stepped away there and gone out of bounds. Gawn was the man who tried to mark it, but Nat Nui got his fist in.
The other Eagle coming up big, Elliot Yo, 9 disposals, 6 clearances this term alone.
Boundary throw in. Gawn and Nat Nui again then, as they've done for most of the night. They wrap up initially. Gawn gets first hand to it. Straight to Yo though. Yo kicks it up towards the pocket. Falls short of a leading Darling and bounces out of bounds. Clock is down to 1:57, so I think the bird is flown. But what a remarkable transformation in the West Coast Eagles. They just came out and they've blitzed it. In the remainder of the game after that break that Lockie was speaking about, it was a lengthy one. And looking at the vision from the rooms, Melbourne certainly were the ones who seem more professional, but unfortunately they've come out and they've been very cold and made a fight of it and made their fans back home watching very nervous. The ball is at the top of the goal square. Socket away by May. No conviction in the soccer. Picked up by Gaff. Slips a hand pass just outside the defensive 50. Taken by Cole. Hooks it up towards the top of the goal square. And the mark's been taken by Darling. You wouldn't believe it. Oh, you would not believe it. He's going to kick a goal, Darling. He puts it through. So what's that?
It's now 9
points the difference.
9 points in a minute 20. 2 goals in a minute 20. It can be done. Massive centre bounce clearance coming up right now. What's Melbourne going to do? You expect that Max Gawn should be in the middle of the ground. Nick Natanui, what a centre bounce coming up right now, Lek.
They do train these scenarios, so you would get the sense that West Coast are all going to be on the same page here. I would expect to see a couple of halfbacks streaming through the back of the square here to try and get the ball going their way.
So the gun midfielders enter the centre square. It's Oliver, Gawn, Harms, Petrarca up against Nat Nui. Redden's in there, Kelly and Yo, the superstars of the comp. Eagles need to get it out of the middle straight away. Ball thrown up. Nat Nui taps it forward. Kicked off by Yo, gathered by Oliver. Brilliant footy. Snaps it round the corner. It was a good kick in the end. Spargo's taken the mark. Needs to chew up some time on the clock. He'll be told to play on in just a moment. And he'll want to send it as long as possible. Decides to go a little shorter into the hands of Pickett. He couldn't take the mark. Ball forced over the line. That's where Melbourne want it.
How good Clayton Oliver before. It was a really big moment in the middle of the ground. Such an important footy to win, and he won a really important contested possession for his side. That may just do it for the D's.
Under a minute remaining. The Demons by 9. Ball thrown back into play. Nat Nui out of the ruck contest. Quickly kicks it away up towards the wing. A good mark in front. It was against Petty. And then he's dragged him down. So Darling took the mark. He wants to play on. Petty's got the ball between his legs. Now he stands up and gives him. He's chewed up a good 10 seconds right now.
Wow, he did so well to chew up some time.
Without giving away the 50. Oh, Darling's got across the centre square. To Edwards, they've just got to go forward. He chips it over the top. Not a bad move to Redden. Now to Cole. Cole needs to hit a target now. He's 35 out. He kicks inside. Kennedy attacks the footy. Nearly took it. Sheed falls over. Harbs is there as well. Langdon gathers it. Caught in a tackle by 2. A ball up. 25 metres out. 59 minutes gone in this game. It's the fourth term. Wow, strike me luck. Gone down to Petrarca. He kicks it out. Marked by Redden. Redden, time is going to beat West Coast. Redden will kick it inside, attacking 50. Pack 4. McGovern flew high. He couldn't take the mark. Listen for the siren. The D's win a memorable one. You'll never see anything like it. That was one for the ages. And the Demons are on top of the AFL ladder.
It's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
It'll be a game you will remember for a long, long time. It was cut short during the fourth quarter. Then lightning was going to strike. Had a pause in the game for about 30 minutes, and then West Coast came out and nearly stole the match.
Yeah, incredible, wasn't it? Melbourne just so good, and certainly the better team for 3.5 quarters. And then we just thought that they just come out here and go through the motions and finish the game off. But the West Coast Eagles, geez, they came really hard, which is just really surprising. And I think there's probably more questions really to come from what happened in that last quarter than answers, really, because Oscar Allen, for mine, he played at centre-half back today. They certainly got that wrong, the West Coast Eagles, because if they went into this game knowing that Oscar Allen was going to be a defender, then the question was going to be asked, why wouldn't you play Rotham as a defender? Because he didn't look like it at all. And then suddenly in the last quarter, he went inside forward 50, structured them up. He looked really dangerous. He presented. So that certainly wasn't, it didn't cost the West Coast Eagles the game. But, Vardy's inclusion, they were probably a bit reactive to Jackson and also to Gawn. Didn't have an impact on the game. Hutchins went to Oliver, didn't have an impact. They dropped that tag in the last quarter. So West Coast, they went back to their loyal soldiers, the guys that have done the job. Let's go down to listen to Max Gawn, courtesy of 7 Sports.
We were in control in that game. To be fair, we reset it and we had every chance to throw our best foot forward in that last quarter. And West Coast were coming, the crowd was loud. I had a pretty challenging opponent in that last 5 minutes as well, who can rise to occasions like that. So, hey, we were able to get there.
Mate, you're in the rooms for about 30 minutes as captain. What was your role in that 30 minutes? Uncertainty to reset the boys. What was your role?
We didn't want to waste too much energy in that 30 minutes. We really wanted to reset and be calm. We imagined West Coast were doing a lot of rah-rah, trying to get up. So we thought maybe they're trying to relax and stay calm. It hasn't worked for us. I don't think I'm going to be in that position again. Who knows? Lightning could strike twice. But, I thought we did everything well in that 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a contested game all night. The weather was set. You must be proud how physical the boys were to get the victory and set it up prior to the lightning strike.
Yeah, it was a good game. First quarter was really good. Second, they came back into it. The wind was playing havoc in that first half. And then the third quarter was our brand of football, which is really good. And then some of the efforts even then late in the last. I know they were coming, but Stephen May, Jake Bowie under pressure in his second game. It's pretty good to watch.
You must be really proud. Your sparring partner, Luke Jackson, over 20 disposals tonight. He's coming along really well.
He got 20, did he? On you, Jacko. I'd like to take the credit for it, but he works really hard. He came up against one of his idols today in Nick Nat and probably held his own at times and took some strong marks up forward as well.
Well, Maxie, well worth the quarantine, well worth the flights. 4 points, well done, congratulations.
So that's if we get out of Perth, who knows?
Yeah, good luck with that, mate.
Maxie Gawn, another terrific game from him. And, of course, the Mac family has arrived at Macca's. Get a free limited edition glass with every medium or large Mac family meal for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. We're still here at Optus Stadium. It's been one long night. We started at, 5 o'clock Perth time. Lecker, and it's 9 o'clock, so we've still got another hour to go, mate. So nestle back.
I've got plenty left in me, mate. Don't worry about it.
Give us your thoughts. Where does it see West Coast now? I know they're still in the finals hunt. They're still sitting in 7th position. They've got a derby next week, and then they finish the season off with a tough ask against the Brisbane Lions. Brisbane Lions, St Kilda.
I think it's Brisbane. Yeah,
Brisbane
Lions.
last game of the year. If Fremantle got St Kilda, yes.
Well, going 20 minutes ago, I would have said that there's not much to take out of that game for West Coast. They've probably improved slightly, but after that last 20 minutes, whatever was said in that break, that message needs to be pushed pre-derby, before they run out. That's the game style that I think we're all used to watching them play over the previous couple of years. So if they can get back to playing quick, throw Oscar Allen up forward, whatever you've got to do to make that work. For his development, I think that's important. And take the game on. We've been begging them to go fast and get the ball moving quick all year. And it took a limited time left on the clock and nothing to lose to go out for them to play that way. And it just shows that they're capable of it. So, I mean, they took more out of that game than what I thought they would have half an hour ago.
So next week, it's a derby. They've got to win the derby, don't they? If they want to stay in the 8 and play finals footy, they've got to win the derby. They could get Ryan back. Shuey will be keen to play.
Yep.
Barris as well. Possibly Duggan, depending on how bad the knee is. And then the following week, a guy by the name of Willie Rioli, if he's anywhere around.
I would put Rotham in next week.
Rotham as well is the one that's missed, and Waterman as well missed today's game.
Yeah, I don't think Willie Rioli will be playing, but definitely with the West Coast Eagles, they showed in that last quarter what they're capable of doing, and as Lecker mentioned, they've got to continue to take their game on. They get a few players back, gives them a little bit of confidence heading into next week's derby. Destiny's in their own hands. The Eagles, they win the last 2 games, then they play final. So it's, they'd be disappointed with for 3 quarters tonight. They had their chances in the second quarter, but just couldn't convert those opportunities. In the end, that big gap when the Lightning came was just too big.
And the Demons, let's talk about them, because that was a gutsy performance. I know they couldn't control West Coast in the last 20 minutes of the game because of the break in play, but their third quarter was the premiership quarter, and they really put West Coast to the sword. So in a moment we'll hear from their song. Hunt's just arrived on crutches, which is bad news. But the Demons will sing their song in a few moments' time. The final score was 10-12-72. They defeated the West Coast Eagles 9-9-63. And I thought Ben Brown's game was pretty impressive. They've been waiting for a forward to arrive at the Melbourne Footy Club, and maybe it's a little bit of a turning point with the finals just around the corner.
Yeah, that's all he needed to do, what he did today.
Let's go to the song, The Demons.
A couple of marks on the wing early in the game, and then...
There you go, the song courtesy of 7, and we're just watching on the Harvey Norman replay, Simon Goodwin just having a chat to his teams. Continue on.
Yeah, Ben Brown, all he needs to do is give a contest and bring the ball to ground and give the Smalls a chance, because really Melbourne want to play that territory game. They want to play it in their forward half. You'd back their midfield in to get the job done and get it up there. It's just a matter of, like I said, Ben Brown and the likes giving the contest and being able to lock it in, because when they did, they were able to get repeat entries and scores. The Smalls look dangerous. If he can continue to do that, he also gets looks, because he brings the ball to ground, it gets kicked back out, and then when it comes back in after another turnover, he finds a little bit of space, and he got a couple of shots off as well today.
From a Melbourne perspective, I wouldn't read too much into that last 10, 15 minutes. So they were really dominant today. Loved the way that they went about it. They structure up really well behind the footy. Their mids are really good, find plenty off it, and they've got a forward line capable of kicking a winning score from week to week. But most importantly, they've got a style of football that will stand up in finals footy, and they're hard, they're tough around the contest. They put good pressure on, and I feel like it could be Melbourne's time right now.
It is a funny game, because Melbourne will walk away from that a little bit flat with the way it finished. I remember playing, I think it was James Hurd's last game against Essendon, and Scotty Lucas, I think, kicked 7 in the last quarter.
So many,
and then we had the send-off, and we won the game, and we were playing finals the week after, and I walked away, and it felt like a loss. So it will be a strange feeling for them, and West Coast will be a little bit buoyant in the way they finished.
Well, the Demons boys that didn't play today are now out on the ground having a bit of a run-through. Jack Viney is one of those players. Hibbert as well. Sam Wiedemann, I think, is out there amongst a group of about 6. So those poor boys need to have a bit of a workout and then hopefully jump on a flight. Tan's back with us. Tan, sounds like they're trying to get out tonight, the D's. That was the word before the game. Do you think that'll stay that way?
Yeah, it sounds like they're on the midnight horror. It's a late training session, isn't it, for these guys, given it's after 11 o'clock in Melbourne. So hopefully they have tomorrow off. But, all going to plan. They will go back to Melbourne. They're due to play the Crows this weekend and then a big game against Geelong in round 23, which is supposed to be down at Geelong.
Let's go to Christian Petrarca, courtesy of 7.
4 on him.
Yeah, we weathered the storm a little bit. Yeah, it was a bit of a strange feeling. I mean, obviously got called off and then half an hour inside the change rooms and we all got a little bit sore and a bit stiff, but no excuses. The last part of that was pretty frustrating. We knew that they'd come out firing and, they were just plucking everything. So it's a good learning curve for us, but, to come away, 7 days ago, quarantine and to get away with the 4 points against a team that's, fighting for a top 8 spot as well is really impressive.
So what was said, Christian, at that break? It was obviously very... it's not ideal to have a break right when you've got momentum in a game with 15 minutes to go. How did you manage that? What did Simon Goodwin say?
It was a bit of mixed emotions, I think. Really just getting your own little bubble, stay in the moment. It was a hard one because obviously it's the uncertainty. You're not sure what's going on. But for me, I just tried to relax a little bit and just not think about the game until probably 10 or 5 minutes left. So... I think we did a little bit of hands and got ourselves moving after that. But, the first 10 minutes was sort of just take it easy, have a break, rest up, and, then after that 10 minutes, just put your mind back on West Coast.
Just on that break, did you see any lightning out on the ground? Were you aware that there was any in the area?
No, I had no idea. But Harmsy reckons he saw a camera flash, which is... I saw it. No, you didn't, mate. So,
hey, Christian, was the message coming through to you clear that it was a half an hour break, or was there some mixed messaging coming through? Did you find out straight away what you're up against in that little time period?
Yeah, I think it was our Daniel McPherson, our head of operations footy. He was saying that 20 minutes straight, so no matter what happens, we're going to have a 20-minute break. But then I think they said it's sort of still around the area, so they gave us another 10 minutes. So it was about half an hour. So when we got out there, the clock was at 39 minutes. So I think the quarter ended at 60-minute mark. So it was something you don't see every day.
And Clayton Oliver, enormous again for you. And that last centre clearance, just superb.
Yeah, he's an absolute freak. He's unbelievable. I love playing with him every week. We've built a great relationship on and off the field, and it's something we're constantly growing. And we rely on him so much in the centre bounces. His craft, the stoppages is unbelievable, and that's his bread and butter. And to kick it out wide as well, it's so smart.
So Simon Goodwin spoke before the game.
Christian Petrarca talking to 7. What a great player he is. This is a Triple M Amy review. Amy, who covers clangers? Amy does. Lucky you're with Amy. The MVP in just a moment, but the MVP of the night is the Beast, and he's got some Red Dead Lending stats.
Low bar there, low bar. Leading the way for West Coast was Yo, probably his best game, definitely since returning from injury. So some good news there for Eagles fans. 31 disposals for him, 20 of them contested, 14 clearances, 8 inside 50s, 728 metres gained. So good to see him returning to that stellar form once again. Redden had the 30 with 6 clearances, 1 goal for him. Sheed 27, Kelly 26 with 5 clearances. Gaff had the 23. Nick Nat 12 disposals, 29 hitouts, 5 clearances. Cripps, Darling, Kennedy, all 2 goals apiece. And for the D's, Petrarca led the way with 28 disposals, 7 clearances, 9 score involvements and 1 goal. Oliver had 28 as well, 21 contested and 9 clearances for him, so he was big all night. Harms 25 with 3 clearances and 1 goal. Salem 23. Bowie had the 21 with 3 clearances. Gawn 14 disposals rather, 26 hit-outs to go with 5 clearances. So the ruck battle was pretty much a wash between him and Nick Nat all night. Both of them pretty good performers tonight. Brown had the 3 goals. Neil Bullen, 2 goals, 19 disposals for him, 3 clearances and 7 inside 50, so he was busy all night. And Melksham had the 2 goals as well. All the team stats were pretty dead bang on even, especially after that last quarter where the Eagles got a lot of the ball. The only one that really stood out was the free kicks. West Coast 28, Melbourne only 16. So maybe the crowd was a bit involved there, Locke. And that's the Triple M Reds Atlantic stats for the night, and you're a very pleased man, I would imagine, Locke.
Yeah, no, they played some pretty good footy. That third quarter was very, very impressive. 5 goals, 5 to 1 goal, 1. So that was pretty good stuff from the Melbourne Footy Club. All right, the Triple MVP award for Mongrel Boots. Mongrel Boots, comfy boots, built for long days on the site. Here's Embers or Lecker?
Yeah, I can do it for you, Lecker.
Okay, mate.
Lecker wants to get home really quickly, so I'll wrap this up for him. 1 vote we're going to give to Elliot Yeo tonight. Beast mentioned his numbers before. Thought he definitely had his best game for the West Coast Eagles in almost a couple of years since coming back from injury. He was a beast around the contest. Conditions suited him. 14 clearances with his 31 touches was a star tonight. So we'll give him 1 vote. 2 votes. Thought this guy kicked a couple of goals inside the forward 50 tonight, but just his pressure and his work rate really did get Melbourne going. So in the end, I'm going to give 2 votes to Neil Bullen. I just thought he was outstanding, 7 inside 50 entries, and just was impressed with the way that he went about it tonight in tough conditions for a forward, and certainly got Melbourne off to a good start. So we'll give 2 votes to Alex Neil Bullen, and 3 votes best on ground tonight we'll give to Christian Petrarca. I reckon you could probably him and Oliver, and in the end I'm going to go with Petrarca. I just reckon
him and Oliver, and you have left Oliver out of the votes.
Oliver in the votes. No. How does that work? 7 clearances, 6 tackles. He kicked the goal as well. Had 4 inside forward 50 entries, and when I said to Lecker, who do you reckon got best on ground tonight, he also thought Petrarca as well. So
I thought Oliver was second.
That one's
Oliver was very good.
So what was
too.
your 1, 2 and 3 again?
I went 1 vote Yo, 2 votes Neil Bullen, and 3 votes Petrarca.
What?
So he's left Oliver out.
What about the other?
Well, that's controversial.
Jackson was very good tonight. Well, I reckon I haven't had a look at the odds for the Rising Star, but on the back of Jackson's performance tonight, I reckon it'd be about $1.60, Lock.
Right.
So he,
you reckon?
He was outstanding. Well, let's have a look right now. Who's our sponsors of Triple M Footy? Neds. Yes, so I'm just looking at Ned's account right now. $1.70 for Jackson to win the Norwich, or not Norwich, the Rising Star.
You can see why, can't you? He is an absolute gun.
Yeah.
We're going to go. This has been a long night.
Dennis is packed up.
Embers, good on you, Lecker. Thank you very much to everyone involved in the broadcast. It was a strange one, a weird night of AFL footy. Melbourne 10-12-72. They defeated the Eagles 9-9-63 for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.